talking to no one.
Yo, what's happening right now?
Yo,
We-
free game folding under pressure. Folding under pressure.
Yo,
Wait, because I hit live on. I hit live
Folding
on.
under
No.
pressure.
I hit live on
yo,
Oh
Streamlabs.
my
I hit live
goodness.
on
free
Streamlabs. My bad.
Oh
game.
my
Wait.
His
goodness.
palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. You good,
Oh
bro?
my gosh. Oh my gosh. You guys are killing me. I hit go live on Streamlabs and I just forgot to hit live on. Shut up. All right. Anyways.
Imagine,
No,
imagine we
and
did
you
the whole
don't go
podcast.
don't go past that without informing the chat. Yo, chat.
Hey, we already live on my end. We all saw it, bro.
Yo, chat. This man, he was literally talking to the live stream without being live. He was literally giving like a solid 2-minute speech. I'm thinking, yeah, this man free game spitting. I go to the chat. We not even live. I'm like, what's going on?
Yo, sue me,
Yo,
bro.
hell.
Sue me. Let's get Naruto explained on. Everybody that's been waiting, thank you for your patience. Sorry about that. We was testing audio. I guess I was talking to the live without us being even live, I guess. All right, whatever. Let's get him.
Yeah, Om Patel in the chat, he said free game pushing B. He ain't pushing B. He pushing something else. It ain't P or B. He pushing something completely different. I don't know what he pushing. No
Oh
way.
my gosh, yo.
Must.
These guys are gonna clown me. We got. Oh, I forgot to add something else. I'm tripping.
What's good?
Big Naruto explained in a Discord. What's good?
Man, hell, man, I ain't no front, man. I'm dealing with the Rona right now.
Oh, you in the trenches?
I got mild symptoms though, man. I'm good. I got a headache and shit. Tired. This is the second time having this shit, man.
Wow.
Damn.
So when did you test positive?
And I went and got tested on Thursday.
Wow.
I've been feeling yucky for a minute though. My godmom, she's got cancer and she got COVID. I caught it when I went over there to her spot and because like she can't get out the bed and shit. So I was making food and and I took the stuff over there. My mom wanted to see her and I had to take us out the house because like my god nephew and my god niece can't neither one of them cook. And so, I took the food over there and all that, and like that's the only place I could have caught it.
Yeah, I feel you. That's crazy. So
Sorry to hear about that, bro. We
Yeah.
did shoot. You should have let me know. We could have postponed or something until you got better.
Man, I don't think like this ain't as bad as what it was when I caught it in 2020. Like when I had it in 2020, man, like I had shakes and shit. Like this just a headache and like fatigue. So
Man.
I don't know if that's because
yeah.
of the vaccine or what, but this ain't as bad as what it was 2 years ago.
that's cool. So you vaccinated?
Yeah,
Oh, you boosted? You took the booster too?
yeah.
My guy's up to date, bro. Yeah, stop playing, Big Naruto explain.
Yeah, I mean that's the only way they was gonna let me see my grandmom and all that. So I mean I had to.
Yeah,
Oh,
100%. Yeah, I'm up to date with my shots too, vaccinated, boosted, and everything. The reason why I was asking, how long you had it, because the Omicron, the new one, it's not supposed to be that long. So hopefully, you feel me, you get over it soon. But you're right. When I caught mine in 2020, I was in the trenches, man. I couldn't even record commentary. I was in the trenches.
Yeah,
I
see,
had that.
I feel you on that.
I never had it before. Well, at least I don't know if I had it or not. I'm not. I don't even have no vaccine. And
Man, I don't wish getting symptoms on nobody, fam.
my nephew just had it, and he got over it though. And I didn't catch it from him for whatever reason. That's crazy.
So-
I hope you get better, bro.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Likewise.
So,
Appreciate it.
real quick, probably the last question I'm gonna ask about it. What was the symptoms you had on your first go around?
Man, shit, man. Like my chest was tight. I had the shakes bad as hell. Like I couldn't, like you put like blankets and all that stuff. Like, I couldn't get warm. I had heaters in there. Um, I had like the tightness in the chest. I had some diarrhea, coughing real bad. Like
Yeah.
mine wasn't as bad as like my uncle. My uncle couldn't taste, can smell. He ended up dying from that shit, man. Like
Oh,
my uncle, my
wow.
cousin.
Man,
That's
I'm sorry
crazy.
to hear
They,
about that. I think you told
Yeah,
me about your
sorry to hear
cousin.
about that, man.
Dang.
I had no idea. Sorry
damn,
to hear
bro.
about that, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
October.
I
They
had a
went a week past each other, man. Like my uncle was October 12th, and then my cousin was October 19th. My uncle died the day before my grandma's birthday. That fucked my grandma up.
Huh.
crazy. Yeah, it's a lot of tragedies been happening these past couple of years. Hopefully, you and your family get back right. Hopefully, y'all get back in good spirits and be 100% healthy. We all out here praying for you. From everybody in this
100%.
Discord, pretty sure, and everybody in the
Facts.
chat as well.
For real.
I ain't gonna lie, it's gonna be very difficult to transition from that to Boruto, but I'm
For
I'm gonna
real.
try my best. One thing
Seriously.
that
Yeah, that man
one, one
Boro had coronavirus in there. That's how you transition over to it.
yeah, true,
Wow.
100%, 100%. He was giving out like he was giving out candy on Trick or Treat or something like that.
Man, they
But
need a mask or some shit, man.
yeah, 100%, 100%. So right now we're essentially in like that lull period with Boruto. When it comes to the Boruto manga cycle, we're about like 1 or 2 days off of the spoilers and everything like that. I'm pretty sure you just uploaded a video. I'm not sure specifically what it was about. I would upload my video as well,
Y'all
but
upload the videos
we
right by each other. He uploaded one and you uploaded one.
yeah, we had to do the podcast. I can't upload it a little bit later. Usually I upload around 4 o'clock, but
Right.
we probably gonna be talking it. So, but I wanted to know because us three, well, me and Free Game, we kind of gave our opinions a little bit earlier. I believe what was it, Tuesday? Mello,
Mm-hmm.
we still got to ask you about this too. By the way, did Mello and Naruto explained or Ian or Ben formally meet already? I'm
No,
not
this
sure.
is
Uh,
the first time. This is the first time.
Man, what's up,
Oh,
bro?
Yo,
What's up?
I'm
What's up?
good, brother. How about you?
I am doing fine, bro. Wonderful content. Um, this what you just I don't even know how we transition. Holy fuck, bro! I'm still stumbling past that, but it's a pleasure to meet you, man. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, and
yeah.
saying here, man, you got good energy. Like I was peeping you guys for a minute. Like that's like beautiful seeing all this growth. Like it went from like free game, like yo, you come on talk to me. I'm like, yeah, man, you should hit up Bar B, man. Bar mad underrated. Next time I know they doing the stuff together, and then like I see you two going at it, like you guys doing the Kawaki versus Sarada thing, and then like I see the
Oh
cycle
my
stuff. I'm like,
Oh,
god.
yo,
yo.
they
Oh,
going.
here we come now.
Yeah, you just opened the gate for Bar to talk about this. God.
No. All right. No. This is a fact. All right. So before we get into the chapter,
No way. No way.
we just
No
we just want
way.
to hear the Naruto explained official
No way.
reactions to this conversation.
Uh,
What do you? Because I believe you gave your opinion already. Now explain it again for the people who haven't necessarily heard your stance on this discussion. By the way, let me tee it up real quick. This right here is essentially a debate between Sarada, regular Sarada, I'm talking about with the Sharingan and everything, not base, but versus a base Kawaki, no Karma Seal, no nothing, regular base. Who do you think is stronger?
Wait. So it was always no Sharingan for Sarda as well?
No, Sharingan. No, she's full fledged
Okay.
Sharingan as
Okay.
well.
Okay.
just full power. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
That ninja tech something nasty. I mean, like I'm still gonna say Sarda, but like that ninja tech,
Oh
Yes.
my goodness.
that
Yeah.
ninja tech,
What are
We
we
man.
win,
doing
Like
Mello.
here?
We
What are
win,
we doing
Mello.
here?
when
Mello,
when
we
that man
win.
had
What
the
are we
ninja tech
doing?
Air Forces, I was like, oh my god, and they
Yo.
black
Oh,
too. Like
Not
shit.
only
He
does
said and they
not
black
only does
too.
anime not only does anime balls deep agree with me, but now I got big Naruto explaining agreeing with me. My boy Bara. Bro, what's going on, Bara? Where
Yo,
you at,
he used
Bara?
Barra's terminology on him too. Yes.
Yo, Bara's icon hasn't lit up yet, bro. He's still dumbfounded, bro. He's trying to process.
Yo, I was trying to put the icons on the stream too, but I can't do it. So that would have added an extra flair.
Yo.
I get a man this though, man. Like the way he was able to use like ninjutsu and catch off guard. I thought that was a nice little switch right there. But like if you saying like they square up and it's like neutral sight and they both on guard, nah. I think it'd be high difficulty. But I mean, if Kawaki and Boruto somewhat relative to each other, like Sarada and Boruto for the most part been somewhat relative. Boruto's had a little bit of an edge on her, but like I don't know, man. Like I said, that ninja tech's a different thing, but Kawaki not having the best ninja skills. He's talented, but there are other aspects he needs to work on. I give that ninjutsu experience the edge over Kawaki, man. There's just
I,
something about that. That Sharingan, like the eye insight, she's more skilled with the eye hypnotism than. I'm just keeping it real. Like she's got more genjutsu feats than her dad did when her dad was her age. I mean, there's something to be said about that.
what do Genjutsu gotta do with an Otsutsuki? By the way, I just want to, real quick. We're not gonna spend 30 minutes on this. I just want to give my opinion. Just sum up a kind of short version upon why I would say Kawaki is stronger than Sarada, other than the fact that he completely speed blitzes her, other than the fact that she doesn't have the reaction time to keep up with Kawaki. But none of that. But let's just say this. Let's just say this.
The reaction time, bro.
We can't get into a 30-minute conversation. This is Naruto Explains podcast. We cannot get into the 30-minute conversation. But my point is, Boruto and Sarada, real quick, because it's gonna be real quick. It's not necessarily gonna be the full thing. Me and Mello already had a 3-hour stream about this, but Boruto and Sarada were already said to be not necessarily equal, but they were close, and we all understood that Boruto had the edge. Just talking about base Boruto, and from what we've seen, Kawaki was relatively equal to Boruto base form. Remind you, this wasn't Kawaki when he knew how to use shadow clones. This wasn't Kawaki when he knew how to use fire style. This wasn't Kawaki when he understood what ninjas were and how to plan against ninjas. This was just
trying so hard.
This was just baby face Kawaki, not seasoned at all, still fighting like he's
Giga. Bro. Stop adding extra stuff.
All I'm saying, logically, Kawaki, would absolutely dog walk Sarada. It's a fact. I'm just saying, if y'all ain't saying, if y'all not speaking the facts, y'all just not P. If y'all not P, I understand.
So everybody, all the top content creators in the community agree with my perspective for the most part. You're the only one bar. You got to get on board, man. You got to.
Too versatile, that's the edge. Like the strongest person don't always win those fights. Like that's the other thing about it. You gotta kind of keep in mind. Like if you add in like all the extra lore too on top of that, like the girl got a limited access to water release. I mean, like you look at that, the lightning release, the fire release. I mean, she got ways to counter this, man. The only chakra that she got is a fire release. And he only got that one jutsu. You only got that one jutsu.
Are you gonna throw it as a shadow clone? That's it.
Kawaki could not use any abilities and still dog walk Sarada. Like, what are you talking?
So he's saying just taijutsu. So he's saying Kawaki, top Sarada and taijutsu. That basically is what you're saying.
And I'm saying like that eye insight, like she should be able to read the movements. I think she's saying that it's not that big of a gap. It's not that big of a gap. If he's somewhat relative to Boruto in terms of taijutsu, Sarada and Boruto ain't that too far off. So her having the eye of insight and having 3 Tomo, she should be able to read those movements, no issue.
He's saying
I'm so happy somebody
he's saying that he moves too fast for Sarada to be able to keep up with her Sharingan. That is the most bogus excuse I ever heard in my life. I don't know.
Meanwhile, this dude out here getting caught off guard by like shuriken. Like, what are we talking about, bro? Like, I'm glad somebody understands. Look, do we have any more questions for our humble guest? Like, you shot your shot. I'm sorry.
There is no. Here's the thing. We're not gonna engage into the full discussion or anything like that. I'm pretty sure if I had a solid discussion about this topic specifically with Naruto explaining to everybody else, I'm pretty sure I could change our minds. But this isn't the podcast for that. I'm just saying, lining up feats versus feats, especially in the last chapter not the last chapter, but especially in the last episode that we seen with Kawaki when he took on literally Jonin level characters and beat not both of them, beat the one guy.
When he got his
Jonin level characters, like if you just use that as a standard, like Boruto and Sarada were being scaled to Jonin back when they took the tuning exams, like in the Boruto movie novel. Kodachi wrote, it was directly stated in there that like Boruto and Sarada had striking power of Jonin caliber, and that's the narrator. That ain't a statement.
That's cute. Whoa.
He said that's cute.
Wait, that's cute. But what we do have to understand is that she literally was stated to be damn near equal with Chocho, and we know goddamn well she ain't coming nowhere close to my guy Kawaki.
That her and Chocho were equal. Or was
And
that
during the
skipping?
spoilers, again, this right here came from the actual preview of the episode. They matched each other. This came from the preview of the episode. They matched each other. That's what they said.
And
Now,
when you look at that, Chocho is also using that butterfly transformation. That's 100 times amp right there. That's coming from the
respectfully,
Lord.
Chocho could be using butterfly techniques. She could have Karma in her back pocket. She could have
This
literally a
guy,
Tensei
this
gun.
guy,
Kawaki is still dog walking
this guy.
Chocho.
Yo,
Let's keep it a
all
thousand.
right, let's
She
just
got
split.
destroyed by the desert demon. Let's keep it a thousand. Shinky packed up 2.5. Look what we got.
Shinky packed him up too, and
Yeah, that's what I'm
1.5.
saying, man. Like,
You just said Shinky.
Yo,
Shinky packed him up in 30 seconds, rolled him up, sparked him, bro, sat down with a cup of coffee. Like, that's how bad Shinky did him. Like, come
and
on,
told
bro.
him behave himself too. Said, "Yo, you going back in the stadium? You gonna watch this fight?"
You gonna watch this fight,
Like,
bro.
Yeah.
You guys
Hey,
see what I have to deal with, bro?
I
was
feel like
talking to this man for
that man was
30
about to shove an iron sand puppet up his ass, man. Like, he
Oh.
ain't want that smoke.
I was talking to
put a-
Bar for 3 months about this, bro. For 3 months now. You see what I had to deal with, bro? This is
Yeah, I mean that's just power cliff. And like, I mean, like, that's like, you got people that think that Kakashi weaker now because he ain't got the Sharingan no more. Like, it's just like, yo, you want some shit thinking that shit, man.
Bara is just a
Yeah.
Kawaki fanboy. I told him we changing his name to Bawaki B. I'm about to hack his channel. I'm about to change his whole thing for him, his whole thing.
Yeah.
Because this guy is not a Gara fan. He's a Kawaki stan. So we switch.
Hey,
him
real
up.
quick,
Kawaki's a good character though.
He
I
is.
mean,
He's
like,
a dope
I get
character.
it.
The series wasn't
No.
really as hot as it is until Kawaki showed up. I completely
I agree with
understand
that.
why he's a big fan. But I'm just saying, when it
You
comes
don't
him
have to be a
and Sarada-
fanboy.
No.
though.
I'm a fan of Iwabe. With Kawaki, I'm speaking 100% objective.
God.
I'm speaking.
God.
Let's just put it like this. Kawaki right now in the manga would solo the Uchiha clan without Madara. Let's end that discussion. Next discussion. What we talking? We talking about the chapter. We
Are
talking
you
about the
talking about
chapter
right
now.
now? You're talking about chapter 66?
We talking about big Karma Kawaki.
I mean,
Big Karma Kawaki
I can't
Okay, that's
argue.
soloing the Uchiha. What's the problem?
Can't argue with
What is the problem?
Can't
The
argue.
strongest getting of all time.
all time.
Listen. Real quick. Naruto explains. First of all, what would you like me to call you?
Man, yeah, you just call me Crypto. Ian, Crypto, either one. You know, Crypto, that's like the OG name. That's like the first channels. I mean, I'm good with either one.
Okay.
Crypto's discreet name. Yeah, you know.
All right, I'll call you Ian then. All right. So they wanted me to ask you in chat, right? We got a question for you. They wanted me to ask you, do you think the Otsutsuki can be placed in a Genjutsu?
Oh my!
We know
The
that.
chat did not ask you that. Chat did not ask that.
No,
Chat
it's
did not
right.
ask that. I don't want to hear
In
it.
my
At all.
chat, in my chat.
Your
So
chat did
they,
not ask that.
they want to know. So they want to know if it can be placed in. So we know Hamaru was placed in the
God.
Genjutsu versus Hagoromo, and we also know Boruto in the Mitsuki retrieval arc was placed in the Genjutsu. So we just want to know what your official answer to that would be.
I would like to kind of
Full
rephrase
blooded
that
one.
question.
I don't know if it'll work on full blood, but
Mhm.
like
There you go.
somebody that's like a half breed, like Hagoromo or Hamura, or somebody that
Like
is
Kawaki?
having their DNA overridden. I mean,
Like
you
Kawaki.
should be able to, because just based off of how Genjutsu works. I mean, you're manipulating somebody else's chakras. I mean, like, in theory, in my opinion, if you're not 100%, I mean, you should be able to.
Okay.
There's nothing that says that you can't. I mean, that's the only thing. Like, it's open ended. There's nothing that says
Right.
that, like, Otsutsuki can't be put on it. And so it's like the burden of proof isn't necessarily there. Let me rephrase that. I'm trying to think of the term from that criminal class I took in college. Man, I can't remember that shit.
Preponderance of evidence.
Yeah. Like there's not enough there to say that you can and can't for a full blooded, but there is stuff saying that for people that are half Otsutsuki and have Otsutsuki genetic, but there's still some human being in them, they can be on the Genjutsu. I mean, like, there's nothing, like, in my opinion, it's cut and dry on that part.
I agree. Okay. See,
Well,
chat,
my original-
I answered your question, so there you go, chat. Be happy.
Well, this right here was a very good argument, specifically with the Sarada versus Kawaki debate. This is essentially where it started.
Mm-hmm.
My personal standpoint was we haven't necessarily seen documented proof of an Otsutsuki, albeit full-blooded Otsutsuki, be placed under a Genjutsu. Now we've seen the 50 percenters. We've seen the potential like 20 percenters when Boruto just got his Karma Seal in what episode, I think 70 something or something like that. But we haven't necessarily seen anybody like 80%. Like 80%. If we're gonna say, hey, Otsutsuki members can't really be placed under Genjutsu, Kawaki 80% of the time is probably not gonna be the Genjutsu is probably not gonna be successful in Kawaki. That right there is just my point.
I would say probably like the higher percentage, you probably have to have a higher skill level with Genjutsu.
Now 100%, and I could definitely accept that. Me and Mello, we essentially came to the agreement that specifically with this discussion that we don't know. We can't say for sure one way or the other. So
Toneri had a
we just,
Genjutsu Lake too, and like Toneri was an Otsutsuki, and so I mean that could be something there because like that was a trap that was planted, but like that Genjutsu Lake that he had on there, like that was something that if I'm not mistaken, like his dad or somebody else that was in that clan set up that lake. Like it's been a minute since I read that last movie novel. I want to say that was in there because like Toneri and his dad was keeping tabs on Hinata, like when Hinata was a kid. Like he was spying on Hinata when Hinata was spying on Naruto. So I mean, I want to say if you take that in there, that might be implied, but I don't know, man. Like I think your better answer is probably the higher percentage of Suzuki, the greater percentage of the greater control of Genjutsu you gotta have to be able to put them under. Kind of like putting the nine tails on the Genjutsu requires an enormous Genjutsu skill. Not every Uchiha can do that. So I mean, I think that's something similar.
I feel you. Now, did y'all have any other questions? 'Cause I wanted to hop into 66 real quick, chapter 66. Y'all know.
Oh no, hop into it. I want to hear. I want to hear our boy Ian's perspective. Yeah, 100%.
All right, I want to start off light with chapter 66. Talk to me, Ian. What's your opinions about Shikamaru? Is he cooked?
Yeah, that Shikamaru pack gotta be smoking the shadows, baby.
Hey yo,
Yo,
yeah, this is crazy.
What are we doing to Shikamaru? What are we doing to Shikamaru?
What?
I don't think he died in that chapter, but I think the telegraph's there though.
Damn.
So you think they throwing like all the signs for him to get smoked or something bad to happen to him, like he get injured or something like that? Like
He can't walk away with this and like not be injured. Like that's like only thing I ask for is if this man end up going, he at least got to come up with some type of strategy. There got to be an explanation. Like I mean, I think, and I got a video that's being edited now about it. Like there's some telegraph in there that Amato might have done something to him because like he's showing some of those same symptoms that Deepa had. 'Cause Deepa was complaining about like man, like I can't taste food no more. And then like Delta was sitting up there saying ever since Amato messed with my body. Food don't taste the same, and then Shikamaru was like smoking. As soon as Amato showed, Amato's like, "Yeah, what's up, fam?" And Shikamaru was like, "Oh shit, my cigarettes don't even taste the same around you." Like,
he said that? Wait, hold on.
like,
You said that?
yeah.
No, or are you just adding that? You
yeah,
said that
no,
for
I swear to
No, he
God,
said that. Yeah, he said that. Yeah,
I
he said
swear to
that.
God,
I remember that.
Yeah, they're on
part.
top of
That's
the
crazy.
Hokage building.
Yo,
yeah,
I think
you
Anime
can't
Ball
have that
TV did a
many.
video like that too, where it was like they think that that he's doing something. I don't know if you saw their video. I know that you be doing you do content with
Yeah,
them, so I don't know if you peeped their video about like nanotechnology and stuff like that. How they think that he's using like nanotechnology to control a
and
model or
using
not a
sound
model.
specifically.
Yeah. So like to make that. Remember, Bar, I was telling you about this before, and we was talking. I didn't explain it as intelligently as Ian did, but they was using scientific technology to pretty much dumb down Shikamaru. That's why he's been acting a little bit differently than he normally would, and he
Now,
like
I
he
go a
came in
step further
blind.
with
hmm Go ahead.
like in the video that I got being edited. One of the things on there is like um Shikamaru was the only one that wouldn't have had no immunity to it. Cause like the thing on that is like when you look at it, like Naruto got like the Nine Tails. Nine Tails cure from any type of poison. Sasuke got poison immunity from Orochimaru experimenting on touching when he was a kid and all that. Kawaki and Boruto, they already had immunity because they had Boros virus. I think I say in the videos, I think that Amado released a virus that's very similar to Boros because when their karma dissipated, it take on the same appearance of what the Boros virus was in the anime. And like Shikamaru was the only one that wasn't exposed. And you just look at it from that point on with like the man sitting up there acting stupider than Naruto, and Naruto was 12. You know, you saw the anime balls deep thing, like, you know, like we passed stuff back and forth on Discord all the time. Like I sent like a thread probably back in October when I started working on video, I sent them a thread with some evidence and stuff in it. So I mean like we collaborate behind the scenes a lot. Like that's some of the things people don't realize. Like we do a lot of talking.
That's dope. And y'all heard it on the stream first. Anime Balls Deep and Naruto Explained does a lot of collaboration. I never knew that.
So check this out though, right? So my whole thing is, you know, yeah, Shikamaru, he's entering into this chapter. He's all caught up. We all know this, right? But I have to think that the writers are factoring in his established characterization, which is he's a tactician, a strategist. So for me, it's, you know, on my left hand, I'm saying, okay, the writers cannot be this incompetent to where they don't factor in this characterization for Shikamaru. And then on the other hand, I'm thinking to myself, well, they might be, because this is the Boruto writers, and sometimes they're a little off. Sometimes they just are. So for me, if we're talking about death flags for Shikamaru, I'm 100% on board. But for me, I would like it to be like a mystery, like a whodunit. I mean, we know it would be a motto most likely, but in order for you to kill a character like Shikamaru off, he has to be elevated first, right? The new generation of fans are watching this show. They don't really have the same connection to a Shikamaru like the older generation would. So we need to have him do something spectacular and then off the boy. So that's my only contention with that. But we'll have to see moving forwards.
No, I honestly agree with Melo's point right there. We already seen how Mujina was handled when he was actually, you know, killed off in the manga versus killed off in the anime. But we do have to understand that the events right now aren't necessarily happening in the anime; they're happening in the manga. So they could potentially have a ramp up with Shikamaru with anime only content. My opinion about this certain situation is that this does not seem like Shikamaru, and I understand you guys' ideas, but I personally believe that Shikamaru wouldn't necessarily be in this position if it's really the Shikamaru that we know. Now, hypothetically, this right here is like Shikamaru's wheelhouse. We understand that Code cannot absorb chakra. We understand that Code is susceptible to shadow paralysis jutsu. And we also understand that Shikamaru and Code, they're literally touching right now. So, logically, at any given moment, Shikamaru can literally place this man under a shadow paralysis jutsu, and he wouldn't be able to do anything about it. Honestly, I personally believe that this right here could potentially be a hard counter for Shikamaru, and it might end up being a part of his overall plan. Now, again, as Melo said, we understand that Shikamaru goes to most situations with an established plan. It doesn't necessarily always show itself immediately. I personally believe that somehow this right here is a part of Shikamaru's plan. Obviously, wasn't necessarily one-to-one. Kawaki got a karma seal now, so I'm pretty sure if it was a plan originally, they got to revise it. But I think right now Shikamaru is in prime position to capture Code because it'd be so easy to place him under shadow paralysis.
Yeah, but you gotta look at the weakness of shadow paralysis. Like if you're physically stronger, you can overpower it. Like the only thing on that is like if Shikamaru in that Boruto movie novel, like that jutsu that Shikamaru uses in the anime where he has that circular shadow paralysis jutsu, that was actually something Tamari and Shikamaru were working with Shikadai to learn. If Shikamaru knows how to do that jutsu, he should be able to get him under shadow paralysis jutsu that way. But that's something like you can be overpowered though. Like
no, I 100% agree.
Strong enough for that. Man, Shikamaru's shadow paralysis is strong. He stopped Kenshiki mid-attack, but you know, Code should be stronger than Kenshiki though.
See, I don't know. See, the thing about Kenshiki is that one of his main things as a character was his strength. He didn't have crazy dojutsu abilities. He didn't have crazy ninjutsu abilities. His thing was that he was super strong. And for Shikamaru,
out of chakra, he had chakra weapons.
That too. But albeit for Shikamaru to, you know, for a short period of time, restrain that guy, I think it's very telling for Code. Like he could potentially slow him down. Now, obviously, as Ian said, because of the weaknesses, and we know and we understand that Code is essentially like right beside him. Like he could literally slice his neck at any given moment. So I personally believe that it's tricky, but I think that Shikamaru could definitely get out of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I give it like a 3. Like I give it a 3 in terms of I don't think Shikamaru dies right now, but I'm not ruling it out though. But that's I agree, Mello too though, man. Like you gonna do that, you can't do it how you did with Kurama. When Kurama died in manga, it was just like he blinked and it was over. But I mean, the anime probably bent over backwards and fixed it though. So I reserve judgment till we see it in the anime, basically.
Now I see what you mean. Now another thing, if everybody's finished about the Shikamaru point, one of the things that we did actually get to see was that Kawaki got his Karma Seal. Boruto also got, his second stage of the Karma Seal. Mello calls it the V3. I'm not sure if they has an official name yet. But at this particular point, we understand that Boruto and Kawaki, they took another step. At this point, do you think that they've officially surpassed Naruto, or are they at his level, or do you think that Naruto is still that guy? Specifically with Naruto, not talking about Sasuke right now, because I know that's a different discussion.
And I got a video with King Bullet getting ready to drop. I'm waiting for the editor to finish it. Like we're gonna piss some
If
people
if
off,
if
man.
if you don't want to talk about it, you don't gotta talk about it here. We can wait until the video will pro and everything like that.
I'm gonna say this: like if Boruto's got 80% of Momoshiki's power, like Momoshiki, that's a lot more than what a lot of people realize, man. Like this next chapter is gonna be real telling.
Well, that's an interesting comment in itself. Do you think that he has 80% of the original Momoshiki or 80% of fused Momoshiki?
I'll say this: I think it's Fuse Momoshiki. Like
That's what I said too.
even though Momoshiki's taking on the physical appearance, like the way that the Otsutsuki transfer of chakra works is when Kenshiki transforms himself into that chakra fruit, their souls merge. And so, like, you just had that physical transformation, but like their souls are still intact. Kenshiki's chakra should be inside of him. So yeah, I think it's Fuse Momoshiki. I think it's roughly the only thing is like we don't know if like it's data conversion as far as like it's just the DNA that's 80% or if it's 80% of the Otsutsuki's power on top of that. But given everything Code said, if Boruto has full mastery of it, it should be whatever percentage of Otsutsuki DNA he's got, he should be able to access that level of power too. Like 80% of Fuse Momoshiki's like insane. Just 80% of Momoshiki is insane. Like you look at some of that stuff, like the anime adapted the scene, they just didn't show you happen beforehand. But like in Boruto novel 3, in the anime you see where like Momoshiki and Kenshiki is sitting on a planet and Momoshiki's eating the chakra fruit. This man froze an entire planet with a absolute zero jutsu, where he froze all life, and then he destroyed a sun in that same scene. So and like you add in that, and you add in that ability to draw in chakra from other universes. That's something we saw Kaguya do. 'Cause Kaguya was right before she got sealed away. She was absorbing chakra from all of her parallel universes and chakra from the God tree. That's why Zetsu said that she's more powerful than she's ever been before. He said she was exponentially more powerful. Momoshiki got universes just like Kaguya did. You give that to Boruto, like I'm not saying right now, like yo, he's stronger than Naruto. I'm saying like it's a conversation you got to have though.
100% agree. I 100% agree. Now, I think this right here is a little bit of a different conversation. Because I think right now we understand that Boruto and Kawaki, if they're fully all going all out, they're essentially going to be kind of equal, right? But a very interesting thing that we did see in the last chapter with Kawaki was that he had something in his eye. Now, Mello, Free Game, we go back and forth with it all the time. I think they kind of came to the conclusion that it might be a Byakugan. But do you have a specific thing that you believe he has in his eye?
I think it's that Dharma wheel.
You think so? If you look at the chapter though, it doesn't look like a Dharma wheel at all though. It's just like a little speck in his eye, kind of like how the Byakugan usually looks. It's like all white, and then it just has like a line drawn in the middle, sort of.
And see, it's because that line that's in the middle, like with the Byakugan, it's usually a circle. Like when you look at the pupil and everything, like There's like a little
Not
circle right there.
always
Like,
though, because one time Boruto they didn't have it as like an actual circle. It looked a little different, a little off. Like the manga, they I don't know. The manga's a little bit different though. Like a little weird how they draw things. The Byakugan doesn't always look the same for everybody.
I don't know about that one, man.
I can throw out the manga chapter for you that I'm talking about. Let me see if I can find it while you guys talking.
Well, yeah,
And like,
you could pull it up while we're talking. I'll give my opinion about it. Originally I kind of thought it could possibly be a Byakugan, but after I kind of read it the second time, I thought to myself, it may actually be a scientific technology dojutsu. Looking at the whole thing in the entirety, Code. I'm not Code. Kawaki's overall plan was to essentially meet Code by himself. Now, I don't think that this right here might have been the actual intent, but I personally believe that this right here could have possibly been a goal for Kawaki to actually beat Code in a 1v1. And to obviously get there, he would need certain upgrades. Now, the upgrades that he would then need was one, the Karma Seal, but also potentially to ensure that he's stronger than Code, potentially a scientific dojutsu. Now, I think that once he went to a model to actually get the Karma Seal, he probably ordered the 2-for-1 special. Throw me in the eye too. What's the problem?
oh no,
What you think?
that's possible. I mean, like for me, like I think that karma's always been there, and that's because the whole thing with Ada, like that's like what I uploaded in the video just now. Like when Code was like, yeah, Kawaki had karma, like the way Ada's drawn, she was drawn not responding, and she just immediately changed the subject. Like I think that karma was still there. He just didn't know how to access it yet. And like the point I made in the video was like, um, a model said it's like, that powers a house for you, but you don't have a key. And I said like, hey, like open up a door. Like you don't just need a key to open up a door. There's other ways. If you want to break into somebody's spot, you can. It's just gonna take a little bit more effort. No, I think that's what there was at Karma Seal. I don't necessarily know if Amato I don't know if Amato gave it to. It's possible he did off screen because there was some time that passed since they had the conversation. It could have, like, for all we know, there could be a flashback in the upcoming chapter, and Amato's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna touch you the same way Jigen did." It's possible, so I'm not gonna rule it out. And like for people that get on me like on my comments when I make those comments like that, I mean that's what Kishimoto does in terms of like the double speak and everything. Like the man does perverted stuff in the double speak, and if you're not aware of it, it goes on your head. If you're aware of it, the comments like that shouldn't offend nobody.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's cool. Mello,
My
you
bad,
back?
my bad. Yeah.
All right, true.
All
Yo,
right, what just happened, bro?
You went
all
into
right,
that
just to
Matrix
catch
again?
you. Yeah, he went into the Matrix. But just to catch you up with the discussions that we have been having, we're essentially talking about Kawaki's actual dojutsu. I think that's the most recent one, and we also talked about Boruto essentially potentially surpassing Naruto. Now you gave your opinions about this recently, but I want you to restate it for my guy Naruto explain in the chat who hasn't necessarily heard it yet.
Yep. So Boruto surpassing Naruto, I think. I mean, obviously, in the absence of like a Kurama, I think that's the most logical conclusion, right? We know he taps into the power in Karma V1, he taps into the power and the knowledge pool in Karma V2, and of course, what I call Karma V3 is when you tap deeper into your Otsutsukification, you manifest physical characteristics of the Otsutsuki like the horn. So for me, I have a video on my channel, Mellow XO, where I kind of explain how powerful Naruto should be. We go back to Naruto versus Fused Momoshiki. He's dodging and parrying attacks in base mode. He's getting thrown around. He just gets up and dusts his shoulders off and just, smiles as he's walked towards fucking Fused Momoshiki on some beast, right? Like this dude's a monster. And like even going up against Delta, who's scaling to like 6 paths mode stacked with KCM2 Naruto, he's handling her in base mode. It's almost like he went into his most powerful form just cause. So and then you stack on Toad Sage mode on top of this already godly base Naruto. I have to sit here and wonder, like, why is Code and Borishiki resorting to such devious tactics as to team up against a person that they're supposedly stronger than? That seems a little weird to me. So for me, I think the power scale. Look, we kind of parsed this out in a previous stream of mine. On one hand, there's the logical side of it, and then on the other hand, it's like the lore. In lore, Naruto should not be that strong in comparison to the people that's on the battlefield now. But logically, once you break it down logically, he's an absolute fucking monster. He's a monster. So for me, I think definitively someone like Kawaki is more powerful than Borishiki on the battlefield right now. And I think Borishiki is going to have to rely on devious tactics to get ahead. And I do think Naruto in Toad Sage Mode should be more powerful than Code, who's been in battle already, and who they have to resort to teaming up against and taking a hostage. I mean, my whole thing is if he's that much more powerful, just go over there and wash him. Why do you need to do that? You need to take a hostage. So yeah, I think Naruto's gonna be good. But look, Code's one of those characters. He's willing to escape. You know, he was ready to leave before Boruto came there. Ada told him, "Hey, Borishiki is out of your tier. Like you need to go." So you know, Naruto's there. Shikamaru, I believe his characterization will kick in at some point, and he'll be freed. And everything good?
Oh, I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
we straight.
Yeah, everything's good. I had just put the wrong picture in the chat.
Okay. And I think Sasuke's lurking in the shadows. He's on his way there. And, Ino knows the location. She could telepathically tell everybody in the village where they're at. So I think Code's going to be in some hot shit. I'm sorry, I forgot what the other question was.
He talked about a lot. Well, the last thing was, what do you think Kawaki's eye is, essentially?
Oh yeah. We talked about this a few times. It could be an artistic choice, right? It could just be like the refraction from the light. I went back and looked at Jigen particularly, because he is a vessel of an Otsutsuki, not the Otsutsuki himself. So I went back and I looked at Jigen, and his eyes are exactly how Kawaki's eyes look in the actual chapter. He has like that black, the eyes black, and then he has like the triangle pattern in it, like Jigen. So I don't know what that's supposed to be. It could be, I know Bar thinks it's scientific ninja tech. I'm not against that. I would just need a little evidence to support that. I know the theories that I've been dropping and some other people have is that similar to the Sharingan, how it has 3 stages in base, like 1, 2, and 3 Tomo. This could be like the first triangle of 8. And it scales up subsequently as he grows more powerful. So that could be the case as well.
That's what I think.
You think that's what it is? Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, nice. So I didn't hear what you. I don't want you to reiterate because I'm having problems. But yeah, okay. So it looks like we're on the same page. But yeah, that's what I think it is. Most likely.
Come on.
So that's an interesting concept, real quick. So you guys think that eventually, hypothetically, if this is the Dharma will, eventually he'll get all 8 of them, or all of them? I'm not sure exactly how much it is.
Looking in chat real quick. Look at the pictures I just dropped. Not the second one where Shiki's choking out Sasuke. I did not mean to put that in there, but look at these
My
Shiki.
goodness.
I swear to God, I'm gonna put that in there. Look at these Shiki's eyes.
Yeah, he got the circle pupil like that. That's consistent with what you see in manga format for Byakugan.
But you see his Dharma will though, right? His Dharma will is drawn out perfectly, and then you got Kawaki. That is not drawn out. That's not the drawn out Dharma will. Why would they do it differently?
If we're operating under the assumption that it's like some precursor to like a perfected eye or dojutsu, then it could visually look different.
Oh, y'all saying that it's going to transform from what it is now into a full Dharma will, like Shiki's, pretty much?
Theoretically, yeah.
Oh, okay. Sounds cute. I don't know about all that, but all right.
Yeah, it's an idea.
I like it. Right. Actually, it would be better than him having to like just popping out with a full Dharma will, fully Shiki's eye. I mean, I like that idea a little bit better. But I really think it's a Byakugan though.
No, I see what you're
saying. I'm not opposed to either one. I would love it for it to be both. I know there's like some theories like Ishiki, like so Naruto Boruto borrows heavily on like mythology from like Eastern mythology, and folklore. And I know there's some theories about like Shikuna Haikona and like Ishiki's ability to grant wishes. So that could be an interesting power. Yeah. Hold on, I've been reading into that a little bit too. But that would be an interesting power.
I'm gonna go a little bit off track. This guy Baro, he was reacting to, I think it was Seth the programmer, or I can't remember who he was reacting to, and he said, "What word was it, Baro, that you was like, yo, this guy?" He said, like, man, I forget what word it was, but he was taking off, and I had put it in your chat. I was like, you impressed by that? You not hear with Mello when he be saying saying the Dharma Will's name? I'd be like, whoa, what the hell did he just say?
Yeah, I forgot what it was specifically. I think it's the ability with Sasuke when he switches places with things.
Oh yeah.
Do y'all know that name?
Of it.
That Manga Teichikar.
There you go.
Yeah, what the hell?
I mean, that's where you gotta read the data books.
Yo,
Hey.
Naruto explains out here flexing. He's flexing.
Yo, flexing.
I love it.
Yo, it took me like a solid 3 years to learn the word Koda Amatsukami. My goodness. Like, what type of word is that?
I love it. No, what's that jutsu that Orochimaru uses? That thing is fucking wild, bro.
Or rewind where he goes back in time, or
Yeah, that's a motherfucking bar. That guy.
if you
goes
get that shit to
hard.
Madara where you can go forward in the past, I mean, in the future for like 10 seconds, see what happens, and come back. Madara would be a fucking beast, man. Like Orochimaru, like he didn't use his abilities, right?
That's his video game Mangekyo abilities for Madara. Yeah.
Well, not like Madara rewind.
Well,
I'm talking like go forward, see what you about to do, and then go back in time. Like it's similar. I get what you're saying. I mean, it's similar.
Nah, it's crazy. We already talked about Orochimaru, how that was complete wasted potential. I mean, this is crazy. Now, real quick, this right here is going to be interesting. I think a lot of people out there, people kind of forgot about this name, but a lot of people, they kind of want to hear about this guy. It's Toneri. Do you guys think that Toneri will make an appearance again in the future, or do you guys think it's clipped from my guy Toneri?
Who is Toneri? Oh, Toneri. Okay, my bad.
My bad.
I was like, get this guy off.
No, I was like, Toneri. Okay, I've never heard it said that way, so my bad.
My bad. I think they say it like that in a dub. I watched
It's
it.
all good. It's all good.
So what do y'all think? Do y'all think he's coming back?
I think
he has to make a comeback. I think he has
I kinda
something
wanna
to
hear
do with Boruto in the future. But yeah, what you think, Naruto Slim?
Yeah.
Or Ian, sorry about that.
I think it's like Kabuto with the Edo Tensei, man. Like, you kill him off, Edo Tensei still go on. I think that sealing jutsu that Orochimaru used on him, even though Uroshiki's dead, I think he's still stuck in it. And when you look up the mythology behind the Dragon King Palace, I mean, it makes sense. I don't think he's getting out of there.
Damn. So
I think
go ahead, rock out.
Well, I was just gonna say, Toneri Otsutsuki is such an important character. I think he has to get out, but obviously I don't think he can do it by himself. I had like a little fun what if, like Boruto goes rogue, finds his way onto the moon. He travels between different dimensions, trying to basically take up for his dead master's mission, that being Sasuke's dust at this point. So he wants to be the one to travel between dimensions and gather information. He works his way to the moon, and then like the Jogan like triggers automatically freeing Toneri, and then we kind of go into like the post time skip training shit with that. But Toneri is so important to this series. He absolutely has to be a pivotal role post time skip 100%.
I mean, I can agree with that. Like, as far as like, because I mean, like he's the one that prematurely awoke the eye when you take the anime and the novel content in together. I mean, because like the Academy arc is based off of a novel. So I mean, I can kind of understand that.
Yeah,
I think the animator for was saying they didn't know what they were gonna do with the Jogan anyway. Like this, like 2017, because he did the photo where he had like the eye drops, and he said that they hadn't thought out the Jogan and what those tattoo marks were, which ended up being the Karma Seal.
Yeah, that was back when everybody thought the Jogan was the Tenseigan. That was funny.
Fuck out of here! I remember that shit.
Yeah. I do.
I got so many fucking debates on forums on that shit, man. And, like the Facebook groups I had to moderate. I was like, that ain't a fucking Tenseigan, man. Like I was putting the pictures side by side, and people was like, no, that's Tenseigan. I'm like, okay, it's willful ignorance. I'm done.
Yeah, it's good. But
Yeah,
real quick, here's the thing. My idea, this right here is just like the greatest scenario for Toneri. My idea was that We recently heard from Code that once Boruto fully uses the Karma Seal to its fullest ability, he would then get the experience of Momoshiki Otsutsuki. Now, it is possible that Momoshiki Otsutsuki knows how to reverse something like that seal. Hypothetically, if Boruto were to come across Toneri, I don't know how, maybe he's taking like a picnic trip on the moon or something like that. He'd be able to see him and then be able to actually release him from that seal. Now, again, just the
Fact.
logistics of it, we don't fully know. Like, how is Boruto gonna make that connection? Like, hey, I gotta go to the moon. But I think that right there is definitely a possibility that the Boruto riders can explore later on in the future.
And you're gonna have dumbasses saying, "Oh, he's a Mary Sue. He figured this out. Something this complex, this quick." And it's just like Naruto used the creation of all things jutsu and didn't know what the fuck he was doing. So you can go suck some dick on that one.
Oh, man.
And they're like, "Oh yeah, Kakashi, I fixed your eye. Oh, I don't know what the fuck I just did, but yo, I fixed your eye. Like, it's the same shit."
Yes. So with that, bro, I think look, the writers are always they're hit or miss, but they could definitely write a narrative reason as to why Boruto would need the counsel of an actual Otsutsuki member. I mean, we know that they know he's up there. So, hey, we need to speak to an actual Otsutsuki about these matters. Boruto could definitely work his way up there. I think that'll be a way to introduce Toneri as well. And he gets there, realizes the dude's not there. We know that Boruto can sense at least Kawaki as an Otsutsuki. That seems to be some latent ability that triggered. Maybe he can sense the location of Toneri on the moon, because I'm pretty sure it's a big place. It'd be a little coincidental for him to stumble on him really quick. And then yeah, maybe the Jogan triggers and he frees him, and then we get some more. Because look, Boruto Part 1 focuses heavily on the Karma Seal. That's his main power progression, And I think Boruto Part 2 is going to focus heavily on the Jogan, his dojutsu, and a combination of the two, and of course factoring in some of the narrative themes with technology as well. So it'll be pretty interesting to see.
And you make a good point on that too, because like the idea of having to go get Natsuki, like the reason you got to do it is like they rely on real heavily on Amado, and like I said it when Amado started giving all that information, I was like, that's an unreliable narrator. Like that's the unreliable narrator trope. I'm not buying what this motherfucker selling right here. Like what you doing?
Right.
Like, it's just like at some point somebody gotta like everything too convenient. Like Sasuke loses the Rinnegan, they can't go in those dimensions. Amado's the only one that can make the science to get you there. Like it
Right.
kind of feel like they laying the groundwork to potentially have them go check with somebody else that's in that clan, and like old boy on the moon's the only one that they got left.
Yeah, that's where I was kind of thinking, and like you were saying, the unreliable Amato, he's similar to how Obito was with Sasuke. I mean, this dude's spitting all this shit like he's Madara. Meanwhile, he's sitting up here lying to the boy. So you guys got to remember, not you guys, but in chat and the community at large. Often what you hear is it's like at the time we were taking kind of Obito at his word for some shit. But oftentimes what you hear is not always, to be taken at face value. Just look at what Amato and his pills were. Look at Amato with his explanation and how the Karma Seal works. But he never mentioned Karma V2. He never mentioned you can tap into the knowledge pool. I wonder why that was. He
Never
never
mentioned
told
there was a
anyone.
white karma still either. Like that's
Yeah,
some big info to
exactly.
leave out.
Exactly.
There's this other guy out
Momoshiki.
there with the karma seal that I just so happened to forget to tell you guys about.
Like I don't know if you guys are familiar with the 48 laws of power. That's one of the 48 laws of power.
I
Like
read
you
that whole
select
book.
honesty, keep people dependent on yourself, and conceal your true intentions. Like that's he checks off so many of those boxes. That's what I got in the video that's being edited. Like he check off so many boxes on the 48 laws of power, and it's like he running game, and like the community buy it, and like it's crazy to me. Like people take what you say at face value, and I'm like, Naruto's a series. They told you in the very beginning, a ninja must learn to see past deception.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
facts. And none of these ninjas
That's
are
that.
seeing past deception right now, which is the crazy part. Except for the ones
But
that
Maybe not.
can we really
Maybe
trust
not.
this guy?
Because if your theories are correct, maybe Shikamaru's that ninja that would see through that deception, and then he's like the first target that he has to take down. Take down the brains of the operation. The rest will follow. So that could be pretty impactful.
Judging by y'all thinking that Shikamaru pack probably going to be loud in a couple weeks.
I'm telling you, bruh. I'm
Yo,
telling you, you ain't gotta gotta smoke the whole thing. You can spare him out through the
it's
weeks. That's how strong it's gonna be.
it's
You
two
gonna put
things,
him
bro.
out
It's two
halfway.
things. It's two it's two things, right? Either Shikamaru gets elevated and then they knock him down, which I'm okay. Like out of all the options, I want if we're going to kill him, elevate him first, have him do some dope shit, knock him down. Okay, I don't like it. That's my boy, but that's fine. But if they don't elevate him first and they just kill him off like on some Neji shit, like I don't know, bro. Rant video, bro, I might have to take a hiatus, something, bro. I might talk about Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't even know, bro. But we will have to see. We're gonna have to see, man. We're gonna have to see.
Yeah, that Neji that pissed it was cool at first, and when this man came out, I was like, yeah, I needed this as a reason to put these two characters. I was like, fuck you, I'm done with it. Like, I'm done. Like I was defending that shit before, and I was like, man, nah, man. They talking about it was like to put
Right.
these two characters. I was like, you had enough there if you wanted to do that. You didn't have to kill my boy off. Like, nah, I'm right there with you. Like if he ends up dying, like I'm just gonna be praying the anime fix it because like I thought like Kurama's death in the manga was some bullshit. The anime like
Right.
people was crying over that shit. So I mean it's like
Man, that pull.
I was crying. I ain't gonna hold you, bro.
Hey,
I
but
was-
Boruto,
Y'all ain't like his
that
death?
type-
I liked it. I liked
No,
it.
no, they saying they like it. They said it pulled like it made them like it pulled
Alright,
strings.
alright.
That's what we needed
Yeah.
though in the Boruto anime because bro, it has not been none of that. If you remember the Naruto series, bro, it was a lot of moments in the Naruto series that was like heart wrenching. Like dang, that really hit me. So we needed that. That was real needed, well needed into the series. His death.
that's it. It was
Yeah.
like, like when Kishimoto like do the killing and everything, like he went through like a stretch like from like 2006 to 2009 where it's just like you had a body drop at least once a year. And like when you look at last year, like the first chapter, first chapter of 2020, 21, Rinnegan get destroyed. Next chapter, Kurama end up dying. It's like it's about that time. If you want to look at it, I mean, it's about that time for a body to drop.
So this is a good topic. Now, in regards to the new generation characters, who do you think is going to be the first person to die?
Damn.
That's a great question.
Metal
That's a
League.
good one.
Oh, out of the new gen characters, not even the old generation,
Yeah.
just the new gen. Oh,
The
that's
new
crazy.
generation, because
This
you know what's
this
going to
guy is
happen. It's going to
killing
happen
off
eventually.
kids. He's killing off kids. This guy is.
I mean,
brutal.
like they fucking ninja. Like here's
I know,
him with some
right.
kids in at
I
like 8
know.
years old. Like
I know. I'm just
like
messing.
nah, they kids soldiers. Fuck it.
Yeah.
They pick up a kunai, they can get dusted.
Yo.
Yo.
Metal League gotta go.
Baro
Metal
was
League
saying
gotta
that the kunai, we need like some analysis on how strong these kunais are. Yo, bro, I be watching your lives just dying laughing, bro. You funny as hell, bro. I think it was the Madara versus the Madara versus Itachi one because I think what was it? Itachi had came out with the Susanoo, not the Susanoo. He came out with the blade with fire on it. What's that fire that can't be extinguished? I can't think of it off the top of my head.
The Matarasu.
The Matarasu, he had the Matarasu cloaked in on a sword, and he went and he tried to slice Madara, and Madara pulled out the kunai and blocked it. Baru was like, yo, what is going on? How strong are these kunais?
No, it's great. Fan animation is crazy nowadays. It's nice. It's nice.
But that animation was fucking top tier, though. I love that animation. That was crazy. That brought us back to the old Naruto taijutsu, like the old hand-to-hand combat that they used to introduce into this. That's another thing that we're missing. We're missing them great fight scenes. Like I know we got some amazing fight scenes when you're talking about Baryon versus Ishiki and stuff like that, beautifully animated. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like going back to like just seeing hand-to-hand combat taijutsu, like how we saw Obito versus Obito versus
Kakashi, you talking about?
Yeah, and just like fights like that. Like I think that's what we're missing as well. Like I forget the big blast, the big Rasengan, stuff like that. We need that hand-to-hand combat. That's one thing that I gave credit to the Naruto series is that it's that they have some amazing coordination with their fight scenes. Like whoever does the choreography for the animation is like a god with that. Like that's one thing that I always appreciated. And I see other animes, they take a lot of Naruto, the OG Naruto, they take a lot of the choreography and add it into their fight scenes.
That's because you had a mangaka that knew how to actually storyboard a fight. Like that's the difference. Like Kishimoto, like when he did the manga, like I can pull the screenshot up. Like he was studying Quentin Tarantino's story.
Oh.
figure out how to do the manga fights and everything. Like
Yeah, I didn't know
that
that.
was his thing. He studied the fucking storyboards for Quentin Tarantino fights and used that for his manga, and that's why like you see like the certain things like he put emphasis on like the kunai being taken out the holster and then like the switching of the hands and etc. Like that slow build up to that impact shot. You don't see that with Boruto, like and I've said it. People get mad when I say it, but like in terms of like manga, like when you look at manga in general, there's certain things that you can take advantage of in manga format that you can't do in anime. And what separates series like your Naruto, your Bleach, your Dragon Ball when it comes to how they capture movement on panels from series like Fairy Tail or series like Death Note that use very basic paneling, they don't do anything that you can't necessarily do in anime format. And like, there's nothing super dynamic. There's been flashes, but there's been nothing super dynamic in terms of the manga stuff. And you see it when they adapt like the manga fight panel by panel. People shit on it. Look at how people talk about Kashi and Koji versus Jigen and Ishii. People like saw that in the anime. They said it's garbage. That was panel by panel from the manga.
Yeah,
Hmm.
no,
You see what they
that's
do with
that's true.
carry-on mode, and you see all like the extra movements, and Naruto getting the chakra rod, and he's like deflecting the chakra rods and throwing it back and everything. Those extra movements, man, like it takes it to a different level.
Yeah, it makes all of a world of difference. That's very
Yeah,
true.
yeah, 100%. A lot of people don't know this, but Crypto, he has actual background in manga. Now, one of the things I'm not sure if I actually told you this before, but I really wanted to see, for example, like a video series of you dissecting how the manga is structured, not necessarily the contents of the manga, but how the manga is in regards to how well it's actually written. And this right here is a very big difference that a lot of people don't necessarily understand in regards to when you actually do watch a review of yours. Because when you say a manga chapter per se isn't really good, sometimes you might not be talking about the content in the manga. Sometimes you might be talking about how the manga is structured.
Yeah, like the shade, like it's like small stuff, like paying attention to shading, expressions, the way that you deal with composition. There's like a lot of different things. Like if you just take some of these scenes and you play around with the shading more and like you shade out the eyes, like there's so much more you can do to convey emotion. Like some of the expressions, they're the same fucking expressions. Like if you take away the text, there's times where you can't tell what a character is feeling
Right.
unless you got the text. Like if you got a competent mangaka, they can do that. And I'm not saying that to throw shade at Ikimoto. I know the dude works his ass off. I'm not downplaying that, but you know,
You got
if you
some
want to
improvement
recap,
to
you can
some
go to
improvement.
other people and they'll recap the chapter. I'm gonna fucking review it because a review is supposed to look at the good and the bad. And when
Right.
you see something you think is bad, you're supposed to say, "Hey, this is what they're trying to do. This is what could have been done better. This is how you could have done it better. And then here's an example of it being done better." That's what a review is. I'm not gonna suck off the shit. Like I'm a fan, a huge fan, but I'm not gonna suck the shit off.
No, yeah, that's facts.
Yo,
That's a
No, I
great
see.
thing about your
No,
content. Like you give both sides. Like you're not just saying, "Oh, this was a great chapter. Go ahead and read it." You're gonna say what you didn't like in a chapter. You're gonna say what you did like in a chapter. So that's one thing that I like about your content. Oh, and
Yeah,
thank you,
that
Kiddo
man's
Maki, for the
background is
tip.
fucking hot, man. Like he do some really nice shit. His backgrounds are fucking nice. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and you can tell there's been moments where the few assistants that he does have, they have come in and they cleaned up some stuff. Like when people are complaining about like uh the whiskers not being on Naruto's face and everything
Mm-hmm.
after he lost Kurama and everything. That's something they fixed in the
I did
manga
not
in the
even
manga
notice that.
art.
Yo, people be like, people look at things real deep. I never noticed that he didn't have the whiskers when he lost Kurama.
oh yeah, everybody was
People,
saying, "Hey, that's
people
proof."
subtle
Hey,
things
now
up.
people were essentially going back trying to figure out, "Hey, did this guy have whiskers? Did this guy not have whiskers?" Yeah,
They
a whole
pick up
bunch of stuff.
subtle
But
stuff.
I'm not sure if Naruto explained. I'm not sure if you're completely into like the speculation, the conspiracy theories in regards to the Boruto writers, but there have been some people out there that believe that Masashi Kishimoto isn't really the person that's penning the Boruto manga. Some people believe that he has a ghostwriters. What do you believe?
I might fuck around and do a whole video breaking this down. Like the reason why I think that you do have Kishimoto doing it is there's too many signals of it, and for somebody to go out of their way to mimic the writing style down to the way he does the deranged kanji. A great example being when you look at the last chapter and Ada is talking. As a matter of fact, I'll put this in my Discord. I broke it down for somebody. Like the way Ada's talking, she uses the word battlefield when she says like the battlefield's a mess. It's deranged kanji in the sense that the the noun that he used, it has more than one meaning behind it. And Ada's being written as a cake woman, as being a woman that is hiding her age and she wants to find romance, but for whatever reason she can't actually accomplish romance. Her whole character angle is she wants Boruto and Kawaki, one or the other. The thing that you see in there is that she refers to the battlefield, and the way that it's translated, it can either be a physical battlefield or it can be a messy state of romantic affairs. That's the translation. Ever since they announced that Kishimoto was taking over the writing, the manga has been littered with small phrases like that. Another example being how when Kawaki has a nightmare about Jigen, or Amato thinks he has a nightmare about Jigen, it's really him thinking about Code choking him out. Amato, the way he has it's like, hey, in the English translation, it's like, hey, are you having a nightmare about Jigen beating you up? The noun that's used, or not the noun, the adjective that was used in there, it was more so, it could be translated, are you having nightmares about Jigen beating you off again? Beating off being the sexual innuendo.
Come to man.
That ain't P.
That's
That ain't
classic
P.
What is going
Kishimoto.
on?
That ain't P.
What is
Like when
going
people
on, yo,
and
YouTube
that's
about
what
to
I said
hit
earlier when people said
monetization
like,
right now.
yeah, like because like when people get at me when I say like in the what else, like I'll slip in the line like, yeah, Pain shoved his black rod in the Hinata. That's an example of that. Like that's an example. Like if you just listening and you don't know anything, you'd think, oh, he's talking about the chakra rod. The people that know, like, okay, he made a sexual innuendo right there. Kishimoto did that all the time in Naruto. Like when Itachi's standing outside crying in the rain, the way that the translation could go is when Kisame says, "Step in, you're gonna catch a cold." The way Kisame is doing, that hot body of yours is gonna catch a cold. And it's just like that's the innuendo because he's making a sexual pass at Itachi when Itachi out there crying in the rain, but Viz Media cleans it up. Like there's been a bunch of little small moments in there like that where it's just like,
My guys,
you know, the translators are sitting there saying, "What the fuck are we gonna do?" Because if you translate it word for word like that, and you put in like the translator notes beneath it saying it could mean this or this, look at how quick people cancel people over shit. People be pulling up tweets and shit from like 6 years ago. They'll cancel some of the shit that he did when Naruto first came out. He couldn't get away with that. When he was drawing like whole ass nipples and butt cheeks and stuff, that wouldn't make it now.
Yo,
So now I've seen enough to say he's still writing it because I mean the writing cues in there. If you're gonna ghostwrite, why would you go that far out of your way to mimic somebody when you got a platform this big with a manga that's doing like 160,000 volumes a month? You want to put your own twist on it. You wouldn't want to copy somebody verbatim.
right.
Nah, I see what you mean.
Talking about butt cheeks. Let me just what was with that freaking thumbnail, Mello? Did you not peep that? Did you peep his thumbnail, bar?
Nah, I ain't see it.
You ain't see this guy's thumbnail? This guy, Mello, is a troll, bro. He got Sakura turned around with her butt cheeks, bro. And he enhanced her butt cheeks, too. Like,
Here we come now, bro.
wait,
Here
where's
we
Mello
come
at?
now.
Mello not on? Where's Mello at? Where did he go? Yo, nah. Yeah, I gotta
What's
see.
up, bro?
Mello,
Here we
what's up
come
with your...
now, bro.
Yo, what's up with your thumbnail with Sakura, bro? What was you
Bro,
doing?
you be bringing up the most random
No.
questions on these
Yeah.
podcasts, bro. What the
Hey,
more.
you gotta keep the podcast spicy, baby. What was with that thumbnail? If nobody saw Mello's video about Sakura, go to his channel and peep out that thumbnail. Yo, everybody on the Discord was crying.
Yeah,
Hey,
100%.
pre-game, I'm gonna send you a screenshot or something.
All right, bet.
All right, now
Wait,
this
hold on.
podcast taking a questionable turn. This ain't P.
Yeah.
Wait.
I don't know
And then
what
this guy,
happened.
edited the video and had himself on a beanbag with. He was sitting on the beanbag.
Oh,
and he had the poster of Sakura turned around. Bro, this guy is a troll. I swear to God, I love my freaking podcast promo
Oh
co-host.
my
Y'all are
goodness,
trolls, bro. This guy Mello is a clown.
this is crazy.
I just had to bring it
This
up.
is crazy.
Yo, Kiddo Maki, thank you for
Listen,
the tip. Maki, Kiddo
listen,
Maki
listen,
said
man.
that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Listen, man. Listen. It was all in good fun, But listen, man. Listen, I want to know something, bro. And because I want to kind of get back on topic. And look.
Hmm.
Because free game wild, he crazy. I don't know where that came from, but okay. All right, check this out.
They know what I'm talking about in the chat, though.
No, look. We'll save that for after the stream. Okay. Look,
Oh,
no.
man.
Naruto explains was spitting because I was like Bar would say, I was picking up what he was putting down. So I want to kind of stay in that mind frame real quick before I fucking forget my questions. Okay, so
My bad, guys.
no, you good, bro. So I had a question for I almost forgot it. So twofold question. So number one, Sarada is my favorite new gen character, and I think the anime has written her perfectly. They've done everything that I wanted them to do with her for the most part. That's one. So for me, with Kishimoto coming back, I had a fear that he was going to mess up her character, because in my opinion, he has historically written female characters pretty poorly in comparison to male characters. So twofold question. One, do you agree with that statement? How do you feel about how he writes female characters? And two, do you have any apprehension about how Sarada's the direction of her character will move forwards with him behind the helm?
I would say, like, with the female characters, like, for the most part, I agree with you, because he said in the past, like, he struggles writing romance, and with female characters, like, it's harder for him to write female characters. Like Naruto Gaiden, I mean, that did a lot in terms of set the foundation for a character, and you saw how the anime really just kind of built on that in terms of,
Right.
like, I want to be Hokage, and like she's got the strong internal drive and all that. Like, you saw
Love it.
some of that built on it, but like, I think that Sarada and Mitsuki are going to go the same route that uh, Sai, Yamato, and Sakura did, which is like a lot of people don't realize, like, the anime added a lot of shit to make the other members of the original Team 7 look better. But like, once you get past, I think it's like volume 35 or 36, whatever the Koski suppression arc is, it really became focused more so on like Naruto and Sasuke for like the next 40 something volumes. Like, their growth kind of stagnated. They had moments here or there, but that's just it. It was moments. And for the most part, it was Naruto, Sasuke, and their development and their reaction to whatever. They were the needle movers. And I think that based off of how he writes, it's going to be more so focused on Boruto and Kawaki, and you're going to have the anime go in there to try and beef up these characters in other ways. But in manga format, you might as well strap in. This is Naruto all over. Naruto focused heavily on those two characters for, I think Akatsi's suppression is like 2007, like 7 or 8, because the Five Kage Summit was in 2010. So it should have been like 2007 to 2008. Like, for the next 4.5 years, it was all Naruto and Sasuke. I think that we're in the same spot here. And like, as I like Sarada, and I think that you're gonna need the anime to really give her more moments, because I think in the manga she's gonna be done until she gets a power up, and when the power up comes, it's gonna come out of nowhere.
That's a good.
agree.
Real quick. Now, speaking of a power up, we always go back and forth with this. We understand that Kawaki and Boruto, they're going to be the big dogs. How is Sarada going to reach that level? Is she ever going to reach the level of, let's say, a Naruto even currently, or even like a Sasuke even currently? Do you think? How do you think she gets there? And do you think she ever gets there?
Yeah, because you got, I mean, number one, I mean, it's shown in Power Cliff, and like when you go into a time skip,
Right.
it's just gonna be your typical Power Cliff, and like a great example being how some of these Konoha 11 ninja were struggling with the Sound 4, and the Sound 4 were weaker than Special Jonin. They had to gang up on them in order to take them down. Special Jonin are weaker than Standard Jonin. They were struggling with them, but then you get into a 2.5 year time skip. All of a sudden, like, they're strong enough where they're at that Jonin level, and some of them are even able to keep up with Kage level fighters and some of those Akatsuki members. And it's just like, that's a power cliff. Like, Kakashi went from he couldn't keep up with Itachi when Itachi was heavily suppressed inside of Konoha during the Search of Tsunade arc. He keeping up with a 30% Itachi clone. So it's you see the power cliff, and Kakashi same thing, power cliff in the month between, not the month, in the months between the five Kage summit when he was barely able to use the Sharingan to use Kamui.
Right.
You get to the war arc, and this dude's stamina is just absolutely insane. Sharingan being spammed all over before he even gets to using Naruto's Kyuubi cloak. So with Sarada, that time skip, she's gonna get that power cliff. And then the other thing is the way the Sharingan works. You got two avenues. The Sharingan can get stronger through hatred, and that will boost your power. Or you have the same thing with the Mangekyo, where if she awakens a Mangekyo, if her base is strong, you add in that Mangekyo boost, it's an undefined multiplier. And so it's just one of those things, if her base is even somewhat relative to Boruto and Kawaki, or even say she's only at 70% of it, once she gets that Mangekyo, she's going to jump up another tier. So yeah, I think that it's going to be power clip, and it's not going to be great writing, but this is a shonen. I mean, it ain't breathtaking writing.
No,
Yeah, I see what you
nice.
mean. So, real quick, specifically, how do you think she gets there? Do you think she's gonna get a Rinnegan? Do you think she's gonna be
She
altered by
can't get
scientific
Rinnegan.
technology?
She can't get
Whoa,
it. The way you get Rinnegan is either you are given it directly by Hagoromo, or you mix the chakra of Asha and Indra. No random
Right.
Uchiha is gonna awaken a Rinnegan. It don't work that way. You could pump her full of Hashirama cells all day. She ain't gonna get the Rinnegan because she don't have the Indra chakra. She would have to get chakra from Sasuke and mix it in.
Yeah, a lot of Sasuke, a lot of Sarada fans out there, they're probably not gonna want to hear that. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Bro,
They're
listen,
probably not gonna want to hear that.
The Rinnegan is garbage, okay? I'm sorry. It looks awful to me. I hate its abilities. I can't stand. Look, I always say, go the Byakugo seal, combine that with the Sharingan. Byakugo in the manga is touted as being like ancient Otsutsuki based off the visuals and the
Yeah.
dialogue. Sarada, and then like have that mixed with like Otsutsuki Dojutsu, the Sharingan. Have something unique happen with Sarada. Have her progress, like give her like a time manipulation Dojutsu, something like that.
That'd be
Compression
dope.
Susanoo. Yeah, bro. Like have her I told this example several times. Have her store like a I don't know, just big balling, right? A year's worth of chakra in like I don't know, 3 minutes or some shit like that. Like she like that she's a fucking god if that's the case. And you know, Tsunade and Sakura had the Byakugo seal, but they never had the Dojutsu to go with it. So I think with those two,
Ooh.
with them trying to link the Byakugo seal to Otsutsuki, based off the dialogue in the manga between Sakura and Sarada, that could be one Otsutsuki ability resonating with another Otsutsuki ability, the Sharingan and the Byakugo seal, coming together to form something unique that we've never seen before. And I would love to see that happen for Sarada. And to me,
Just won
the
me
anime,
over.
yo, my boy, that's what I'm
I
trying to
hated that idea
do.
of her learning the Byakugo. I was like, man, fuck out of here with that. You just won me over on that.
Yeah. Hey, man, look, I try. But that's what I want from her. Like, the anime, to me, you guys might not agree with this, but to me, it's the definitive Boruto experience because it takes a character like Sakura, it takes Sarada, rather. Hell, it takes Sakura, too. It takes a character like Mitsuki and makes them relevant. Shinki, when the last time you saw him in the manga? Like in the background somewhere? Maybe. I don't remember. It's been so long. But yeah, they take those side characters and they make them relevant. I mean, for God's sake, Dinky. I have high hopes for this character, based off
I
of
don't.
you don't. You don't have high hopes for Dinky. I think Dinky is like he's like the physical manifestation of like this technology theme that the series is trying to move forwards. And like on one hand, you know, you have to be a shinobi rooted in traditional shinobi growth mechanics, right? Train hard over a period of time, the shit that Kawaki doesn't like. And then the other hand is like the quick shit, right? The technology. And I think Dinky in his battle with Tsubaki in the anime, he kind of embodied both worlds where everyone thought he was just going to rely on technology, but no. Oh, no. This boy came back with that fucking, what was it, lightning overdrive fucking shit was amazing, bro. So, like, yeah, once you get a shinobi who combines technology with traditional shinobi power progression, you're going to get something beautiful. And I think with Boruto and Kawaki, you're kind of getting that because with the Karma Seal being alien tech, and of course Boruto, I'm still a shinobi. That could be the difference narrative-wise why Boruto has an edge over someone like Kawaki, whose Otsutsuki scales higher than Boruto's, or so we say. It's him embodying both sides of the spectrum, a yin and yang, a balance, right? Technology and traditional shinobi mechanics coming together to form the ultimate warrior. I think that'd be pretty fun.
That actually lines up with what you get in like those like novels too, because like when you look at uh, what they say in that is like Naruto, Sasuke, and Kakashi, they all got the same belief when it comes to ninja tech, which is ninja tech should be used in conjunction with ninjutsu. It should be used to augment your ninjutsu. You should be willing to
Right.
use science to develop new jutsu, but you can't forsake your ninjutsu training. They gotta go hand in hand. And like in the Sasuke Shinden novel where Sarada gets her three tomo, uh, Sasuke has a line where he's talking to Boruto. He's like, all these ninja that died, like my brother, they died so we could get these advancements. And a
Right.
kunai is a byproduct of not ninjas. A kunai is a byproduct of science when you think about it, and that's why, like in the manga, when Sasuke's like, "Hey, you haven't really learned anything," like when Boruto's like, "Hey, like using ninja tech is cheating and etc." You know, that's piggybacking off of that, which is like Sasuke talked to him, was like, "Hey, like these two things they go hand in hand together." And like Naruto called him out on it in the office. It was like, "Hey, you understand
Right.
that this isn't the same thing. You just refuse to accept it." Boruto accepting that, that's bringing his character full arc. 'Cause when we first got introduced to him in the Boruto movie, he relied too heavily on ninja tech, even though he had the talent. And when you look at Car as an organization, they're a manifestation of what happens when you rely too heavily on ninja tech.
Right.
You had shinobi like Boro and Victor and Kashi and Koji. They used it in combination. There's some of the more deadlier ones, like Victor, not necessarily in terms of power, but he had regen that Orochimaru was having trouble with. So I mean, it's something there. I think you're onto it there.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Oh, I like you, man. I like you. You sharp. You, you, you are a sharp. You a sharp brother. Welcome. What?
He
Hey,
said he
hey,
was sharp, brother. This guy.
Naruto explains. Welcome to the podcast, man. Damn, bro, you a breath of fresh air. Woo, my man, my man. I fucks with it heavy. I was picking up what you
I,
was putting there.
Oh
I ain't
my
gonna lie,
gosh.
I'm not rocking with this bromance right here. First, y'all talking about how Kawaki not stronger than Sarada.
Yo, he
uh,
was spitting, bro. He was spitting. I couldn't have said
Nah,
it
he was
better.
spitting. He was spitting. One of the things that a lot of people don't necessarily like to bring up, specifically the OG Naruto fans, they do not like the new scientific technology. Now, in my personal opinion, I think it's going to be inevitable. One thing that we do understand right now, we're going to be going to the space where we're going to be fighting against enemies that are just stronger and stronger and stronger, and regular ninjas, they just cannot compete. So to augment that, you're going to have to kind of modify a lot of ninjas to potentially be on that level, unless you're going to have only Boruto, Kawaki, Naruto, and Sasuke be the only people fighting against the bad guys. Now, I definitely want to ask you this question. How far do you guys think the scientific technology thing is going to go? Do you think multiple people, in regards to like hundreds of ninjas, are going to be augmented by scientific technology? Do you think it's going to eventually become a normal thing, like academy students are going to be modified? What do you guys think? How far do you guys think it's going to go?
I was gonna let Naruto explain. Go.
Man, I'll say this, man. Like, I think that you're not gonna see necessarily like academy students and gaining necessarily using that. I think that Naruto's got the right idea. It's something that Jonin using it, that's fine. Allowing people like Orochimaru to do their own experiments, that's something that's fine. But you have to prove that you can actually handle using it. That's why, like in this tuning exams, one of the things they did is they said you can use ninja tech, but you got to develop it yourself alongside your own ninjutsu, and that's what Dinky did. Because people said, well, the ninja tech let him do use lightning release. No, he already had an affinity for lightning release, and he was able to use it without the ninja tech. But the ninja tech just modified it and augmented it. And like that's one of the things like Orochimaru in that Naruto Rustin novel. Orochimaru is piggybacking off of that line that they have in the anime where they say that Orochimaru is working on science that can combat that clan. And so it's one of those things. Like I think we're getting there. I mean, you're gonna see more people use it, and like people getting mad about it. I mean, Ninja Tech, that's no different than what Orochimaru did. Orochimaru was using mechanical enhancements on the sound ninja, like Dosu and
Right.
Zaku. They had mechanical enhancements done to their body that specifically used their chakra to be able to augment their jutsu in the form of that sound. That's no
Exactly.
different than using ninja tech to enhance the bodies of individuals to perform higher level jutsu or unique jutsu like Boro's virus he put out. That's a byproduct of ninja tech. Same thing. They
Yeah.
just
So,
took it further. I mean, are
so
phones the same from where they were in 2000? No. Like, when's the last time you seen a fucking flip phone?
That's
When's the last
true.
time you seen a fucking pager?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
gotta
date
bring it
myself
up.
for a minute. When's the
Bring
last
it
time you seen a
up.
fucking pager?
Hey, I seen it. I'm
hey,
not even
I
gonna
was
lie to you. I seen a pager like 2 months ago. Somebody had a pager. I was
That's
like,
one
yo,
of them
where did
old
you
headed
get that?
motherfuckers right there, man.
yeah, I was watching The Wire the other day, so yeah, I think I saw a pager, but
Yo, I ain't seen
Hey,
The Wire in
yo,
years. Get out of here.
hey,
Whoa.
yeah,
I
yo,
was a
me and my mom was
kid.
watching it. We
That
watching
is
that and Oz. Yeah,
crazy. That is
that shit's a
crazy.
bop. That shit
hey,
crazy.
yo, yeah,
But yo, check
that's
this out.
fine.
Check this out though.
Hmm.
Um, man, I'm loving everything you're saying, man. Look, Ninja have been using technology. Look, a toothbrush is a form of technology. People don't think about it like that, but it is. Dental care, medical, whatever, Advil. It's technology. So, Ninja have been using tools, external tools, to amplify their abilities. I just dropped the video about the Gunbai Uchiwa, right? The fan that
Who?
Madara
Who?
Uchiha uses. The
Mm.
Gunbai.
What?
Okay.
The
No, I
Gun
know what he's
Man.
talking
Yep.
about. I know what he's talking about. I know what he's talking about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All
So I
these
just dropped.
long words. What's going on here? My bad. Go ahead.
So I just
He said,
I just dropped a video talking about the Gunbai. And even if you go to like the Totsuka blade or what's the grass longsword? What's the name of it? I
It
forgot.
starts with a
Kashi.
K. I know what you're talking about. I
Yeah.
can't pronounce it. Like
nah,
I
I'm
can
trying. I'm
I
trying.
can say it, but I butcher names all the time, man. They don't want to hear that.
The Kazan. I'm trying to be big brain, but you know what I'm talking about. The sword that extends and retracts. Orochimaru's blade. Stuff like that. They've been using. The hell, Sasuke has a sword. I mean, that's a form of technology in and of itself. So for me, like, how far into the future that I can see this kind of stuff. I can see like, Sarada being Hokage, please and thank you. Sarada
Oh
being
man.
Hokage, and she's looking over, she's going to like the new generation, giving them a speech, and they all have like technology on them. That far into the future, I can definitely see technology moves quick. And once that cat's out of the bag, you can't put that genie back in the bottle. So I think that's going to be time frame wise what we're going to be looking at. In terms of like the benefits of someone in the new era, like a Shikadai or a Metal Lee. My God, what fucking dropped the ball with that character. But um, I think we're going to have to see something with that in Boruto Part 2, where they can kind of scale to like Kawaki and Boruto, not to the same tier by no means, but maybe have a villain, the main big bad, and then have him have some minions, and we can deal with the minions on that level. I think that'll be pretty impactful moving forward in the series. Yeah, the
Well,
Kusanagi blade. Guys, thank you so much for that. The Kusanagi. Yeah.
well, 100%. Similar to like how the war arc was. Madara and the rest, they were kept for obviously the big dogs, but you also had a whole army which were able to actually give the actual lower characters or the side characters some action. I think that's 100% definitely a very good idea. Now, we did kind of go into the topic of Hokage. Some people are going to say I just hate Konohamaru for bringing this up, but my personal opinion is that Konohamaru's character has been done absolutely atrocious. Remind you, coming into the Boruto series, we thought that he may actually become the 8th Hokage. Now, as of right now, what do you think of Konohamaru's character? Naruto, explain.
Fuck it, I'm gonna go there. Like if you drop Konohamaru in part one Naruto right now, you told him, hey, go fight Kakashi, he'll watch Kakashi. Part one
What?
Kakashi.
Yo,
I'm gonna go there. I'm
yo,
gonna go there.
yo.
And like the only reason I'm gonna say that, ask yourself this question. Ask yourself this question. Could part one Kakashi beat Jugo?
Listen to me.
Konohamaru couldn't beat Juko. What
Listen
are
to
you
me.
doing here?
Naruto explained.
Konohamaru couldn't beat Juko.
I am the
Konohamaru knocked
biggest.
that motherfucker all the way across the forest.
I am the biggest Kakashi fanboy. He's my favorite character in the verse, bro. You're right. You're right,
Oh
bro.
my goodness. Chat, talk to these guys. What is
I've been
going on here?
saying this for a minute, bro. Oh my.
Chakra drain, and he knocked him all the way across the forest. That same Jugo was able to tank a direct attack from a fully pissed off fourth Raikage in the lightning chakra mode. Jugo took it and said, I want seconds.
Yo,
Konohamaru,
Keto,
while getting his chakra absorbed, was able to hit him with enough destructive force to send him all the way across the forest. I am saying if Konohamaru can land one Rasengan on Part 1 Kakashi, that shit's a wrap. Because Kakashi in Part 1 has no destructive capability or durability that can keep up with that.
well, we know that, but you could go vice versa. Kakashi lands one Chidori on Konohamaru, he folding like a lawn chair. We know this. The question is, you know,
That brings back
my-
to my point
my-
when we was talking about last stream, bro. You can't compare somebody from like beginning of Naruto to somebody to in the Boruto era. The power scaling is like way off the chart.
It's power cliffing.
Yeah, exactly. That's why
No, I
we talked
completely
about this
agree.
last stream.
No, I completely agree. But we've seen Konohamaru in multiple situations, and he just has not. He just has not been the guy that we needed. You see what I'm saying?
He
My
also
thing with the
has been
Jugo
going-
thing.
He
Oh,
also been going against some big dogs though. They ain't putting Konohamaru against no weenies and he's like tapping out. He's going against some big characters.
well, if we're just talking about strictly power, I agree with that. 100%. I agree with that. But here's the thing, and just on a Jugo conversation, Jugo wasn't intentionally trying to kill Konohamaru. Like, Jugo,
What are you
well,
saying? What do you mean?
his rage form.
Yeah, okay.
What?
He was in
Pick what I'm throwing
berserk
down.
form.
Pick up what I'm throwing down. His rage form was trying to kill him. Hypothetically, if Kakashi, well, let's say Konohamaru were to actually knock him out of that rage form, and Jugo was intentionally trying to kill Konohamaru, Jugo would have gotten back up and then went right back at Konohamaru. So it wasn't necessarily like Konohamaru won.
When he knocked him across the forest, he knocked him out.
No, he didn't knock. He was still up. Like, he just got knocked out of that form. He was still up. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? He didn't
Okay.
completely knock him out. Now,
Okay.
now, my problem with Konohamaru lies in his leadership. Konohamaru, during multiple arcs, completely disappeared. During the fake Jugo arc, completely
on,
disappeared. During the
You know why that
during
is,
the
though,
Mitsuki
right?
retrieval, wait, I get, but during the Mitsuki retrieval arc, completely disappeared. During the owl battle, it was a 1v1 with Boruto and Owl. Konohamaru wasn't there. Now Kashin Koji came up, two-pieced him to like 2.5, but
Koji.
that's neither here nor there. My problem is that Konohamaru doesn't necessarily take control of situations the way that he should. That right there just tells me he's clearly not a Hokage. He's clearly not.
No, but who said he was supposed to be Hokage? Look, I understand
He did.
expectations going into the series. Like, I mean, fucking the
said
dude
he
was
did.
a kid going up against like Pain. Like that's fucking fire. But look, man. I always say this. You gotta look at number one is Boruto's show. They're trying to show off Boruto. Of course, fucking Konohamaru's not going to take out the big bad of the particular arc. Come on, man. We know plot and narrative. Come on, that's one. Two, Konohamaru. I always say this. He's and this is just lore wise. I'm not talking about like Boruto at his apex or anything like that or Kawaki. He's too powerful. He should be rather too powerful to take on the new generation's tier villains, and too weak to take on the top tiers that Naruto and Sasuke can take on. He was born in a fucked up time period where him in his prime, at his apex, it was nothing for him to do, to make a name for himself like Kakashi of the Sharingan Eye, like Naruto, the great hero of the fourth great ninja war. Like, he didn't have those, and this goes into like the whole Mirai Jashin cult arc, where she was like, yo, this is a shit era. Like, we don't have the opportunity to surpass the old generation because there's nothing going on. So for me, we're judging a Konohamaru based off of what he's coming off of. His foundation is an era of peace. Now that he knows what's up, now that he know, okay, Otsutsuki descending down from the fucking heavens, like, these dudes are wild, bro. Now I think post time skip, that's going to be when we see Konohamaru go wild, because he knows what the stakes are now. Before, man, that shit was an abstract concept. He didn't really have a tie-in with it. Kara was moving in the shadows. Like, this dude didn't really have any controversy to build himself up with. And like our boy here says, the power cliffing, the power scaling is absolutely bonkers, bro. I'm a Kakashi fanboy, but you can't sit here and tell me the amount of time Kakashi took to rev up that damn Chidori versus like the Rasengan for a nerfed who is getting his chakra drained by fucking Jugo, who's like sparring with the fucking Raikage A and Shippuden. Plus he's stronger because he's older. Like, what are we talking about, bro? What are we talking about? This is wild.
Yeah, see, like Konohamaru, he got shafted because like it's like imagine. Oh, this is great. This is a really great way to put it. Like Konohamaru suffers from the same issue that some of the all-time greats had when they played with Michael Jordan. They in the same generation. Konohamaru was only 4 years younger than Naruto. But the problem is that Naruto was still there bodying all of these people. There's nothing for you to do because the fourth great ninja war, you can't go into it because Ganin won't allow. That was something Tsunade drew a line on. Ganin went on there, it was Chunin and higher. Ganin were left to protect the village. There was nothing he could do. There was nothing he could do. But we know that there was some skill because the way that the manga ended, according to the data book, the man had 2 changes in chakra nature as a Ganin. So it's one of those things like the skill's there. There was no opportunity to show it. Ganin in part one of not part one, Ganin in part two of Naruto during that era, like if you got a B rank mission, you seen as hot shit as a Ganin. Like matter of fact, if you got a C rank mission, you were supposed to be very skilled. C like D and C rank missions were for Ganin, but most Ganin were doing D ranks. That's why like when Kakashi was like, "Oh, this is a C rank, we need to go back." For the Land of Waves arc, when he first saw like the Demon Brothers, those Chunin from the Mist Village, he's like, nah, this probably should have been something a little bit higher. This is pushing out of the boundaries of C rank. Then when Zabuza just shows up, he's like, oh shit, this is A rank. You know, this is well beyond their capability. Like, old boy didn't have that opportunity, man.
Exactly, bro. And even if you like look at Konohamaru, like lore wise, you know, the grandson of the third Hokage, he is a Sarutobi, a member of one of the most prestigious clans in the Leaf Village, who was sought out by Hashirama and Madara specifically for their prowess in the Warring States era. This is a student of the seventh Hokage. Like he
learned the Rasengan younger than Naruto. That's some shit that people don't want to hear. Shippuden aged him up, but in the manga, Naruto taught Konohamaru the Rasengan during part 1.
Exactly.
That's shown in the flashback. He's in that orange and blue gi jumpsuit that he had.
Dude's a fucking monster. And like he's taking out one of the pains as a fucking child. Meanwhile, he's like sensei's getting cucked by the same pain. Like, what are we talking about here? Like lore wise, just lore wise, he's touted. He should be one of the most prestigious shinobi in his village, and I think he is. I mean, in the anime at least.
Look at the Ishiki fight. People don't want to hit. So he got up. Rock Lee, and he was leading the charge. He was leading the charge. Choji was using Yang release partial expansion jutsu to try and go up against Ishiki. Rock Lee was in there going in there. You had 10-10 in there. Konohamaru took the attack. It wouldn't have fucking mattered. If he goes into AK, if Naruto with the 6-pass chakra mode couldn't touch Ishiki once, and Rock Lee's base is that much weaker than Naruto's, as evidenced by the fact that that chakra cube knocked out Rock Lee, Naruto was able to casually destroy it with the giant Rasengan. And Naruto wasn't using no types of power-ups. The 8th gate's not going to give Rock Lee that type of a multiplier to where he's going to be stronger than 6-pass chakra mode Naruto, who couldn't even touch Ishii.
Now, I do get what Free Game is saying, because I think what he's saying is like, no, my bad, bro. I think what he's saying is like, if we're trying to like say Konohamaru scales because of that situation with all of them there versus Ishiki, that he was the last one standing, he was leading the charge. We can't really say like he was the strongest one amongst them.
No, I'm not saying that. What I am saying though is like the fact that he took that attack and all the rest of them are out, and he's the one that was right there at the front. I'm not necessarily saying for scaling purposes, but I am saying that if you want to throw that in there and you want to highball, you can. I personally wouldn't use it, but that is something that does exist in that lore. But even taking that out, again, Kakashi's my favorite character. Part 1, he ain't beating this version of Konohamaru. People shit on the character left and right, but I mean, like, there's more in Konohamaru's favor. Look at how long it takes him to charge up the Chidori. Takes a long ass time in part 1.
See, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I understand that Konohamaru isn't garbage. I'm not saying that, even though I probably did say that in the past. My point is the expectations were not met. Now, off of that, power scaling wise, I think this is very interesting. We can name multiple. Let's not even name Jonin. Let's name Chunin and Genin. That we could confidently say Konohamaru is probably not stronger than. You see what I'm saying? And I could probably say, hey, Kakashi beats those characters as well. Now, I understand it's kind of confusing with the Boruto and Naruto power scaling, but Konohamaru just has not shown us the ability to consistently compete with high-level talent. We're not even talking about Otsutsuki talent. Hell, not even Jonin talent. He hasn't been able to show that he's able to compete with just regular people. I think this right here is the problem with Konohamaru. Now, pick on throwing down. I'm sensitive to what you guys said. He hasn't necessarily had the opportunity to show what he has. But here's the thing. There is a whole other subsection in the Naruto verse that is completely not peaceful. We've seen this in the Deepa arc. They're completely wild. Hypothetically, well, not even hypothetically, Konohamaru could have legitimately went on a mission to that part of the planet or the Naruto verse and actually tried to rectify those situations. That is something that
was stated in the anime.
We didn't see it.
Okay, but like that's something that was stated. Like that's the problem you got with Boruto as a franchise. Period, is that there's a lot of stuff that happens lore wise that isn't showcased in the anime.
I'm not talking about visually. I'm talking about once we went over to the place with Deepa. Now I understand Konohamaru probably didn't go there. But we understand that Konohamaru could have potentially been doing things to aid Naruto's mission into bringing peace upon the ninja world. Being so close to Naruto, being someone that self-proclaimed is a student of Naruto, he played his role. But he didn't play. Again, I don't believe that's playing his role.
Like that was stated that he went on missions with Mujino. That's specifically the types of missions that Mujino was on.
No, I get that 100%. But I haven't seen the fruits of that labor. How successful was Konohamaru in doing such things? You see what I'm saying? And of course, to the mission that they went on with Deepa, he didn't show that alphaness that we wanted to see. And even just the recent arc that we seen Konohamaru on, y'all was talking. This man was hogtied on the ground by some fodder ninja. Now I understand he was trying. I understand that he was trying to wait for backup. But logically speaking, I can never see Kakashi in that position.
He wasn't waiting for backup. Hold on, he wasn't waiting for backup. Wasn't he waiting for like the it was like a fog that was supposed to be coming. He kept on looking up at the sky. I don't think he was waiting for anybody specifically. He was just waiting for the village to get covered in the fog so he can pretty much beat them without
goes back
them,
to
without
even still
citizens.
Deception.
And even still, real quick. And even still, I cannot see Kakashi in that predicament. I cannot.
Well,
I cannot see elite ninjas in that predicament. I cannot. The way that Team 7 came in and easily, absolutely demolished them, I cannot see.
The guys
I think Konohamaru could have did the same thing. He was waiting for that fog to hit. That's the thing. He didn't want any of the citizens in that village to get hurt. So he was waiting for that fog to come so he can take them out without them noticing. That's what I was thinking.
Ethan,
I ain't gonna lie.
All right. This is what I have to deal with, bro. Like the removal of nuance. I swear to God, bro. I swear to you, the removal of context, the removal of nuance is absurd, bro. It's like, he was prioritizing
like a married couple. He said, "This is what I have to deal with."
No, y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand.
Bro, listen. He prioritized the safety of the villagers, and Team 7 came in whooped ass under the cover of the fucking mist that he was waiting on. Like, what are we talking about? Like, that's the problem with Konohamaru's character. The writers fuck him up because they put him in situations like that make him look bad from our perspective. But in lore, it's actually like a good thing that he cared about the people. It's a good thing.
When they arrived there, Sarada was looking and she picked up on exactly what Konohamaru was waiting on. Yeah. That's why he waited for that strike.
But
let me clarify real quick.
They didn't do Konohamaru justice in the preview episode though. Before the episode came out, we had the previews. We just saw him hogtied. Everybody was like, "God damn, Come on,
Oh,
Konohamaru, what you doing?
ball strap in his
Hog
mouth. We thought he was
Come
about
on.
to get freaky for a second.
Man.
Real quick, real quick,
This is
real
what I
quick.
have to
Nigga
deal
wild,
with,
man.
Now, I just want to
This
get back to
man
the point.
wilding
Real
right
quick,
now.
This is what I have
real
to deal
quick.
with, my guy.
My problem,
Love
my
it.
problem is Konohamaru getting in that position to begin with. Pick on throwing down. The female Mariah was walking back home like she just got out of a cage match with the Undertaker. We can't skip by this stuff.
Bruh.
If Kakashi is in that situation, Mariah does not get injured like that by fodder ninja at that. This
You
does
don't
not
know,
happen with
bro.
elite ninjas.
It's
I'm
based
so,
off the writing, bro. That's all it is. It's just the writing, man. I know that's not the sexy answer, but it's the truth. They wrote him to be that way.
No, I
Like,
100% agree with that, but certain situations just does not look good for the overall character of Konohamaru, and if he was
I
adequate in
agree.
regards to power, he would not be in those positions. I cannot see any scenario at all where Sasori would be hogtied on the ground waiting for fog to clear. I apologize. That's
But
just not
You're
happening.
asking him
Sasori's
to
another
over.
beast, though. You're
You're
talking about
asking him to
Sasori,
over
somebody
writers.
who would kill everybody in the village. So he don't
And
care about the
when
safety
you
of the
when you
village.
talking sausage, that's a whole different tier.
Yeah.
That's a
Pers-
whole different tier. I'm not putting Konohamaru in that same tier as somebody like I'm not putting Konohamaru in the same tier as somebody like Sasori. That Sasori killed the strongest Kazekage.
Right.
and maybe
But
that's
like
the
now you talk
disconnect.
about nah.
Maybe that's the disconnect. I had standards for Konohamaru coming into Boruto. I believe he should have been Akatsuki level. I'm not asking for the moon. I didn't say he needed to be as strong as like Obito or something with the Rinnegan. Nah, I'm not even saying he needs to be half of what Naruto is. Just be Akatsuki level.
Just be
A
Akatsuki
regular
level.
Akatsuki Sasori. Is he Sasori level? No. For me,
you think-
it's a
And again,
disappointment.
Sasori is one of your stronger Akatsuki members. Like
He
when you
done.
start talking
He's mid tier. I think he's mid tier.
Sasori level, like you're looking at characters that in just the tier, in no order. You got people like Itachi, the Akatsuki version. You got Orochimaru. You got Hiruzen. You got Onoiki. You got Kisame, Raikage, Five Kage Summit, Sasuke, Sasori when he's out the puppet, when he's got the 100 puppets, and all those puppets have the Kekkei Genkai, Five Kage Summit Guard. You're talking about Jiraiya and Sage Mode. Like Sasori's in that upper Kage tier.
No, I get it. I expected Konohamaru to be Kage. I apologize. Maybe I was wrong for assuming so.
So
I
like,
feel what you're saying, bro. I
Do
feel
you
what you're
guys
saying.
ever
100%.
think that he'll get to like Hiruzen level at least? Like, do you think he'll ever be regarded like
that,
nowhere near his
that's
grandpa?
asking a lot.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Asking can he get the Hiruzen's level? That's asking a lot.
Or
As
just
an
say
old
he got
man,
it.
he was still stronger than the fourth Raikage when you go by the lore.
Or-
As a 69-year-old man.
or at least
Big
like
pause.
just
But-
his lore, not I mean like his prestige. I'm saying like probably not the power level, but maybe like you know something like something.
He got to do something. Because like
Bro,
'cause when you say prestige, like he got to do something.
I think Konohamaru in part 2 is gonna be a fucking monster. I think he's gonna get a power up. Like there's parallels between.
Why you laugh for?
Why you make me laugh? Look. Okay.
Rock out.
Okay. Look.
Like I think he's gonna get the off-screen power cliff. But
Exactly.
I don't think anything's gonna change in terms of that. You're gonna have the same situation like with Deepa, where when Deepa shows up, like I pop when he used the Dragon Fire Flame Jutsu. That's one of the strongest fire release jutsu, and that shows you like, okay, he uses that on Deepa. Deepa's armor doesn't get any type of damage done to it. It lets you know right there if you understand the lore. Like, oh shit, Deepa's just built different. Like
So check the-
Konohamaru using that jutsu right there, that you gotta have a high chakra pool to be able to pull off that jutsu. That says a lot.
Well, he's a sorry. Like that cannot be discounted. But the thing with Konohamaru, there are parallels narrative wise between him and Kakashi, obviously. And Kakashi got the glow up in fucking parts too, bro. Like it shit was wild. So like I said, man, I think Konohamaru knows what the landscape is now, and I think he knows where he needs to be, and he's gonna get his shit right. And I think in part 2, he's gonna get the opportunity to do that, much like a Kakashi did. And even going back to your previous question, Bar, Can like name some Genin and Chunin. I don't know why you're so fixated on rank. Like it's confirmed that rank don't really mean shit too much. I mean, like
Well,
Genin stay
real quick,
months,
my
but
whole point with that is Konohamaru cannot compete with people that we thought he should be able to compete with. I think
what I'm
that's fair to
saying,
say.
this is the wrong series to do that in because go back to the Land of Waves arc. What was one of the narrative messages they were trying to push with Haku? Is that it
Younger
doesn't
people
matter
can be
how
stronger
old.
than
Exactly. It
No,
does not matter how old you are. So look, this is a
but go
bad
back. Okay,
argument.
but real quick, go back to the Land of Waves. Kakashi played a very important part in the whole entire arc. Not only the arc, but also the development of the Genins that he was mastering.
We have superior
Konohamaru has not been. He has not kept up that end of the bargain with this
as a
current team.
sensei, I'll agree with you on that. As a sensei, because like in that one Sasuke novel, he did a better job training training Team 7 than Konohamaru did. I will give you that, but when you have a team of prodigies like that, there's only so much you can train. Like when he showed Boruto how to do the Rasengan, it took Naruto 4 weeks to learn the Rasengan, all 3 steps. It took him a whole week to learn the final step of the Rasengan. Boruto learned the Rasengan in under a week. There's only so much training you can do when those kids are just that talented.
I see what you mean. I get where y'all come from. I don't want to spend 30 minutes talking about Konohamaru.
Like,
I get where y'all come from.
has he been a disappointment in part one of Boruto? I would say from a writing perspective, I call it like, where's his Kakashi moment? Like Kakashi had those 2 moments in part one where you look at it and you say, like, okay, like, Kakashi kind of showed that he was a beast. Like, and they lasted for longer moments. Like the closest comparison you can get is how Kakashi very briefly showed up and flexed on Kisame. That was like half a chapter. You can kind of equate that to the Jugo thing. That was a very short period where Konohamaru showed that, like, hey, I got big balls too. But there wasn't a extended sequence where you see him fighting somebody that is relative to him in terms of power, and you see how like Kakashi was showing like, oh shit, this is why he's like a fearsome opponent. You didn't see that. They had an opportunity with Victor, and they had that fight mostly off screen right there. That's where they fucked up. Same thing with Deepa. The fight happened off screen. We saw like a few moments with Deepa slapbox with Mudino, and then it cut back to Deepa raping. We streaming right now. Deepa body in Team 7. I don't want you guys demonetized, man.
Yeah.
Nah, YouTube is.
Yo, check this out real quick.
Go ahead.
No, talking about like Kakashi, the whole Kisame Itachi situation. Do you guys think there's a sleeper character in Konoha right now, a la a Might Guy, where Might Guy was like the best motherfucker the whole time, but nobody really knew? Like, is there like a character like that? Like for me, I think it's Mitsuki. I think Mitsuki's like a fucking monster right now, and we're gonna find out just how fucking godly he is in part 2. But do you guys think that there's a character like that, like a sleeper who's just like really fucking nasty right now, but we just don't know it yet?
Misky. Period.
Yeah.
Like in the academy, the kids like doing like 2 changes in chakra nature, and like when that happened, I'm like, where the fuck did this dude come from? Because like chakra nature, that's something like the manga says like in like volume 34. It's like the volume where you see Naruto and he's got the scrolls and everything on there, and like there's a whole bunch of books in the background, so he's learning the chakra nature. It's like chapter 316, whatever volume that is. We find out that like when it comes to chakra natures, changing chakra nature is something that's expected of Chunin to be able to learn. It takes them years of doing those chakra drills, and adding more than one nature is what a Jonin's expected to do. That's why, like in the Chunin exams, Tamari was seen as an absolute monster, because none of the Genin could use chakra natures except for Tamari, Sasuke, and Gar. And when you look at it, all 3 of them, like Gar's manipulating Sam, we just call it Earth Release, even though it didn't. But for the sake of the argument, it's the same thing. They're all monsters. They're a clear step ahead of everybody else there. Everybody. Misty doing 2 changes in chakra nature like that, like that's like some Jonin level shit right there.
And then he's like a
different breed.
He's like Sage transformation, Kekkei Genkai, fucking Sage mode. Like the dude's a fucking. He's my second favorite character.
He's gonna be a fucking beast.
Talking about
Lord.
What you think, Free Game? Before I go,
No. I agree with all you guys with Miski, because they're kind of like nerfing Mitsuki. They giving him that point where he can't go full out on Sage mode because it breaks his body down, things of that nature. So I was going to segue into a Orochimaru question, because that kind of.
I do want to answer this question real quick before we segue into that Orochimaru thing.
Go ahead.
Now, obviously, my original answer would have probably been Mitsuki, but I think, since we essentially all agreed it's probably going to be Mitsuki,
Iwabi.
I want to kind of bring up a different name, and a name that
Iwabi.
hasn't necessarily been brought up a lot in regards to the actual core plot. I think Sumire is probably going to be a sleeper in regards to the core plot. I don't think that she's going to be Boruto or Kawaki level in regards to strength, but I think in regards to plot, she's extremely underrated. Here's the thing. She's essentially studying right beside Amato, the smartest scientist that we do have right now of all time. I think, you could possibly make arguments with Orochimaru, hey, you don't know. But Amato, production-wise, has been putting out some elite products. Sumire is essentially learning all of this. Now, we don't know exactly how much Amato is opening up to Sumire, but hypothetically, if he is opening up to where she now learns how to build cyborgs, how to augment people, give people power-ups, I think that right there would make Sumire a very impactful part in the overall plot of the storyline. Because as we talked about earlier, there's a huge power cliff. Ishiki Otsutsuki is not nowhere in the stratosphere as a character, wouldn't be fighting anybody compared to like a Sakura. Sakura's nowhere close to Ishiki Otsutsuki. How can we get those characters to potentially compete with characters of the level of Ishiki Otsutsuki? Potentially give them power up, and I think Amato eventually will show himself to be a very, I should say, selfish person doing things for himself, and we're probably going to oust him very soon. And I think Sumire is probably going to step in to be that core scientist in the future. Plot reason, I think she's probably going to be one of the most important people of all time, and not only that, a very underrated thing as well. She is essentially the only person that really brought out Boruto's dojutsu. Hypothetically, I could definitely see an arc in the future.
Wow. Yeah,
they try to recreate that. If they try to recreate that and have Boruto hone his dojutsu, I think Sumire could definitely step into a very big role in the manga. She's already there. She's like one of the first anime-only characters to really make that transition over to the manga. And I think, honestly, that right there is for a reason.
Do you think
Bam,
Nue or
when you
whatever
do that,
little dog is, the little thing is?
Yeah,
gonna
Nue.
play a play a
Nue
big
is
part
so
as well?
important. He's huge, bro. He's
and
very.
Nue is actually in her manga character profile too. When you look at the character profile for that character, Nue is already listed, and the whole reason she joined that Ninja Tech team was to find a way to be able to control Nue, and that's the way you can kind of segue those two things, and that's something that Kaguya created specifically to fight against Momoshiki and Kenshiki because she was worried about him. That's why in the anime, Sasuke was like, I can't believe Danzo got that close to something that was Kaguya related.
Right.
Like, that could work, and that's an Otsutsuki weapon right there.
I never knew. Whoa. Y'all just dropped bombs on me. I never knew that Kaguya created Nue. Maybe because that arc happened so
100%.
long ago, but dang,
Go back to when they sitting on the tree and like, because they changed, like in the manga, when Sasuke had like the conversation, Sakura was in there with them, like when they talking to the Kages. After they had that conversation, Naruto travels and he meets with Sasuke, and they sitting on that tree branch.
Right.
Episode
Sasuke
15.
says, yeah, he's like, man, I can't believe Danzo got that close to something Kaguya related.
Yeah.
That's
That
crazy.
like Nue is so important because I have several videos talking about like Nue, a connection between Nue, Toneri, Sumire, the Jogan, and Boruto. Like Nue is so fucking important. Like even like that dimension they went to for Boruto and Mitsuki. Like with the whole themes of like the trees with the what is it called, Seminawa ropes, which like in like Eastern mythology and folklore is supposed to be like sealing ropes, supposed to seal something. And even if you look at Nue's character, he branches back to Eastern folklore as well, like a tree nymph or something like that, like a tree spirit. And we know the themes of trees in the actual Naruto Boruto universe. So that's an excellent answer, Bara. Like Sumire is definitely a sleeper, 100%.
Yeah, definitely. I would have never even thought about that one. Like, that's a great one.
Yeah, that's damn good. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I went big brain on that one.
For real.
Now, Free Game, you had a question
Like
about
4
Orochimaru?
weeks. You've been thinking about that ever since I was like, yo, we're gonna get Naruto explained on. He was like, bro, I got the wildest thing I'm about to.
Wait, what, you had a question though?
Yeah,
you
no,
want to
it
ask
was,
something?
I don't know. I forgot. Like, I'm like lost my train of thought. But we was talking about something. But we was Oh, we was talking about Miski.
It was something about Orochimaru you was
Yeah.
talking
No, no, no,
about.
no. I know what the question I was going to ask, but I forget why I was going to ask it. But what do basically, Ian? What do you think that Orochimaru is going to play a big part into the series in the future as well? And if so, what kind of role do you think he'll play in the future?
Yeah, they've been telegraphing it. They said, he's working on weapons to combat the Otsutsuki clan. Like, I mean, that's right there. Like I keep going back to like with the Naruto wrestling thing. Like you see some of the fruits of that man's science in that novel right there. Like the anime's already kind of teed it up. I think you're gonna see some stuff. Same thing. Like it's no coincidence. You see Orochimaru, he's doing cloning and human experiments and taking it further. Then you get somebody like an Amato who's been doing human experiments as well. There's a clear progression. Everything Orochimaru could do, Amato did it better. At some point, you're gonna have to bring him back in.
So you think
Hmm.
Orochimaru and Amato is going to like work together?
I don't think they don't work together. I
No.
mean, I don't think Amato. No, I don't trust Amato. So no, I don't think he's gonna be a good guy. So I don't
So I
think at
had
any
this
point they're gonna work together.
so I had this theory, right? I call it the God Slayer theory. So for me, I think just based off the landscape of this theory, take it or leave it. So I think Orochimaru, it's kind of weird to me, like Orochimaru and um Amato and Toneri have some similar things to where like they're cultivating like a young individual. Like for Orochimaru, like his person is will be Mitsuki, obviously, Amato, Kawaki, and then for Toneri, Boruto. And then I'm looking at, okay, well, we know in the past, like Senjutsu or Sage Mode was effective against like Otsutsuki tier opponents. There's a specific situation in mind with the whole Ten Tails absorbing nature energy versus nature energy. That's why that was so effective. But like, why specifically Senjutsu? Why specifically Sage Mode? So that I found that very interesting. How they paired him up with Boruto. Boruto has like the Jogan, which in lore, Otsutsuki lore, is to be. I'm not sure the exact word was, but something to be cautious of. I think basically what it translated to. Um, and then of course Kawaki being the vessel, being a cyborg as it were, and having the power of the Otsutsuki as well. So for me, I think theoretically, based off this theory, there could be a connection. I mean, like, why is Amato like using Jiraiya as a clone template for Kashin Koji? Um, like what connection does he actually have with them? Lieu of anything being fleshed out like that, I would say, Orochimaru, he's the person that what we think of when it comes to like cloning technology and like genetics and that kind of stuff. Mitsuki, synthetic humans. Like what is a model doing cloning? Like that's a little weird. Isn't he like the cyborg guy combining technology with biology? So like it looks like his expertise is crossing streams a little bit. So I don't know. I think there's something to play around with that. But yeah, we'll definitely have to see. But just something curious to talk about.
No, 100%.
Good
I mean,
point.
when you think about the things that that are really happening right now, specifically with the Ninja Verse, a lot of people are really gearing up to combat Otsutsuki threats. People right now, they understand there's going to be bigger threats in the future, and that right there is something that Naruto and a lot of people back in Naruto Shippuden didn't necessarily plan for. And I think that this is something great. And even I honestly think every single village in the hidden, well, every single big village in the Narutoverse right now, they have like a backup plan or a plan essentially to combat an Otsutsuki level threat. I just like how back in the day during Naruto the Last, we seen the Hidden Cloud Village completely pull out something that we had never really seen before, a huge beam cannon that
Mm-hmm.
could have potentially like rivaled Naruto or something at the time.
What was that,
I
bro?
think
What the fuck?
yeah,
That's
I think a
consistent with
lot of
that village,
villages
man.
out there they have a trump card. They just have a trump card,
With
honestly.
the cloud, with not the cloud, the stone village, they had the katas, like the fabrications, like
Yeah, the
no,
Octa.
no, no,
Yeah.
you're right. And like with the Cloud Village, like the reason why that's consistent with them, like Data Book 4 and Fan Book 2 reveals that like the Cloud Village, when it comes to technology and all that, they were ahead of everybody because they did a lot of this stuff based off that lightning stuff. A lot of the technology that you have in the Shinobi HQ that came from the Cloud Village. So it's like there's a progression there. Like them getting that cannon, that makes sense. The Akatas being, or the fabrications, what you gonna call them, like they're supposed to be Onoki made them specifically deal with Otsutsuki because he didn't want the next generation to have to go into battle and all that other stuff.
Right.
Like in that Rise of Scientific Ninja Weapon Tech video I did months ago, like the whole thing on it was like I took the line that was said in the manga where Madara, not the manga in the data book, where it said that Madara and Obito were stronger than 99 point, I think 5 or 8% of the entire Shinobi Alliance. If you're somebody watching that and you see these two men stronger than the 5 nations combined, and then you find out that there's an alien that's even stronger than them, and the two people that sealed away that alien, they weren't even stronger than that. You're not going to sit by and not do anything. Science was your only way to combat that because you saw that there's a cap for how strong a ninja can become. Two people were stronger than the entire alliance. That was only progression.
That's very true. Yeah, but you bring up a great point, Bar. Like what the fuck even was that? Like fucking like Akashi's like, hey man, we got some ninjas out. He's like, nope, we're destroying the moon. And like, what the fuck is good with you, bro? Where did this come from? He's like, I'm just going to destroy a whole ass fucking planetary body. Like, what are we talking about here? That shit's wild, bro.
And when you say that,
Big
like,
Wakanda.
they're supposed to be demilitarizing during that point too. Like the Raikage violated the treaty. That's why they had that 5 Kage summit, and that's why the feudal lords got involved because they weren't even supposed to be doing that shit. The Raikage was like, "Fuck that! What if another one of these bitches come through?"
Yeah,
And he had that
Raikage is
cannon built.
Kage's
such a great
gangster. What you talking?
Yeah, big gangster.
Gangster out there,
Yo,
bro.
and like honestly, it even goes past that. You know, when we talk about the cyborgs, Amato said that he got most of his information from other scientists out there.
Right.
So there could literally be other villages out there that actually have cyborgs. It's crazy.
Let me ask you guys a question real quick, because like in the tuning exams arc, what the fuck was that about Amato getting kidnapped? Because they were like, Amato was like, how did you even hear
they
about
never
me?
even fleshed that out.
Impeccable question.
That shit
Talk
was
to me.
that shit was so half-ass. What do you think?
Talk to me, Ben. What's going on?
I say
That should have been
Shikamaru
like
set that up, but
Oh, I can see that.
I say Shikamaru set that up. What you think?
He's suspicious in the manga. That's a good. They should have made that like the outer members or some shit. Cause we know Sai had the outer members hunted down and everything in the manga. Like that should have been outers trying to get Amato, cause we know Code's looking for him. They dropped the ball on that.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
That
that whole little storyline was so fucking weird. It was like a plot convenience to get Boruto and Mitsuki away so that we
Away
couldn't
from
see
it,
like
yeah.
the best fight in the fucking exams. Like what are we talking about?
I mean,
And you know
it
something?
is.
Something you mentioned about Sai, real quick, just to answer my own question. Also, I want to throw in Haoki, Walmart Kakashi as one of the sleepers. Fucking light speed hand signs. This dude creating like a whole like. Did you
This
see his
guy.
ninjutsu? Like, what are we talking about? This kid, this fucking child's infant. Fucking. I'm marking out. This dude, Haoki. I'm a huge Kakashi fan. Fucking Haoki, that dude.
This guy is Haoki.
He
That's
became
like
a lot
Town
of people.
4 level shit right there, man.
Bro, like, the level of Earth, like, this dude became a lot of people's favorite character. Now, I'm not talking about
Just
Iwabe
one
with his
episode,
whole
for
erecting
real.
a whole ass cat statue. I don't know what the fuck that was. But yeah. Haoki's my boy.
No,
Kawa-
100%, 100%.
Bawaki's
No,
boy
real quick.
was simping that episode.
Yeah.
Big Wasabi.
Huh?
Yeah, I
Oh,
called you
no.
Bawaki.
Yeah, you wow. But I got a question. This right here is a cool question I want to ask you guys. All you guys can answer this. There's been some theories out there that Naruto may not be the child of prophecy. As of right now,
Bullshit.
the ninja world isn't completely peaceful, and especially with the advent of these new cyborgs, everything looks like it's going absolutely to crap. Now, we have seen, well, from what we know, Jiraiya supposedly trained the child of prophecy. That's the prophecy that he got from the Toad, right? The Elder Toad. Do you think that Boruto could potentially be the child of prophecy for one? And do you think that Naruto succeeded in his goal of being the child of prophecy?
Who want to take this first?
I mean, we saw in the time slip arc, but I don't agree with it, but old boy did train him in the time slip arc. So technically he did train a blonde headed kid, and then I mean, as far as like whether or not he accomplish his goal of peace. I mean, Minato told him, like, I've always said, like, Naruto's vision for peace was childish. It wasn't really an answer, and Sasuke called him out on it. You know, like, the only reason why they got along is because they were all unified. They had a threat that they couldn't take down themselves, and you got people like Naruto and Sasuke in the same village. If you're one of the other four villages, you really gonna sit there and tell Naruto and Sasuke, no, fuck your terms of peace. We're gonna do no, they can blow up your fucking village. You're not gonna do anything. Like the power of Naruto and Sasuke was too great. They had to go along with that. Like
Mm.
I don't buy into that. And when you look at what's going on, since the war ended and there hadn't been a unified threat, we've seen two villages already creating weapons behind the others' backs. You have the feudal lords in the Hidden Mist field trip arc when they, under the guise of that field trip, they're negotiating the treaty. We're directly told by Mei and Chojuro, like, hey, if the feudal lord tells us to pull out, we got to pull out of this treaty if we can't come to terms, and our villages will be at war with each other. A lot of people miss that. That was said in the anime. So when you add that in, and then you add in the fact that Minato warned Naruto when they were in that nine-tail space during the pain arc, he says, like, as long as this ninja system is around, there will always be another pain. That ninja system's still there. Sasuke wanted to have the system taken down. Granted, he wanted to rule as a dictator. That wasn't the right answer, but he was on the right track. Get rid of the ninja system. As long as that system's still there, nah, he ain't brought peace. And you see it in all these other villages. Carl was able to operate in secret because what's going on, even in the Lane of Fire, we see it like when Boruto goes to meet Katasuke, there's a whole underworld in Konoha right there. And then you have the Byakuya gang, where their whole thing is they're taking care of all the poor people that the Hokage doesn't take care of. Nah, he ain't brought peace. People don't want to hear that. But Naruto, as far as like the Hokage, there's still some holes in there. I'm not shitting on him as a character, but it's there.
So check this out, right? This prophecy in general has a big fucking plot hole, right? Because you don't know what peace is unless you know what war is, right? And peace is not this in-game thing, right? It's a forever evolving concept, right? You're not just going to look. What are we talking about here? A utopia? Like he literally removes all darkness and evil from all of existence. Like, what are we talking about? Like, this is a very, like you said earlier, a childish notion. Like peace. Like we take peace where we fucking get it. Let's be honest here. Like, no, we're not removing all darkness and all conflict from the world. No, that's true. And yes, Naruto has some holes in what he can do. 100%. We saw that when Sasuke and Sai were going to the Rain Village and how fucked up that still was and how nobody went there and fixed that. 100%. But when you talk about peace, that's something that's constantly evolving. That's not something where you just kind of stand still and it happens. You know, you're walking with that concept as it moves towards the future. So, you know, did he bring peace? Yeah, I think he brought some peace. He brought some peace, and it's based off your perspective. He brought peace to Boruto, his children, his wife, the people in his village. He brought
peace to the Leaf and all the other 5 great nations. But when it comes to like the smaller villages and stuff like that, they never receive the same type of peace as the big nations have.
But you can't necessarily fault him for that too, though.
No, not
Like,
at all.
because Kakashi, when he became Hokage, I'll give Kakashi this, and this is something like I'll forever say. Instead of just jumping right into Boruto, the way that they adapted that Mirai novel and they gave it 8-9 episodes, they should have did that with the novels after the war. Because if they would have did the Shikamaru novel correctly, one of the things we find out is as soon as Kakashi became Hokage, one of the first things he did was he reached out to the Rain Village to try and make them part of that Shinobi Union and bring them on board. The Rain Village refused. And that's a tie-in right there. So it's just like there was an effort made, but it's only in those 5 nations. But the effort was made. Now, how you fix their problems, you have to do what Naruto had Mujino and them doing, which is go to those other villages and mediate the conflicts. That's the best you can hope for.
So
And that's the thing, like the man's not a god, right? He can't like just like will it so with like creation of all things, turn fantasy into reality. Like, oh, I
yeah.
want everything to be good, and so be it. That's not how this stuff works. So yeah, like this whole peace shit, like that's even like the whole thing with like Obito and Madara, like this world is fucked, bro. And like we're gonna put everybody in like this genjutsu because it doesn't
Force
matter if you
peace
try to
upon
fix the
people.
shit.
Right.
Yeah, like it even ties into like Nagato's fucking ideology with the cycle of hatred, right? Like it just doesn't matter. There's never going to be light without darkness. And even if you have that peace that you the prophesized peace, people won't respect it or appreciate it because they won't know what the controversy is. So like you literally can't, and then from there complacency will arise, and then the peace will be gone. So you cannot have one without the other. Did he? Yeah, absolutely. He achieved peace based off the perspectives of the people who felt that peace. But did he create a utopia? No, and that's not realistic.
It's
So
it's
you think there will never be a time of peace among
no,
ninjas?
no,
I
it
think
can't
there
be.
was. I think there was before
Like
the
full
Boruto era
peace,
began.
100% peace, where it's like all nations are
It doesn't
in some
exist.
type of a peace. It's never going to
If
exist.
you show me 100% peace, I'll show you a unicorn running up a fucking rainbow. Such a thing does not exist. Like it just doesn't exist. Like I don't even know. Like that's why I'm saying this prophecy. He'll bring peace. Like peace. Like that's a perspective thing.
It's
Like for us,
subjective.
exactly. For us in the United States, we got relative peace. But like when we go over to other countries and take their shit, it
Exactly.
ain't peaceful to them, right? But it all depends on the perspective in which you're viewing this concept from. So I mean, that's how you got to view it
Well,
from a real world
well, maybe
perspective with
if you're
Naruto.
like comparing it back to like Hiruzen's time and like Hashirama's time, and then in a time now, then yeah, there's a certain aspect of peace because it was at constant war at one point in time. There hasn't really
Yeah.
been any type of war or conflict between nations since the era of peace. So I guess that's where they're getting at with that peace thing. Like with
And
talking
even
about
with
that, do you
that,
guys think there's going to be? Go ahead. To
and I
segue.
was just gonna say, like, the reason why Nagato even became a thing was because those larger nations were fighting on their
Mhm.
territory. They weren't
Exactly.
fighting in their own backyard. They
Right.
were fighting on the smaller nations. And you can draw a parallel with like us in like
To the real world.
Afghanistan, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get
Exactly.
that deep. But even like, oh, you want to go even deeper? The five Kage head, Mount Rushmore, terrorist attack, Almighty push, but 9/11. But I'm not gonna go that deep into it. But like, yeah. So like you were saying, free game. That's the whole thing, bro. The in Naruto's era, the larger nations weren't waging war. Thus, the smaller countries didn't have to feel the impact like a Nagato did, and thus they didn't breed another Nagato like that. So it's all depending on your perspective.
At the same time, though, like this just a little food for thought. Like it was 20 years between the first Great Ninja War and the second Great Ninja War. Second Great Ninja War, according to the fan book, happened 20 years after the first one. So when
Mm-hmm.
you look at that, it's only been 16 years. So we
Mm.
still got another four. So we don't know necessarily. And like again, I agree with you, and I do think that this is like the alliance is going to last longer than 20 years. But using the Nagato comparison too, it's just like we still got another 4 years, and we don't know what's going to happen with say like Kawaki, Boruto, or whatever. We don't know who's going to walk off that path. Technically, right now, if Kawaki goes evil, right? If that's something that happens,
Mm-hmm.
he's technically still a shinobi because in the anime they made him a leaf Ganin and all that. So it's like you could have something like that where because of what's happening in this ninja world now, it ends up being somebody that ends up causing a split. Look at how much Naruto loves Kawaki. Look at the fact that the Kage said like we'll allow you to keep responsibility for him as long as you take 100% responsibilities. Naruto had to make that speech in order to win some of them guys over. Because some of them was willing to do what Shikamaru wanted to do, which was lock them up. And then Dara was like, oh, yeah, I know a Jinchuriki. That's not right. Gaara's like, oh, shit, I used to be a Jinchuriki. I totally get it. If this kid goes rogue, you could see a split there. Naruto looks at him like a son. He called him his son in the manga chapter. And we know when it comes to those kids, like Naruto's got a soft spot for Naruto, for Boruto and Kawaki. So I mean, I'm not saying that's going to cause a split, but I'm saying if they wanted to go that route, the framework is already there because this piece is based off of terms and conditions with the feudal lords as well.
I 100% agree. Now, real quick, right now we are in a time of peace, and I think there is something looming that is 100% possible 100% has the possibility of ending that time of peace. Boruto in the last chapter, he was taken over by Momoshiki. We understand that there is already a discussion. Gaara essentially being the big dog in that group, by the way, essentially asked Naruto would he end up taking preemptive measures to prevent Momoshiki from taking over Boruto in the future. Now, with this advent of Boruto losing control again, do you think that there could possibly be a feud between Naruto and the other Kages about what they should actually do with Boruto and even potentially Kawaki?
Hell yeah. I mean, like the framework's there. The framework's there. Look at how much he cares about his son. Like he had a fucking panic attack at the idea of not being able to protect his son from Momoshiki. Now he's taking over and all this other shit. The pills are always a stopgap. Like Amato says that they might work and that it's only going to be temporarily. And the manga bowls might and temporarily when Amato was talking about the pills. I mean, they just kicked the ball further down the road. Momoshiki took over. Naruto's going to have to share that information with the other Kages. I mean, one of them is going to point out, like, yo, he's too much of a liability. So, I mean, that's conflict. If they decide to go that route, you could, man, Boruto could be some gas if they go that route, man.
Oh, yes, it could.
Yeah, oh my god,
Yes,
I would love it. Yeah, whoever, go ahead, free game.
No, I was agreeing. I would love that.
Yeah, we were just talking about. We understand that not free game. Mello didn't necessarily see Attack on Titan, but this isn't going to be any sort of major spoilers like how free game came last podcast. But
Major
they hated me for that. Bro.
this right here is basically going to be like minimal spoilers. But
3 days.
but this is
an anime community, bro. You can't be doing that, bro.
yeah, you wildin'. But there in Attack on Titan, there is like a central enemy. We understand that, but they took some time off from that and essentially brought in internal conflict. I personally believe that Boruto could do very well with having some internal conflict, not having every single battle be decided by, hey, this guy has a karma plus 5 other dojutsus. No, it could legitimately go back to ninjas versus ninjas because of this conflict with Boruto and Kawaki. I think that right there would be absolutely amazing, not only for the Boruto fans, seeing how it used to be done, even though we still do have battles like that, but also for the Naruto diehards that are craving for that ninja on ninja combat.
So, man, like that ninja on ninja combat, like on that shit. I just want to say this, man. Like,
My bad.
I get it. But at the same time, like, let's just keep it real for a second. Like, there's been de-escalation. We had aliens and all this stuff, and then now we got the cyborgs. Cyborgs are still human. But if we say, I want this to be a time like ninja versus ninja, if you didn't have that same energy when Naruto was running, I don't want to hear it. And the reason I say that is this. We went from ninja versus ninja to ninja versus terrorist ninjas to ninjas versus chakra monsters to ninjas versus zombies to ninjas versus an alien princess to ninjas versus a alien on the moon that is a stalker to ninjas versus a whole ninja clan. I mean, a whole alien clan. We stopped having it be about ninjas versus ninja a long ass time ago.
Right.
Big sci-fi. Big sci-fi. Right. Yo, guys, check this out. Real quick. So, shout out to my boy Sauron. I probably said your name wrong. I'm thinking of Lord of the fucking Rings. Do you guys think Sasuke could have brought back his Rinnegan with Izanagi?
Hold on, before you guys answer that question, let me just give a shout out to Liv Jensen. Thank you for the donation. I really appreciate it. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, my personal opinion on the whole situation, once we seen that Sasuke had his eye taken out, in my personal opinion, I think a lot of people believed as well, there was no possibility that they would keep Sasuke like that because there was so much things that Sasuke could have actually done to prevented that situation from even happening. This could have been a shadow clone. It could have been a transportation jutsu. Izanagi, as you just brought up. It could be a certain situation where, hey, Sasuke planned on doing that, but of course, it wasn't necessarily his real body. A whole bunch of other stuff. I personally believe that the Izanagi would have made a bunch of sense. But here's the thing. Plot-wise, I believe that the Boruto writers wanted to nerf Naruto and Sasuke. Now, this right here is essentially like a huge debate because I go back and forth. I want Naruto and Sasuke to get power-ups. I personally believe that Naruto and Sasuke were nerfed to make Boruto and Kawaki on their level. The reason why you should do that is because every single big fight in the series of Boruto was predicated on Naruto and Sasuke. Even though it was touted as a new gen anime, we understood the big dogs were Naruto and Sasuke. Now we have a certain situation where Kawaki got a power up, Boruto got a power up. The line is completely blurred upon who is actually strong, and I think this right here is exactly what the Boruto writers wanted. So, could have I actually seen Sasuke use Izanagi? 100%. But plot wise, that wasn't necessarily the direction that they were trying to go in.
But
See,
you understand
like, the
plot,
problem
right?
with Izanagi though, like let's just go ahead and get like the elephant in the room on that shit. 'Cause I saw like a TikTok video that went viral on that shit. Like with Izanagi, I agree with you. I think that this was done specifically in order to set that stage. And I've said from day one, I think that just as you saw Kakashi and Guy get off-screen power creeps and stay on a sliding scale in terms of power, where Guy in the Kazekage rescue arc had to go into the sixth gate in the manga in order to fight against Kisame with a 30% clone. His team was not almost drowning in the manga because Neji had already broke them free, and he went into the sixth gate and had to body that version of Kisame. Then you get to what happens later on, and he's able to take out Kisame at full power using the seventh gate. And in sixth gate, he was holding his own with them. Whereas a few months earlier in the timeline, he couldn't even handle a 30% clone. So I think that you're going to see power cliffing like that. But like with Izanagi, you got requirements you got to meet. Sharingan has to be cut on. You have to weave the hand signs. Or if you do what Madara did, you have to pre-program the Izanagi into your eye to go off under those set conditions. His Sharingan was off. He didn't weave the hand signs. Now, if you're Sasuke, what reason do you have to pre-program Izanagi to get your Rinnegan? Think about it from this perspective. If you thought about your Rinnegan being destroyed, why would you wait so late for the Izanagi to go off if there was somebody that fast that could get close enough to destroy your fucking Rinnegan in the first place? That makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense. If you're Sasuke and you've been around for 15 years and there ain't been nobody that could touch you, nobody except for Naruto, you ain't thinking, man, well, maybe somebody can destroy my Rinnegan. Maybe I need to do Izanagi in order to pre-program Izanagi to save my Rinnegan. There's no motive for that because there's nobody that could come even close to it. Then when you get to Momoshiki, when he fuses, you and Naruto, you go up against them, you're not even at full power, and you body a fusion of what Kage was afraid of. It don't cross your mind, well, maybe the next villain. No, when they went up against Jigen, they're talking mad shit. They're like, oh yeah, we gonna fuck you up, dude. You messed up putting us out here. We can go full power. The thought didn't cross that dude's mind. Maybe you can say before he went to fight Ishiki, he should have did it, but he didn't do it. He went in that fight thinking he was gonna die anyway.
I have a question real quick for Naruto explains and for everybody really. This is just something I was thinking about. Where do you guys scale Ashura? Like Apex Prime Ashura, like fucking Wood style Kekkei Genkai, all of Hagoromo's powers, not like split like Naruto and Sasuke. Like fucking Ashura. Like how do you guys scale? Where do you scale him, and like how do you think he would have done against Ishiki solo?
Well, here's the thing. I think what people need to understand is that in Naruto, there is a sense of let's call it this. They're kind of overrated in regards to the characters that we have now, because those were the only quote unquote gods that we knew of. Now, let me put it like this. I think the overall big question is going to be how strong is Hagoromo? Can Hagoromo even compete against a character like Momoshiki? Can
Nope.
Hagoromo compete against a character like Ishiki Otsutsuki? I
Nope.
think absolutely not. Yeah, I agree. I think absolutely not. I personally believe that there was, as you guys like to say, an unreliable source or unreliable narrator, which was Black Zetsu, who kind of filled in a lot of the blanks back then that didn't necessarily know, well, couldn't necessarily compare that to the characters that we have now. Now, there's a bunch of abilities that those guys have, and all that is well and good. But one of the things that we have seen in the series of Boruto is that speed and strength sometimes trumps all those abilities. What's it called? Sasuke has a litany of abilities. It did not matter because in a blink of an eye, Ishiki Otsutsuki had his bunions, his big toe, pinky toe, all that in the jaw of Sasuke. He just could not react to what Ishiki Otsutsuki was doing.
Not the
So,
bunnies.
Wow.
fact,
Yeah.
no fact. So I personally
Sasuke
believe,
slander.
and I 100%. So if I would, here's the thing, and I think it goes from Hagoromo on down. I would say Hagoromo is a slight bit weaker than Naruto at his apex. Not talking about Baryon mode. And I honestly think if they were to actually fight, I'm not completely sure who would win. The reason why I say I'm not completely sure, even though I said that Naruto is probably better, is because Hagoromo is broken. I don't think that Naruto has surpassed that speed and strength barrier to make all of his abilities obsolete.
What's
I
the
got-
strongest version of Hagoromo?
The one after he absorbed the Ten Tails, well, after he became the Jinchuriki.
Okay. I just want to make sure we all talking about the same version, just to be clear. Okay.
Yeah,
'Cause some people
100%.
say like, because some people like they only scale him to like Kaguya because they don't factor in like he got stronger post battle with Kaguya because he became a fucking Ten Tails Jinchuriki. But I'm just trying to be
100.
clear, so
Mello, I got a
No,
question for you.
hit me up.
Rock up.
So, and this for you too, Bar. Like,
Mm.
I know where I stand on this. I'm curious about you guys. Like, so when you see Hagoromo, he's like talking to Naruto, and then like that dimension, right before Hagoromo touches him, like you get this moment where Hagoromo clearly has six pass senjutsu because you see the two seeking orbs. They're levitating all around him,
Right.
and when Naruto asks him, like, hey man, like Madara's a problem. He's like, yeah, Madara's starting to approach my level of power. This is Madara with God Tree absorbed and one Rinnegan. He's saying he's starting to approach my levels of power. And then when Naruto says, like, well, is your mom stronger than you? He says Kage is stronger than him. This is still him with the Ten Tails absorbed. Or the six pass senjutsu. He has the six pass senjutsu power. He's saying Kage is still stronger than him, and that one-eyed Jinchuriki Madara God to absorb is approaching his level of power. Madara then turned around and got another Rinnegan, and then got a Rennie Sharingan on top of that. And then Kaguya was shown being, according to Sasuke, to be so powerful that he didn't think anybody possible should be able to exist. He already met Hagoromo at that point. Like, I think Hagoromo's overrated. Where do you guys stand on that?
Okay. So here's the thing. I think Hagoromo's the strongest character in the verse that we've ever seen. This lore wise, he's touted as like literally being God. Like this dude has like the creation of all things, literally turning fantasy into reality. This guy literally like slept on the seventh day. Like he's fucking God. He's insane. This dude, look, I always say the creation of all things technique. For me, I say it can be used under any circumstances because I haven't seen a panel, a description, dialogue, or anything to say otherwise. Now I know Naruto explains like you're heavy in the guidebooks and you read the novelization, so maybe you can bring up some dialogue or some kind of interview. But to me, it's the same thing with the whole Otsutsuki thing, Genjutsu story. In the absence of a counter argument, I have to go with what's most logical. And what's most logical is that he can use that fucking creation of all things under any circumstances. It's literally like fucking broken. This dude has Toad Sage Mode, Senjutsu. He has six paths. Did he create six path Sage Mode specifically for Naruto? Like that shit was wild. Like nobody in like the verse
Yeah,
like
nobody else has it.
yeah, like
That's
it's
a
almost like
poem
he
he
just,
gave directly to Naruto.
yeah, it's almost like he created that shit specifically, and then he has six paths Senjutsu. So the whole thing is like, never mind like the Mangekyo, the Rinnegan, the Perfect Susanoo, Toad Sage Modes, six paths Senjutsu, Sage Chakra. I'm probably missing some shit because the dude's a fucking monster. Oh, he's a Ten Tails Jinchuriki. Like I think that's gravely misunderstood. Like a Ten Tails fucking
Yeah, that's a
Jinchuriki.
huge boost. Like,
That can turn
Obito fucking shot up.
like they didn't even have like a full 10, like he had like all the tail, like they had like a half a Kurama, like some fucking Gingaku Inkaku bullshit, whatever their names were. No, this was like a full fucking I can turn fantasy into reality. I want you to be a fucking a mushroom. You are a fucking mushroom. Like in the absence of any counterpoints, I'm going with that. So the whole thing with this is when we say Madara is approaching his level of power, yeah, like in the same way, like I'm standing on top of a hill and someone's walking towards the hill, they're approaching me, but they ain't
How
on my
about the
level.
Kage statement though?
Well, real quick. There was a statement from Karma during the actual battle when Naruto was fighting against Sasuke. He essentially said that Sasuke, I think this is right here, after he actually absorbed a bunch of the Tail Beasts, he essentially said he's practically at the level of Old Man Six Pass.
It's the same
And
thing.
we,
It's the same statement as what he was saying about Madara. He's like I said, I'm standing on that cliff. You're walking towards me. Yeah, you're approaching me, but you're not on my eye level. You're getting
well,
closer, but
here's
you're not quite there. So let me finish. Let me wrap up. So what I'm saying
right.
is, just because you enter into like the tier of a person does not like I think Delta's in like Naruto's tier. I wouldn't say like Delta
I
can
agree with
beat like
that.
Six Paths Naruto in the Boruto era. So like that's what I'm talking about. When we say tiers, it doesn't mean like you scale to them power wise. It just means you're knocking on the door. So and Kaguya is very difficult to scale within the series. I mean, she absorbed like what nearly all the fucking chakra on the planet. I mean, I think that has to account for something. Like she's phasing fucking realities and
Yeah.
bringing multiple people with her. Like in terms of Kaguya, like her battle prowess, like hand to hand combat, is pretty fucking poor. Even though she did demonstrate a little this, a little that, but really like her immense amount of fucking chakra is bonkers, bro. And to wrap this up, my little soliloquy here. This is a Hashirama talking to a Sasuke and Naruto who is not a Ten Tails Jinchuriki. He's not. That's not him at his apex. Whenever we discuss Hashirama, it has to be post Kaguya battle, him at his apex with all his plethora of fucking abilities. Like he's literally God. He's
Well,
literally
and that's why
God.
I brought up the fact he studied six pass Senjutsu.
Yeah.
But at the
But
same
how's
at the
like how
same
did you tie
time,
that?
I don't think that we can just say that Hagoromo surpassed his mom though. Like just because he did all this after she died. I think his mom was still on another level than him, because he was preparing for years. It seemed like for his mom to return, and he had to make sure that he had the correct plan for it to defeat. I mean, if you have any other if you have any other opinion on that, he came out of the half of he came out of Madara, out of his lower half.
Listen.
So
Look.
it
Let
seemed
me
like he
say something
planned
real
that for
quick.
a millennia.
Look, Fuse Momoshiki is like fucking goated. Like he's powerful as fuck. Not the strongest, but like pretty fucking powerful. Like a heavily fucking nerfed Sasuke and Naruto. One half each of Hagoromo's chakra came together and like
And
defeated him.
couldn't, but
Right?
they
But,
couldn't
see, but
it half. He gave him exactly what you said. Half of his power he gave to Naruto, half of his
Can
power he gave to Sasuke, and they could not compete with Kaguya.
hold on,
I
but
finish?
like even with the chakra part, like this is something like, and I know this like based off of the comments I've had like in the comment section on my channel, like Hagoromo took back that chakra when he took back the shields. If you go back and you read the manga when he's talking to the
That's
Kages,
greedy.
like yeah, I can summon Naruto and Sasuke and them, but I don't have the chakra right now. Once they seal Kaguya, the manga slows down the scene, and you see their hands with the seals at one point, and then the next panel on, the seals are gone from their hands,
Yeah.
and then Hagoromo looks down at his hands, the seals are back on, and then all of a sudden he's able to summon not just Naruto and Sasuke back, but he's able to summon all the other dead Kages from the Pure Land. Like
No,
that right there, like he took back the chakra.
I
So
have a
when they
question.
fought Momoshiki and Kinshiki, they didn't have that. They didn't have Hagoromo's chakra anymore.
That's the Indian
Well,
giver
well,
to the max. He just gave it to him and took it right back, even though he's dead. Like I don't need this no more, but let me take this back. That's Indian giving.
Hagoromo was a G for that shit, man. It's like I'm gonna
uh,
loan you this shit, and I'm gonna
I
take it
have a
back with
question.
interest.
So that just honestly, that just makes my point even more. Like they're just like something less than. But look, I've been having like this kind of research mode with like six pack because like Naruto in the Boruto era does not have six pass Jutsu. Do you agree with
Mm-mm.
that?
I agree. Like six pass, and people don't realize six pass Senjutsu and six pass Sage Mode, they're two different powers. Naruto
Exactly.
and
Shout out
Like
Sasuke
Inomachi.
both got two separate power ups from Hagoromo. They both got six pass chakra. Read the manga if you don't remember that. But like, and I'm not talking about you guys. I'm saying like chat.
right.
I have people tell me all the time Sasuke now got six pass chakra. That's not true.
No, you talking to me
Both of them
too.
got
I
six
never read
pass
the
chakra.
manga. I never read the manga. You talking to me
Sasuke
too.
got the Rinnegan. Naruto got six pass Sage Mode. They got two sets of power ups.
Right.
Six pass Sage Mode is really like the ability to just draw on like an insane amount of nature energy. Like you have what Sage Mode can do, and then 6 pass Sage Mode just ramps it up to like 9,000.
Okay.
Exactly.
Because like the Ten Tails has like world level gathering, 6 pass chakra level, and then nature energy or whatnot, where it can't even be measured. And then Naruto's able to get some shit that's on that level in terms of how much nature energy he could draw in. Like it's insane. That shit's busted.
So let me
Like
ask you this.
Naruto.
Let me ask you this real quick. Do you think that Naruto surpassed Kurama when it comes to chakra? Now that we talking about that, me and Baro was having this discussion on our last podcast. Do you think that Naruto has a bigger pool of chakra than Kurama does, or no?
I mean, he already had enough to suppress one half of Kurama. Like the fact, like in Naruto's manga, it was stated he had enough chakra to suppress one half of Kurama. Your chakra pool can grow.
Wasn't he using like
So
98% of his chakra to suppress Kurama or some crazy number like that? And still
Yeah,
had
he was
an immense
using.
amount of chakra?
Yeah, so like when you look at that, like Naruto, like this whole fallacy of like, oh my god, like Naruto, he lost Kurama, so you don't have to use chakra pools. The dude's still using Sage Mode. It's stated in the manga in order to use Sage Mode just to be able to attempt the training, you
Right.
got to have a massive chakra pool. So the fact that he was even able to attempt the training, that's a sign he had high chakra pools. Like, and when you add in, like, yeah, like, because he casually says in the manga, like, yeah, I use my chakra to suppress Kurama. So even if you just say that, like, he only has like half of Kurama's chakra, look at how much, because chakra grows over time. Look at how strong Kurama got in the Boruto era. Like, Kurama got stronger than he was in the Naruto manga, like all the other characters. I mean, like, that's, I mean, if you just say half, that's still a lot.
Right.
Like this Naruto now, if Toneri from the last shows up and he's got Tensegan chakra mode, this Naruto now should be able to whoop his ass.
Why you say it like that, bro? You
That's
could.
why
I don't
you
like
could've
that man,
probably beat
man.
him.
I don't like him. I don't like him, man.
Crazy.
I hate that movie. I don't like him.
You said, yo, I
crazy.
remember that you said that you hate that movie.
Man,
I
I fell asleep watching that shit, man.
What?
I thought it was pretty good. That's the only movie that Bar B watched, bro. Bar B and Naruto the last and what the Boruto movie.
And
that's
Boruto,
that's the only movies he watched. I
fell
still
asleep
can't get this guy
watching that
watching
shit.
any other
You on track? Yeah.
Like I can read that novel all day. I can't watch that movie, man. I watch that movie when I get ready to go to sleep. That movie's like One Piece. To me. I can't watch.
Get ready to go to sleep.
Like, I can read One Piece all day. I can't watch the anime. I'm still in Alabasta in the anime. Like, and I ain't never gonna get caught up on the anime.
Oh, you can
I
read
can't do
the
it, bro.
manga but not watch the anime?
I can't watch the anime, man. Like I watch the anime, I fall asleep.
It's like over
One
1,000
Piece anime is
episodes.
looking like it's like a movie every episode. The One Piece anime is like a movie every episode. Like this latest arc is fucking amazing. It's the best animation
Yeah,
in the industry.
Like I've heard Wano's been like on some shit, man. Like I want to watch the Wano episode so bad. I'm caught up on One Piece, like the manga, but like when they get to the shit, like how they got to the scene where Nami, Ulti's like, yeah, go ahead and renounce Luffy as your captain. You serve Kaido, and then she like breaks down crying. She's like, my captain's gonna be the king of the pirates because Usopp was ready to bitch out. Nami was like going to bat for Luffy right when she's about to get killed. They got to that yet?
Nah. Well, in the anime, no. But like in the manga, big Zoro hype, bro. Like holy fuck, man.
Big dick energy.
Oh, big dick energy.
Oh shit, they ain't ready, man.
Can I
Let me stop it.
Can I have the chat drag Mello for the spoilers like he's like I did? Like
Facts. What is going on here? We got anime only One Piece watchers in here. This is crazy.
To be fair though, like that's a small spoiler. Like the scene I talked about, what he's saying, like the Zoro big energy. That's a big moment, but there's no context behind it. I'll defend him on that one. There's no context behind that. Now I gave full context on mine.
My spoilers small and they drag me.
No. Yeah, you ain't say nothing. No, we gassing. We definitely gassing. But
I like he had big energy. Like what the fuck?
No, we definitely. Real quick. Yeah, he drops some Attack on Titan spoilers. But real quick, and I kind of covered this topic on my stream myself. One Piece right now, I feel like they're kind of in this they're right now the content is good, as you guys said, it's good. But I personally believe they're at like a crossroads to where it should end, but I'm not sure what they're doing. Would you guys prefer a Luffy or One Piece Part 2, or would you guys prefer a next generation's One Piece similar to Boruto?
Ooh, good question.
I mean, we can't do that, like, based off where because, like, the manga's probably got, like, another 5 years left, man. You still gotta go to
Yeah.
Elbot, and then you gotta go to,
Damn,
the
another
Laugh
5
Tale, like,
years? Come
there's still a lot of
on.
material left.
Bro, there's
Maybe-
a
Like, look how
1,000
long Wano's been going.
episodes. I tried to go watch One Piece and I looked at the episode shit. I was like, yo, 1,000. I never finished this. I'm not even gonna try.
Yo,
Okay,
Yeah, it's different.
Wano's a
like,
long ass arc though.
like Knox from Project Manga had a really good line. So, like, whatever your longest anime is, so, like, people watching this, like, you watch Naruto, that's like 700 episodes between Naruto and Naruto Shippuden. 700 episodes. Whatever your
got
longest
900
anime
episodes
is,
now.
You can skip filler in Naruto though and still get the story. I don't know if you can.
Oh,
Can you
okay.
skip filler in,
That's true.
in One Punch and still
It's-
understand what's going on?
but see, with One Piece's anime, it's not a lot of filler.
That's what I'm saying. So you can't compare that to Naruto because I can go online and look up.
But how
Naruto
many
fillers.
people watch filler? Like, you still a lot of people watch a lot of filler for these fucking episodes, though.
For what episodes?
For, like, Naruto, because, like, people correct me, like, oh shit, there was pirates in Naruto. What the fuck? Because
Oh,
I see that all the time.
see,
Like,
my
I
second
didn't
watch,
fuck
I
with
had
the
to-
Naruto anime like that. Like,
Yeah,
they told me it was a
Yeah, I
fucking
would.
ninja ostrich. I said, what the fuck? Am I
Ninja
looking at a
ostrich?
fucking petting zoo? What the fuck?
Oh,
Oh.
Here we talk about Meta Naruto too. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah,
Yo,
like,
that
shit.
episode was pretty cool. I ain't even gonna lie to you. The Meta Naruto one, that was pretty funny. I ain't gonna
Oh,
cap.
my goodness.
Oh yeah, Orochimaru.
I had to go back and watch the filler episodes after I finished watching the series and I ain't have nothing else to watch. I was like, let me go back and watch the filler, and it was some pretty fire filler. I'm not even gonna lie.
All the time I've
it's-
seen some fillers when I've done some stuff for research on a video for some shit like that. Hinoka Uzumaki, the ceiling, super ceiling, not the super summoning beast that they had that they're trying to create and shit. Like, I watched the stuff for that. I was like, okay, that's like somewhat interesting. It's an Uzumaki clan member, but like, they told me it was some shit with some zombies. I'm like, oh, fuck this shit, man. This is exactly why I just read the manga, man. I ain't trying to see. Like, it's bad enough with Edo Tensei, but then you got like full blown zombies and shit. I'm like, fuck out of here.
Man, talking about
yeah,
your
it's
content
crazy.
though, Ian, bro, I had a question that I wanted to ask you. I know that you had we talked about this on Twitter though. Man, in December you was pumping out content like crazy. Like every day you was pumping out maybe like 2-3 videos. You wasn't worried about your audience getting pretty much like, what am I trying to say? Over saturating them with content. You wasn't scared about that?
Nah, man. Like with December, like, I had banked up so many fucking videos because like that car video, and there was another one. Yeah. The car video. Like, last time I was on with you guys, it was like October, September, something like that.
Yeah,
And we were
you
talking
just
about how
dropped
like
that
you could
one out.
introduce car, but I just dropped
You
that
just
shit.
dropped that one. Yeah, I was telling
Like,
Bar that you mentioned them, and then you told me you was like, man, I made that video like months ago.
yeah, like I,
Yeah.
like I sit on content. Like, same thing with the with those Hokage videos I did. Like, those videos was done last February, March, and April. I had those videos made, and I didn't drop until December.
Damn.
That's what I'm
No.
doing now.
Like,
Yeah, I
you know,
tripping. Yeah,
like Geekdom 101. Like, I was watching him, and like when I seen him say like, yeah, I got videos now that ain't coming out for months. I said, yo, this motherfucker's playing out this far in advance. I said, I gotta step my shit up, man. I was like, if you look at like, you look at it like drugs, because that's what content is to a certain extent. You look at it like drugs. I'm like, okay, well, I ain't the best editor. I do like a little bit. I can't do nothing crazy. I'm like, I'll go ahead and spend my money on the editors now and get them to edit, and I'll sit on the videos, and I'm gonna stretch my stuff. I'm gonna step on it a little bit, and I'm gonna stretch these topics a little bit, and edit more than I probably should. And I think like the people that stuck with me through that. But when you got to November and December, like, I'm double uploading. Like, I did like 60 fucking videos. I would have spread that out. It'd have been more higher quality stuff over a long period of time. That's like the goal for 2022 now. Like, I'm not gonna sit on videos this long. But like that was the
Mm-hmm.
whole reason for that. Like just trying to make that last push, last 8 months of the year when you got the most people on YouTube during that time.
Okay.
It's a fact. Now, real quick, Naruto explained, or Kryptonian saying, whichever one you call him, he has cracked the code. He has cracked
I was about to say
the
he
anime
know the
YouTube code. In
analytics.
my
Like,
personal opinion,
yeah.
if you guys don't know about this guy, he had a channel like named Kryptonian saying, big channel itself. I believe it was at what was it 60,000 subscribers or
81,000 when he got terminated.
80,000 subscribers 3 years ago got terminated. My guy made a completely new channel, and how much? I'm checking right now. 274,000 subscribers in just 3 years.
It was
This
like
guy
a
has cracked
blessing
the
in
code.
disguise.
There,
You
and
losing the first channel was like a blessing in disguise for sure. So Mello, it might be a
yeah,
blessing in disguise
100%.
for you too, bro.
100%. Now, real quick, Krypton. What? Ben, Ian. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some.
three different names.
Bro, I don't know which name to call my guy. I'm gonna just go with Ben from now on. But Ben, so I'm pretty sure there's going to be smaller YouTubers in a chat right now. Smaller YouTubers that are going to be watching this. What would be
Shout
some of
out
your tips for
Kawaki.
those smaller YouTubers trying to get big like you?
Man, first thing, man, like I'm make a confession. I ain't made like public period. Like stay true to what it is you want to do. Like so, like whatever your niche is, double down on your niche and find the people in your niche that do what you do, and see what you can do that's a little bit different. Like for me, I kept noticing like, man, like ain't nobody talking about like what else scenarios. We got Dragon Ball what else. So I started doing that. Like I was like, man, everybody doing all these numbers and calcs for like the power scaling videos, but nobody talking about what the ninjutsu do. So let me just make the same thing to approach those people like that content, but I'm just gonna focus on the ninjutsu arsenal. I'm gonna focus on the lore. I'm gonna be real heavy on breaking down the ninjutsu. That way people know how overpowered some of the jutsu are. That's how Naruto was. Like it was like, yo, people with Kekkei Genkai or people that can pull off a certain jutsu at a certain time, that jutsu might end the whole fucking fight. Getting a better understanding of that makes you appreciate it more. But like same time though, like you have to watch other people outside of your niche. Like I started noticing like Amelia Hartford or Tall Guy Car Reviews or
Mm.
uh, Throttle House, a few other channels I watched. I started noticing like, well, like with the titles, they're going real flamboyant with the titles and the thumbnails, like very bright colors and everything. And I was like, let me try that on my channel. And like the thing that I've noticed is like, yeah, that might get you more views on the front end, but you're gonna suffer on back end. So what that teaches me is like with a niche, maybe it's better if you're just a little bit more straightforward with your title. Like, don't try and hit all those keywords and everything for search results. Like, niche down instead of like, and I'm guilty of this on the last one, like countdown to Naruto versus Kawaki, and it's really like me talking about like how Kawaki got the Karma Seal back. Like, I'm gonna go around there, I'm gonna change that title. But like, it's like one of those things where whatever it is that you're gonna do, stick with that and don't be afraid to fail, don't be afraid to experiment, but be willing
Mhm.
to grind it out. Because like what Kryptonian is saying, like it was like 2 years before that channel really began to pop, like really began to pop off. Like I upload and it'd be like 100 views here, 150 views there, and all of a sudden I start getting some traction, build up a catalog. That way when people all of a sudden you get that one video that pop off and it start getting some views. What people do is they say, well, I like this video. Let me check out your other stuff. And they're gonna go through your playlist and you want to have everything organized. That way they start watching other content and then you got more than one opportunity to make them want to subscribe. Like that's like the biggest thing there, I could say.
100%. I mean, I talk about this all the time. I think consistency is one of the biggest thing in the YouTube game. A lot of people out there that have good content, a lot of people out there that have the drive and the motivation, but it's about staying consistent, sticking with the process. As you said, if you found something that you like, dive deep into that niche.
Right.
Make sure you continue to grind out these videos. And it's not necessarily only to grind out videos to put out videos. You're practicing. You know, When Jordan went in the gym, he shot what 1,000 shots a day, something like that.
Mhm.
You have to get that repetition to make sure that when to make sure your end goal is going to be as perfected as possible. This is all just practice, in my personal opinion, especially with the YouTube game. A lot. I always say this with YouTube. This right here is like an ever going job, not necessarily a job in the sense of we're working or anything like that. No,
Nah,
you
we
have to
working, bro.
continue to put out
We're
you
working.
yeah
I don't know what you talking about.
yeah
This
one
is a
hundred percent.
job.
Yeah,
This right
not
here
work.
this yeah no it definitely not work. But this right here is an ongoing thing to where you have to put out content. You have to put out content. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people start YouTube. They feel that drive. They feel that motivation for the first month, for the first 2 months, but then they stop. Then they come back 8 months later, try to upload again. It just doesn't work. Consistency, in my personal opinion, is one of the most important things for smaller YouTubers. 100%.
Not even just consistency. I would have to say I had to like add my 2 cents because I started off a YouTube channel. I probably got like over 100 uploads on there, and mine's ain't gained really no traction. It has a lot to do with the content you're making too. If your content isn't matching your grind, then nobody's really going to subscribe to you. You know what I'm saying? Like I always tell people,
Is it
like,
true?
because I be talking to people about the channel that we doing right now, and they ask me for advice, and I'm like it really just depends on your content. You got to think about it. There's millions of other YouTubers out there who most likely are doing the same thing as you. How are you standing out from the others? Because there's 100,000 other pages that's similar to yours, and like you got to give people a reason to want to subscribe to your videos and actually completely watch them, because you know the analytics bases off of that too. Watch time hours. You can get all the subscribers you want. If they're not watching your videos, you can have like 2,000 subscribers. If they're not watching your videos, you only got 2,000 watch time hours. You're not really going to get anywhere. The analytics not really going to push you up. So you got to make sure your content's there too. Like you can push out as many videos you want. You can have 400, 500 videos. That doesn't mean people are actually going to like them and view them. That's just my opinion.
Yeah,
That's true. That's
you
true.
right on that. Cause like Roberto Blake's the channel. I tell like everybody that's like starting up, like, yo, you need to watch Roberto Blake's channel. You need to watch Daryl East's channel.
Facts.
Like the
Facts.
thing on it is like do your crappy 100 videos like Mr. B said, but also pay attention to your analytics. Like
Mm-hmm.
the thing that because like I'm not gonna drop names, but like there are YouTubers that I keep in contact with that are bigger than me that I've not publicly talked to.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I know from the conversations we've had, it's like my CPM is right there with theirs. My watch time
Right.
is a little bit below theirs, but on average, I got a higher retention rate, but I don't have the
Hmm.
overall watch time because I
Mm-hmm.
don't do as longer
Longer
videos. Like in
videos.
terms of percentage, like somebody, I'll say this. I know a deal doesn't care. Like a deal from Anime Boss Deep asking one time, like, why do you keep making 9 minute videos? Well, on average I have about a 6 minute retention rate for anything that's not a
Mm.
chapter review.
Oh,
So if
okay.
I can do a 9 minute video or a 10 minute video, that puts you at that 65, 70% range.
Right.
If you look what Mr. B said, if you don't have 75% retention, then you're doing something wrong. YouTube tells you in the analytics, like, hey, this is the point where people click off of your video.
Mm-hmm.
Like, go through there and see where the drop off is. And once it gets below 50%, see what you can do differently to stretch that to fix that. Maybe it's get to a point faster. Maybe it's something with the editing. Maybe it's something with the audio. People click off for all these different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But when you focus on watch time and retention and click through rate, you can people look at like I want to do a video that does like 4 million views, but what they don't understand is that you can have that video that does 4 million views, but if you got the higher watch time, retention, the click through rate, and etc., your CPM might be higher on a video that is say one video does 4 million and the other one does 100,000. That video with 100,000 views might very well make more than that video of 4 million. And I can say that for me because like the Uchiha Clan video I did on Kryptonian Saiyan that went viral years ago, I had dog shit. I had dog shit. CPR cost per milli CPM for the video. It was dog
Yeah.
shit because the retention was so low on it because people saw the title and they're like, oh shit, I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
that the Uchiha Clan had issues with Minaton, etc. I remade the same video on Naruto Explained, but the editing was better and the watch time was higher. That video made more money. But it don't have the same views that the other one did, but it's a better viewer experience. Like when you make content, think about it from the perspective of, if I'm watching this,
Exactly.
would I want to watch this?
Exactly.
Think about it as a viewer first.
Yep. That's what I tell people all the time. Like, because I'm more of a viewer than I am a content creator. I hop on here and we do the podcast, but most of the time I'm on my phone or I'm on TV and I'm watching other YouTubers. I'm watching content creators. So I always have to look at it from that perspective too. Like, if I was on the other side of the microphone or other side of the TV screen, would I sit here and would I watch this podcast for 2 hours? You know, so like, or would I watch the clips that we break down? Because a lot of times when you break down the clips bar, I'm watching it just to give us another view, mostly in watch time hours. But I'm watching it too. But like a lot of times I'm sitting there like, would I really sit here and watch this whole thing? A lot of times, yeah, but sometimes I'm like, nah, I cut it off. And I'll be understanding when I watch the analytics and stuff, which videos people like, which videos people don't like. So like, yeah, I totally agree with you, Ian, on that one. Like, you gotta understand it from a viewer's aspect, because that's who you're entertaining, is the viewer. You're not entertaining yourself.
Yeah, like people put too much focus on like this video did this much. Like, don't even worry about that shit, man. Because again, like all it's gonna take, like if you put up a video and it do 100 views, you don't know where that video is gonna be at a year from now.
Exactly.
Because back end views are a thing, especially when you have evergreen content or if you have niche content. So like anime is already a niche in the entertainment industry, but when you start talking about specific anime, it's a niche within a niche. You know, like people can say all day, I don't know who this YouTuber is, etc. Like if a video does a certain number of views, it pops up in your analytics at some point if you talk about it.
Right.
Like, because YouTube tells you, it gives you like 5 pages of your audience also watches these creators and your audience watch these videos as well. So at a certain point, you become aware of what other people in your niche are doing if you study your analytics. So that's the thing you got to kind of keep in mind is, don't worry about your front end views. Your back end, YouTube will eventually take care of you on the back end. So if I put up a video and it does 12,000 views, I'm not sweating it, because I'd rather have 12,000 now, and then a year from now the video might be at 50, 60,000 but have high watch time. And I go, okay, well, more people found it after the fact. Right. And that's why, like, I was like, okay, I experiment with the titles. I'm not getting the same back end views of when I had more simplistic titles. Maybe I need to work on the thumbnails more and keep the titles very simple. I don't know everything. Like Bar said, I cracked the code. I didn't crack the code. I got lucky, and I've just been experimenting with shit.
Yeah, no, that's facts. Like I'm not even gonna lie, I had the cheat code working with you and Bara, so I can't even like give people like, when you give me advice, I was like, I don't really got nothing for you, like, cause I work with people who already know YouTube, so I don't know. Like, I just follow what they doing.
No. Real quick, that's a skill too. Networking is 100% a skill.
Yeah,
now,
exactly.
I do want to point this out. You can't necessarily rely on somebody to make your own necessary platform bigger, but networking is 100% a very good tool to grow yourself, but also to make sure you I should say separate yourself and make sure you have your own identity. I tell Free Game this all the time: create content on your own channel. But I understand Free Game right now, and we do this right now because we're such a new channel. 13 episodes in, it's still a new thing. I personally want Free Game to create his own thing. You see what I'm saying, later on down the line. But 100%, networking is definitely important.
It's coming.
So guys, I want to ask you a question. Because talking about content, I just dropped a video today, and I'm very curious to see what you guys think about this. Not plugging the video.
Booty?
You're weird.
Hey, yo, what is going on here?
So check this out. So what I'm talking
about,
so
the one who made the video.
Hey, look, like I tell people, I'm a businessman. That video is for business purposes.
You
Y'all
sat
the
there
one
and
that's
constructed that icon. That thumbnail. You sat there and made it. You made it yourself.
I mean, but like, think about it though. Would you click on that? Because I would. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I would.
Like, YouTube gonna demonetize the fuck out of it, but I click on it. Shit.
I would.
I'm not clicking on it.
It looked like Sakura did all kinds of squats on that thumbnail. I said, what the fuck?
She was eating her.
She's doing
greens for
squats
sure.
and hamstring curls. Like, god damn.
She's eating her cornbread.
Yeah, wow.
Nah, she had one of them gym booties, man. I said, God damn, man.
Yo,
Like got the
yo,
back
I'm
muscles and
about to say
everything.
he got her back defined and all types of stuff.
God damn,
Now
like with the forearm and shit too. Like, man,
Hey, I
shit.
think my baby mom
this
got those
man,
shorts actually.
this man
Crazy.
posted this thing in chat, bro, and it's just staring me in the face, man. Look, we're gonna give free game. What do you want? We're gonna talk
You
about
could
it.
have clearly scrolled away from that image, bro. What are you talking about?
No. Wait. Listen. I have a second monitor that's a horizontal, so it goes long.
Here we
So
come.
I can't scroll
Big
down.
pause.
But anyway, look.
Big pause.
That's besides the
He
point.
said it
That's
goes
besides the
long.
point. Listen.
Big pause.
That's besides the point. Listen. So do you guys think Naruto still has Kurama's power? This is the crux of the video that I dropped today. Now, of course, I go into detail. You guys know me. I'm pretty analytical, if I say so myself. So I have an argument. I never just make theories out of thin fucking air. There's always like something that has to lead in the actual series to make it make sense.
Right.
That's kind of my motto.
Mhm.
So I just want to get you guys to start on that. Do you think Naruto can potentially still have Kurama's power?
I mean,
I don't think so.
What Sakura
Yeah.
said, Big Booty Sakura, what she said basically in the anime is like all his superhuman strength is gone. Like she couldn't detect none of Kurama's energy in her or in him. So
Big
I mean,
pause.
that's,
Hey, yo, come on,
that's a
bro.
good point, but like I'm gonna say this too. Like if we just stick with the lore, and I hate giving people false hope on this shit. I know I've done the fan theories, and that's why I have a whole playlist like Boruto fan theories because I just have to differentiate. Like this is not my theory.
right.
This is something I get sent a lot of times as Patreon people that send it to me. But like if you look at the lore, the thing that you kind of get is in Naruto Databook 3, Masashi Kishimoto's directly asked, why can guards still use sand even after the one tail is extracted from him? And he says, well, the way chakra works is once something's been a part of you, it's never truly gone. He just can't use sand on the same level as he did before, but it's still a part of him. And the only thing I would say is that like that nine tails chakra was part of him for so long. If you told me there was like a small remnant amount, then yeah. But I think that like the anime, like with how advanced that science is, I think that the nine tails is gone, and I think that he don't have access to that sanctuary anymore. I think all that Biju chakra is gone. I think all you got right now is just Naruto. But if you see this man with like a small whisker cubic chakra or something, I'm going back to that Kishimoto statement in the data book.
What if it's like something like towards the point where you know how you also you was talking about Kawaki and his karma seal, even though his karma seal was completely gone, he still had it. You know what I'm saying? Like all it took was like a key or a trigger for him to tap into that karma seal. What if it's like around the same thing with Kurama? What if it takes like a key or like a trigger for Naruto to tap into that power? So also be it maybe it's he just uses it one time in like a dire situation, he can never use it again, like he burns out all the rest of the chakra. But what I got from Kurama though is like with that Baryon mode, it was different than anything that's ever been introduced to the series. They're grinding chakra together, creating a new energy, and all that energy was supposed to burn out. So in a sense, I really don't. Yeah, exactly. I don't think that like he has any inkling of Kurama's power left in him because of the way that the writers constructed it. They constructed it like this is not like a being like a tail beast being extracted from somebody. Like you're still gonna live, so because I'm not being extracted from you, I'm just pretty much disappearing inside of you. So like we can use
Hey, go ahead, rock out.
How you gonna tell
Rock
me?
out.
You fucked up my whole train of thought, bro. I can't. Go ahead, y'all continue now.
Rock. Hey, rock out,
Fool,
bro.
You
My bad, bro.
Oh
man.
The way the writers, damn, Bar, you fucked me up, bro.
Yeah, he came in and dropped a nuke. He like,
I just had to clarify. I didn't hear what he said. I just want to hear.
oh man, this man came in and said, I'm about to end all this shit.
Bro, what's happening right now? What
Oh, bro, we friends having a good conversation. That's what's happening right now.
Well, the Kakashi, man. You know, Kakashi be sitting there just look, oh, that's nice right there, and just troll your ass. That's some bars just did.
Bro.
My bad, bro.
Yeah, I don't remember what I was talking about. Go ahead, change the subject real quick.
okay, check this out, right? So The reason why I said that was fucking
Oh
me,
man,
fucking
this guy's
Barb
bar
did.
is
Jesus
crazy, bro. I love this guy.
This
Oh,
dude,
by the
bro.
way,
What
wait,
the
hold
fuck?
on. While we on the air real quick, happy fucking birthday, Bara. Happy birthday, bro. How was your birthday?
Man, my birthday was yesterday. It was
Belated
alright. You know, I was
birthday.
chilling.
Related,
It
man.
was
I was
yesterday, so
chilling.
what?
Yeah,
Happy birthday.
Happy
We
picking
on
back,
air
being
right
bull,
now.
keeping it pee. You know how it go.
That's that 19 something. What did
The
you say? 1950
1942,
something.
you sip
Yeah,
some of that. I
42.
told you
Yeah.
not to get too messed up.
I tell you, I say, no, I stayed sober. Yes, I
you
am
ain't
chilling.
you ain't roll up none of that Kawaki pack, man.
Nah,
Damn.
You
never be
What you?
rolling.
Man, Sarada ain't packed this man up yet. What you talking about?
Shinky did. That's what.
You wildin', bro. You wildin'. What the fuck?
You sound good. I can't.
Look,
Yo, I can't wait till in the future in the manga when Sarada gets introduced and she got to fight one of the big dogs. Bro, that pack gonna be
She
scrum.
already fought one of the
I
big
love-
dogs. She fought Boro and packed
Bar.
him out. What you talking about? Kawaki
Bar.
couldn't even
I
do that.
love,
With the
I
karma
love how
cell.
you need. I love how you need hindsight to bolster your arguments. Like, what are we talking
Hold on,
about, bro?
Talking
There
about
is no
Sarada.
hindsight.
Talking about
Currently,
Sarada.
right now,
Let's get back
You
to
need-
some
no, no,
content.
no, no.
Let's get back to some content. Talking about Sarada.
Yeah,
Ian,
yeah.
one of my mods had a question for you, bro. Who do you think is going to end up training Sarada?
Oh, that's a good question. I made multiple videos about this. Honestly, right now, if I would say, it would probably be Sakura. A lot of people won't like that answer because Sakura doesn't necessarily have hacks abilities, I should say. But one thing that we have already seen before that's really, really good, which I personally think it's a very low likelihood that she even gets it, and we were talking about earlier, would be the Byakuyo seal. I forgot. I can't pronounce it. There's so much Byaku.
Byakugo seal, yeah, you
It's
said
just
right.
Byaku. Yeah, Byakugo seal. I don't think that she'll get it, but I personally believe that that right there could also put her on a level that she needs to be alongside Boruto and Kawaki. Will she ever get that strong? Absolutely not. But I think the most realistic character to train Sarada right now would be Sakura. I wish it was a character like Kakashi, but he seems lazy as hell. I wish it was a character like Sasuke, but he's cool. He's
He's
cool.
earned that, bro. He's earned
Kakashi
that.
did train Boruto for one episode though, so he may.
A
But
little longer than one episode, but yeah.
well, okay, a couple
Yeah, it's like
episodes. I mean, but you make a good point though, because when Sakura was getting trained, it was by Tsunade, so it'll kind of parallel Naruto Shippuden if Sakura was to train Sarada and have her actually get that power buff. What
was
do
the
you think?
question again?
Who would train? Who's going to end up training Sarada? Like time skip.
Oh, time skip. Okay. I think
It don't
Sasuke
even have
dies.
to be time skip, but who do you think would be like her next sensei? Who would be the next person to train her?
Well, I'll let our guess go.
You still there, you?
Yeah, man.
You all right, bro?
I would say probably Sakura, but like if I had my choice and like I was gonna write it, I'd say Kakashi just because like Kakashi, like that master of the Sharingan, like that his master of the Sharingan was up there with people that was born with it. You see what I'm saying? Like he could bring some shit out of Sarada on that, especially if you go with the assumption that Sasuke is gonna train Boruto. Like that makes more sense to that. Cause like what the fuck is Naruto? Like Naruto slap box with some Sharingan, but like Naruto's gonna sit there and like need like a wiki page on how the Sharingan works to be able to train her. Kakashi had that shit for
You think so? Even when him fighting besides Sasuke for so long, you think that he would really, need to like actually sit down and study the Sharingan? He should know a lot of his ability.
he never had it.
I hear what you're saying.
The
Like-
use
like-
is completely different. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
like-
Okay, I hear
like-
what you're saying.
He's got understanding of all things chakra because he had the six path senjutsu, but it's one of those things where it's just like I don't know, man. Like it's different. Like I could tell you how to drive a stick shift, but if you never driven stick before, you're not getting behind the wheel of my car. Fuck that. You ain't stalling my shit out and riding my clutch. It's the same thing. Like if I'm Sasuke and I gotta get somebody to train my daughter, you never use the fucking Sharingan. How the fuck am I have you train my daughter? You can go sit several fucks down. Like that's kind of how that is. So like Sakura, if it's chakra controlling the Byakugo, makes 100% sense. Cause like Sarada, like the Sharingan, Sasuke's already trained her in the novels how to use the Sharingan. So I mean, and we saw it in the anime he was trainer. So it's like Sarada can stumble and bumble her own way through with the Sharingan. Sakura control the chakra control and the Byakugo, and you saw what Sakura was able to do with 3 years worth of chakra. She had more chakra than a six-pass shadow clone with the chakra mode on. So if Boruto has a similar time skip, that's a lot of chakra for Sarada to get. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they saying in the chat Orochimaru. How y'all feel about that? Because Orochimaru did train Sasuke. He don't have a Sharingan.
Orochimaru.
Orochimaru
I like
trained
it. I
Sasuke.
honestly
He
like
didn't. He didn't have a Sharingan.
What?
I like it. I honestly like it.
Fair. That's fair.
I don't like it. Orochimaru creepy ass
I don't
around.
like
Nah,
it.
bro. What are we talking?
I
This
mean,
man out here trying. This
he
man out here
ain't
trying
got
to
worried
take
about
care
his
of.
father.
This man. This man out here trying to take over little boy's body and shit on some big Michael Jackson energy. Like, what are we talking about,
And
bro?
he never touched a female.
That's in the past. Yeah, that's in the
He took
past.
their body. That's
Nah,
about it.
this man is a female. What are we talking about? Like
That's what I'm saying.
Orochimaru,
He took their body.
he might take her
Like
body.
that female on female stuff, you can kind of do something like that. But I don't think Orochimaru gonna be into that shit right there. It's Yamato
This is-
shit. You know, Orochimaru identifies as a man. Let me stop. Let me
you,
stop.
you trolling right now.
I don't know where that came. Like Orochimaru training Sarada, that's off the wall to me. But look, Kakashi's obviously the best choice. I mean, like even when you go to like the field trip arc with her going up against that swordsman, she was using like copy ninja shit. So it's like her that I think that might be one of the reasons why I like her so much for the new gen, because she's very Kakashi-esque. Like sit back in the back, kind of analyze things. You're really not like the powerhouse of the group. I mean, for Sarada, she kind of is. Like her fucking punch power is nasty. I was talking about this in that Sakura video actually. Where like Boruto's base Rasengan hits deeper and does nothing, but her like monster strength punch after like a few sessions with Sakura is literally like scaling higher than like fucking Rasengan, which has like eternal damage properties added onto it. It's fucking
Chakra, changing chakra form, like, and that takes like chakra to a whole different.
Yeah, everybody's like, is the stream back up? Let me know if y'all can hear me, please. It's telling me excellent connection.
They probably got hit offline. I don't know.
Yeah, look
You
like
know how you
Yo,
have the
hello?
stream.
Can you hear me?
bro?
Yeah,
Hello?
the stream didn't crash. My son knocked out the Wi-Fi plug.
Oh,
That's what happens when you got a, yeah,
Whoa.
that's what happens when you got a 2-year-old around here. Yeah, he knocked out my Wi-Fi plug. My bad.
wait,
alright, no, we good.
We back
another
on.
reason I can't get kids, man. Fuck that, man. Fuck that. I'm like, what the fuck you do? Oh, I had to watch my nephew from time to time, man. He's about that age too. I'd be like, man, you know, sit your ass down somewhere.
I got an angel as a son, man. I don't know what he did. I don't know what he did, bro.
Man, this little dude be throwing shit, man. Slamming doors and shit.
We
I'm
back
like,
up.
oh, yeah, he ain't good, but you know, sometimes I'll be like, God damn, dog, Dominic, sit down somewhere.
Yo, you know what? They gonna clown me too. They gonna say Walmart Wi-Fi. They gonna yo, my stream be going in on me, man.
I
They do
thought
not
you got
play on
That
this.
shit off.
we was about to have to spin for you, bro. I thought you got DDoS. I ain't gonna lie. I thought somebody clapped you.
Wait, what? Whoa, hold up. What?
Yeah, my man said we gotta get the free game pack ready.
Yo,
Yo,
no, wow,
my
no,
God.
wow. Smoking good tonight, huh?
hey, that's your man. That's your man.
The chat is wild, bro. Chat is wild.
Yo, they about to go in on me, so let's just wait for it. But anyway, what was we talking about before my cheap Wi-Fi got cut off?
Tomorrow.
I'm trying to get a Boruto era Orochimaru power scale, because this dude's fucking weird. Like he should be really
Bro,
up there.
Nah, this Orochimaru, he's on Beerus level, bro. Like this guy's Hakayan people. Like, bro, this Orochimaru is a god. I don't know. God of destruction. That's where I'll put him at. Yeah, let's get around telling him at Popeyes with the Wi-Fi. Y'all.
I'll say this, like on some real shit. So like I don't do the power scaling, but I am gonna say if you look at the manga and you keep in mind like the anime shit, like a lot of people don't realize like Naruto after the Momoshiki arc was shown training. He was training with the guards and training in chakra mode, etc. So he went from like I'm rusty. Otsutsuki showed up. I need to train and get my weight back up, and the dude got stronger. So a weaker version of Naruto from Gaiden, or not weaker, a rustier version of Naruto who hadn't been training yet. When Naruto's going in there and he's telling Sasuke, like, "Hey, Sasuke, keep your guard up, fam. We don't know where Orochimaru is." And they thought Orochimaru was behind all this shit. He got his Sage mode up. He's telling Sasuke to be on guard. And he don't drop his Sage mode until he sees Orochimaru. Until he physically lays eyes on it. He just needed to track him. He would have just gone into the 6-pass Sage mode and cut the cloak on, and he could have detected his chakra right then and there. But in Naruto Gaiden, he's in Sage mode telling Orochimaru, telling Sasuke stay on guard for Orochimaru. So at the bare minimum, he gotta be around base Naruto level, and Naruto at least thought to put Sage mode on. I'm not saying he's as strong as Sage mode Naruto. I'm not saying that. And this is a weaker Sage mode Naruto than what you have now currently in the manga. But I am saying Naruto did at the very least say like be on guard, and he got his Sage mode up. If he was just trying to sense, he could have just went into the chakra mode, but he didn't.
Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point.
I hope one of y'all was recording on OBS or something for the stuff that got knocked off of the live.
Nah, yeah, I'm recording OBS right. By the way, I have a 3-hour and 15-minute recording on OBS. I'm not gonna lie, this way too long. My MacBook Air was over.
Wait, hold up. This has not went way too long. Yo, how long has our community been asking to get Naruto explained back on the live? This was gonna have to be a little bit longer than our usual lives, especially if you was down to sit on here on Discord with us, bro. This is gonna be as long. I was planning on being a little bit long. Yeah, bro. Naruto, Ian, I don't know if you ever peeped Melo's channel, but this guy streams for 12 hours straight. Like, I don't know what kind of ass he got or what, but he streams for 12 hours straight to sit there and stream. What? Yeah, pause, my bad, but my ass be hurting sitting here for 3 hours. So
bro, I ain't even want to say nothing there.
I didn't even say nothing. I just
I got to go on Melo through this channel because when you guys had like the debate going back and forth, I said, "Who the fuck is this?" I ain't gonna say the word I use. I said, "Who the fuck is this?" I went to the channel. I said, "Oh shit!" I was like, "Yo, this is some good ass content right here." Let's start watching this shit.
Melo content is dope. Yeah, for sure.
Wait.
He said ABD was in his chat one time too.
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. Let's cut the malarkey right quick. Naruto, explain. You came on originally and said, "Hey, Kawaki is stronger than Sarada."
Oh my god!
Tell me this man Melo didn't sway your opinion.
Dude.
Keep it G.
Not gonna keep on going.
Keep it a rack.
Bro, we had a deal. You can't just bring it up. We agreed on
No. I'm not debating. I'm just asking my guy Ian to keep it P. Keep it P. Did Melo influence your opinion?
No.
Keep it P.
No.
I don't know.
Look at you, bro.
Why are you underestimating the great Naruto Explain? What's good with you, bro? What's happening?
I'll say this, in my opinion, can my opinion be? Yeah, fuck yeah. I'm not saying I'm always changing my stuff. Like when I'm set, I'm usually set, but I'm always open to new information. Because a good example is when myself and Bullet were talking. I went in thinking one thing, and then by the time we finished talking, I said, "Yo, you moved me on the needle a little bit further over." And I was like, "I gotta re-record some shit, because that way we don't look like we going back and forth on this shit." And it's one of them things. Yeah, I can be swayed, but I went in that shit thinking nah, man, he need the karma to get that amp. It's a high diff battle either way because of how Ninja Tech work. But
we ain't gonna get back into it. Shout out to Bullet, by the way. We're not gonna get into this debate. Bullet's a YouTuber out there as well. I just wanted to understand how he switched his position. I completely understand. Opinions can change. More information. You should change your opinion with more information. I 100% understand.
Yes, Bar, you should.
Bar, you should listen to your advice, bro. Take your
But the
advice, bro.
information that has been presented to me, we can't keep talking about this, guys. We're 3 hours,
You
20
brought
minutes
it
deep into
up.
a podcast.
You
We
yeah,
can't
you
keep
brought
talking.
it
But
up,
I'm
bro.
trying to change the subject, and free game out here talking about some change your opinion, bar. No, we gotta change the subject,
I'm just
partner.
saying.
We gotta
I'm
change.
just telling you to take your own advice. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my goodness, chat! I'm
I'm
trying
just
to change the subject, chat.
Yeah,
Bro.
I'm
hey,
trying.
need
Free
to
game.
breathe, man.
All right, so
Yeah,
let's get into it. Like, let's get into something else. Then I had one of my other mods. He had a mod Deception. Shout out to Deception. He had a question that he wanted to be asked. How do you guys think Boruto might get his karma progression to stop? Like keep himself in control, keep Momoshiki from manifesting.
Like a year ago, I think like Jogon's probably the best way you can do that.
The Jogan. That's what everybody says. Everybody always says the Jogan. Like the Jogan.
Yeah,
To keep him Momoshiki that big.
and then the classic rebuttal to that is the fact that hey,
why would Momoshiki use him as a vessel though, seeing that he had the Jogan? That's the thing that would throw me off. Shouldn't Momoshiki know that the Jogan would has that ability, or
talk to him, free game.
That's fair.
But here's the thing. Check
But in
this
the
out.
manga, he didn't have the Jogan, though, right? Like in the manga, he just had.
It depends on how you look at chapter one. Like the way I see it, they adapted chapter one manga panel by manga panel. When they did episode one and you got that flash forward sequence, it's the exact same fucking panels. And like I don't have any proof on it, but just on the fact that like the animator said, like, yeah, you know, the eye is gonna be called Jogan. At the time it was provisional. It was a provisional title. They didn't have the official name at that point. They're still figuring everything out. There were a lot of people didn't know what the fuck that eye was, and it wasn't just here in the West. Like there are people over in Japan didn't know what the fucking eye was. So I think they added that black in the anime to differentiate between them.
Okay.
So check this out, right? Naruto Part 1, I got my boy Sasuke dying. You know, they started it off with a bang. I think they're gonna want to end Part 1 off with a bang. So all right. So this is just a little fun video I was gonna be working on pretty soon. Reaper Death Seal. Okay, I'm loving the Reaper Death Seal stuff. I'm looking into it currently. I've been talking about like ethereal weapons like the Totsuka blade and how in lore it's touted to be able to seal anything. Things like the Yata mirror that can in lore block anything. So, you know, for me, I'm like, okay, would Jigen be able to fucking dynamic entry Sasuke if he had the Yata mirror? Or like with the Totsuka blade, could you seal away in Otsutsuki? So for me, just trying to mix it up a little bit. Maybe Reaper Death Seal. We know that Sasuke, he was there with Orochimaru when he brought back the Kage. So I think there's a link there. And potentially we know that sealing ninjutsu has been the go-to when you deal with these Otsutsuki bastards. So I think the Reaper Death Seal would be an interesting way. Maybe he can pull out Momoshiki, sacrifice himself. Some people were saying that they were in place of karma on Sasuke, and that's how it would happen.
I'm actually doing something like that. Like that was a Patreon theory. Somebody asked me to do that on Patreon.
Blade too.
Okay, nice. Yeah. That's what I was talking about. The Totsuka blade. Yeah, I have videos on my channel talking about this shit too. But yeah. So yeah, definitely the Reaper Death Seal. Like, look. You can say Sasuke or Naruto. The Uzumaki clan are famed for sealing beasts and they're sealing ninjutsu, in general. And you know, I would love for someone like even Naruto to get like the ethereal chains that Kushina had or Karin has. I'm not sure how that would work out mechanic wise, but I think that would be pretty interesting. But yeah, sealing ninjutsu.
See, the only thing with the Reaper Death Seal like that, I get like a little like, is it possible? It's like we don't know how Momoshiki exists inside of Boruto. Like it like if you use the Reaper Death Seal, like Momoshiki's inside his DNA, and that's like where I have that one bit of pause. Can the Reaper Death Seal actually split Momoshiki separate from Boruto? Because like if you look at Minato, people say, well, Reaper Death Seal did it with Minato. It's like no, Minato specifically split up the chakra first, and then he sealed in the Reaper Death Seal. He took part of the Yin chakra and put it into himself, and then he sealed the remaining part of Kurama in the Naruto. He didn't. So that's the only thing on that. Like, can the Reaper Death Seal do the same thing? Can it split up Boruto's DNA separate from Momoshiki's DNA? If it could, then yeah.
So this ties into like a bigger argument or discussion I've been having like in the community, at least my community, um, where and big shout out to all the 70 viewers right now, guys. Make sure you subscribe, like the content, hit that bell icon for notifications. Thank you so much for the support. You
Yo,
guys
he
are
segue
absolutely
like that,
amazing.
bro. This guy is the most.
Um,
Yo, he always segues like that, like just in the
Nah,
middle of a
he's
thought,
smooth.
just smooth as hell. I can't get it. I
well,
can't do it.
le-
I can't
well, let
do
me
it. I'm
bring it back
trying.
a little bit. Let me bring it back a little
You're gonna
bit.
have to give me a
So
course, Mello. I'm gonna have to take a course from you, bro.
I got you, bro. Damn it, I lost my train of thought. Okay, all right. So here's the thing. So this is the bigger argument we've been having. The Otsutsuki. Okay, how do I fucking start this? So for me, I think some people think there's a connection between like, let's use Momoshiki and Boruto just to simplify it. They think there's a connection between Momoshiki's soul and like the genetic information within the karma seal. So I'll give you an example. I guess I can splash Kawaki here as well. I think there can be multiple souls formed. For instance, I think the original, if we assume this is the original Momoshiki, the fused version, I think that version died, and what we've been seeing so far is like a cookie or avatar or a copy of the original Momoshiki. Um, Now, some people think the original Momoshiki died and then his soul transferred to like the data within the karma seal,
You're the only person
and
who
then
thinks
he's
that.
living. Hmm?
You're the only one. You're the only person I ever heard say that.
No, I don't think that. I mean, some people
No,
actually
no,
think.
no, 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 no. Me and Bullet, like that's one of the things that we talked about
Oh,
off recording is like the potential of, like the about Momoshiki transferring over into date because like there's so much we don't know about karma.
uh-huh.
Yeah, so that's where like the Reaper Death Seal or the Totsuka Blade kind of ties into like the bigger conversation in the community where um if it's just like genetic information, which I believe, the Karma Seal, for me, I've been saying this for years. I think it's nanotechnology. And I think it rewrites the host genetics. And I think it's all but confirmed for the most part. For the most part. But I will say if there is like a soul, like a ghost in the machine, we can pull the soul out and keep like the machine part, like the data itself. Then I don't think that would affect like like Boruto on the genetic level is what I'm trying to say. If we assume that there's like some connection between the soul. Now, I personally, I don't know if I subscribe to that. Um, I think multiple souls can be formed, and this kind of ties into like the video I dropped today talking about how Naruto still has Kurama's power. Like Minato placed some of his chakra in Minato and Kushina's chakra in Naruto, and then died. And then while they were dead, there was a version of them that manifested via like a condition trigger inside of Naruto and literally was sentient and had a whole ass conversation. The only difference is that they didn't have a long time to live. So I think fundamentally there's like this strange concept with like the afterlife and like chakra in general in the Naruto Boruto series, and I touched a little bit on that. That's why I said like when Kurama died, he fist bumped Naruto, and we know like historically that's when he's transferring chakra, and it's only after he fist bumped Naruto did he start to evaporate. And there's like dialogue in his death where he's like, don't go crazy or you'll like join me. So I'm like, yo, if his chakra like evaporated into like nothing, like some people will say, like how is he joining you if he just dies normally? So clearly to me, like,
That's
and this
facts.
is this is what my this is
I
what
don't.
my video's explaining. Clearly to me, like Karamba died and he went to the afterlife, and if Naruto died, he would go to the afterlife. Duh,
It
and,
kind
and
of seemed
that's
like
bared
Kurama
out in
didn't
the
know
actual
what
dialogue.
was really going to happen though. Like Kurama was pretty clueless on what was going to happen after his chakra burnt out. So, I mean, I hear
Well,
what
I'm
you're
just
saying
talking
though.
about the
My bad.
dialogue.
No, I hear what you're saying. Go ahead.
No, you good. No, you good. Well, I talk a lot. I stream for 12 hours straight, so I'm
No, you
used to
good.
it.
Go
But
ahead. Go ahead. That's why we got you here, Mello.
no, but yeah, like, but that's the whole point. Like, just going after like the facts, right? Like the fact is, yeah, he fist bumped Naruto. Yeah, we know that's when he transfers energy. We saw it in Shippuden a lot.
That's a good point.
Yeah, he started to evaporate only after he fist bumped Naruto, which to me, he's giving him the remainder of his energy. Thus, he begins to evaporate and makes a little sense. The dialogue says, "Hey, you're going to join me if you go crazy. You don't have super strength anymore. Chill out, or you will join me. Join him where in nothingness? No, he went somewhere. So yeah, and that's why I say like, yeah,
Join me in the
if we
grave.
tied into like Minato, like if he ties it into like Minato where Minato put chakra inside of Naruto, and then that chakra stayed dormant until it was triggered under certain circumstances. Couldn't Kurama do the same thing? Put chakra inside of Naruto, where it's not detectable by Sakura or whomever. It only triggers when it's under certain circumstances, like Naruto
Like a
dies
key, like
or
I
he's
was saying
about to die.
before. Like he has to have a key to unlock that the Kurama last bit of
Yeah, sure.
chakra. Yeah.
Yeah, like so if he's about to die, similar to when he's about to rip off the tag, to unleash the Nine Tails, or when he needs to fight the Nine Tails to control his chakra. His mother and father appeared under those specific circumstances. Maybe for Kurama, the specific circumstances is death. Now I know I'm all over the place, but yeah.
No. That's actually pretty interesting though, because that ties into what I said earlier. Like maybe he has a little bit of Kurama's chakra in him, but he needs something to unlock it. Like like how because Naruto explained, he made a video about that as far as like how the Karma Cell, how Kawaki still had the Karma Cell inside of him, even though it disappeared and we all saw it leave him. He still had the data of the Karma Cell inside of him. All he needed was something to trigger that Karma Cell to activate again. So I mean,
But that's what I'm
that
saying.
makes a
Like
lot of sense.
if he has Ishiki's soul, like Amato said, like like he's not here anymore, so you can still like just gain access to the power without worrying about him taking over. So if you think Ishiki's soul is like the reason why Momoshiki's manifesting is because his actual soul is inside of like the ones and zeros within the Karma Seal.
That
If you
might
can
work.
use something like the Reaper Death Seal to remove his soul, you still keep the ones and zeros, you still keep the data, the power. That's kind of the concept I was going with like the Totsuka blade or like the
That could work.
Reaper.
Jesus Christ, that could work.
My
He
God
bad.
said,
I
damn.
"Jesus
kind of
Christ,
I'm
that can
long.
work." You done gave Naruto,
I'm
you
long
done
winded.
gave Ian a whole bunch of content for the future.
Nah, man,
I'm long. I'm
shit.
long winded. I apologize.
It's not
God
cheating.
damn. Like, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, I'm trying to poke a hole in this shit. And I'm like, wait a second. I was like, this shit makes sense right here.
Yeah,
Like,
he
I'm
fits
just like
both of them.
running this shit over. I'm like, yo, this shit could work. Because I
Well,
don't see anything in the lore that could contradict it. That could work.
hey man. Hey guys, I just dropped a video. Mellow XO. Go subscribe.
That could work. God damn. That could work. I was like so I was like, ain't no way in hell reproductive could work. That could work.
Yeah, yeah.
That could
But
work.
that's the
Like when
video.
you look at it from that perspective, that could work.
Just
Yeah,
don't
I've had
disappoint
a
with
couple
Yeah,
that.
of too. So.
The Great Mellow.
that's for no. Now, real quick, one of the last questions I do want to ask Naruto explain, and we kind
Yeah,
of asked,
my
Free
man's
Game
need
and
to
Mellow
take a
this in
nap.
previous
He got the
podcasts as well.
Rona. We don't want to keep him on here for too long. Yeah. We gotta let my man get some rest.
Nah.
Right.
I'm telling
Yeah,
you, that cough
facts,
medicine's
facts.
starting to wear off.
Yeah, facts. So, in your mind, what would an ideal Boruto movie be for you? What would the plot be?
Great question.
Um, so like one of my patrons, Darkside, asked me to do a video like probably like last month, about like Naruto stuff now Hokage, and it was because like the stuff like with the Karma Seal, right? And I was like, man, I don't know if that's something that could work. And I said, well, it could work as a time skip movie if you do something like this. So for me, I think doing a movie set during that time skip, and you have it where
I said the same
after all
thing.
this fallout with Code, you have them go on a father son because we started off with father and son working together and board to the movie. The best way to segue from moving from being the story of Naruto and Boruto, which is what Boruto Part One is, according to Chapter One. The best way to segue away from that is to do a movie where it's father and son again. They're looking for answers. Maybe it goes back to the whole Toneri thing that we were talking about earlier, where they're looking for answers on how to potentially have Boruto's karma seal removed or slow down the progression now if those pills aren't working. And either they find an answer or they don't, and that leads into the conflict of Boruto Part 2. But having that father and son closure and having Naruto have to come to that realization like, I'm losing my firstborn child. Like, Nino, you're a father. You understand that shit. That
Yeah,
hits different. That's your firstborn.
exactly. Yeah.
And having all those memories come back, that's great internal conflict manifesting with external conflict of not being able to protect his son, which is what he wants to do, which is something that he struggled with. That's a good way to book in back to Boruto the movie, where the whole conflict was Naruto has all this power, but he can't take a Rasengan and say respect me to my son because he has to be a parent, and he doesn't know how to do it. Now he has to be a parent, but he can't protect he can't protect his child anymore. I think that's a good movie. I think they could do something like that.
Awesome movie, yeah, definitely.
I have one last question I wanted to ask you before we hop off. Real quick. Boruto opening 10. What did you think about it? Is it, correct me if I'm wrong, memory wise, isn't this like the first opening where we see none of the Ojin? Like it's like almost like the official passing of the torch with like purely new gen.
I never even noticed that.
You might be right. Like I'll be the
Yeah,
first one to say, like I skipped all openings with boards. I watched like opening 2,
Everybody was super
and
excited for this.
like what
Fact.
was it? It was
Facts.
opening 2, and what was the other one? Fuck.
say it ain't so.
The time slip opening. I watched that, and then the
That was a
opening
good
that they did for what was it? When they started doing the car stuff, where they started showing like car in the open, I started watching the openings. And other than that, like I skipped all of it because like I said before, I'm not like I prefer manga. I don't really fuck with anime like that. And so
You
for
gotta
me to
watch this
sit through an
opening, bro.
anime opening, like I like the song got a hit, and like the animation can't just be like some random bullshit. Like it better grab my attention. I'm hitting skip because I just want to get to the actual
That shit
content.
goaded. This opening animation is fucking goaded, bro. You gotta watch it, man.
Yeah.
Just the opening, just the opening.
And I saw the new one, like opening 10. I saw that because I was looking to see if there's any
Okay.
Easter eggs in it.
They
I was
don't
like,
never.
that could
they
be that could
really
be a good
don't.
art.
They never really do anything with the openings though. Like it seems like the openings is just for aesthetics because even in that first, I think it was the first opening with that big ice, like it looked like an ice tail beast or something like that. Everybody was saying, "Oh, Boruto's about to be a Jin Cherokee of this tail beast," blah blah blah. Nothing from that opening ever happened in the series.
I mean,
think that
you go
stuff
back
is
to
a lot.
Naruto, like we didn't see Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura fighting some rogue ninjas and shit that you saw like in the first Naruto opening. I mean, that's just anime opening clickbait.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's hit or miss in my opinion. I mean, the last opening we did see a lot of that content in actual anime, but it's hit or miss. It's hit or miss.
I don't really be paying attention to the openings to tell y'all the truth. Like Ian said, I
Same.
kind of skip over them. I always
Same.
skip the intro. I always skip the intro to get to the freaking show.
wasn't
I
the
ain't got
one.
no time to sit there and watch the intro.
I mean, at least watch it once. Like I did a whole breakdown video on this opening. Like,
Yeah.
there's some shit in that shit, bro. Like it's a great. I just want to get
it's
your
a
opinion.
it's an awesome opening. I'm not down in it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying as far as
Seeing
like
opening
watching
10,
anime,
I
I
didn't
don't
see
really
much.
watch openings.
Like outside of like Kawaki and Boruto, the symbolism there. What else did you see in the opening? Because like, I was looking for shit. 'Cause I did a breakdown of the last opening, and then they did, and like, I'm looking at this, and I'm like, I ain't about to waste everybody's time. Just talk about like, oh yeah, this is the symbolism of Boruto still being destined to deal with karma, and Kawaki being free of it and still stumbling his way through. I was like, man, I've already talked. I'm not gonna do that to people. I'm not gonna really talk about the same shit.
I think it's less like rehashing things, and it's more like, okay, they did something new. How can you interpret this new thing that they did based off the old thing that's established? So
Okay.
Yeah.
it's more so like that.
So for example, Sarada in the opening has 2 tomos in her Sharingan. We understand at any given moment she could get a third. So I think that right there might be telling in
But
regards to the upcoming arcs.
I made an actual video about this though, because there's a moment where she's using the Chidori against like this golem, and she doesn't. If you freeze frame it, she doesn't have her Sharingan activated. So it's stuff like that. Like, yeah, we know she needs the Chidori to use the Sharingan to use Chidori properly, but in this frame she doesn't have it. They probably keyed out the third Tomo. So this opening could be hinting that she will get the third Tomo.
I see.
You know,
That's a good
stuff like
one.
that. Just stuff like that. But yeah, subscribe to Mellow XL. Go check that out.
One last question before. Let me give one more last question before we end this though. Ian, talking about the third Tomo, they skipped that in the anime. You know, in the manga she got him when they was having. Well, we don't know when she got it in the manga, but the first appearance was when she was fighting Boro. She presented the third Tomo.
Was it in the novel?
Say that
I was
again,
like,
Mel?
wasn't it? No, I was gonna say. Then he mentioned that it was in the novels or something earlier.
Yeah,
I don't.
because like when she had it in the novel, like the first time she used Sharingan in that Sasuke novel, there ain't no mention of a third Tomo. But when Sasuke's training her and she's trying to live up to Sasuke's expectations, all of a sudden she's got three Tomo in her eyes.
So do you think
So
that they're
she got
gonna sorry to cut you off, Ian. Do you think that that's what they're going to use for the anime though? Do you think that they're waiting on that novelization to get adapted into the anime to actually present that third tomo? That's the reason why we haven't seen it yet.
Like one of the writers said, they got a plan for the third tomo and that they skipped it on purpose.
Oh,
But
I never
like,
saw that.
there was another blog post too where some of the Boruto writers and the director for the Boruto anime actually liked the post. But some of the writers are saying like, yeah, we went through like 55, 60 episodes of doing all this stuff for the manga content. Mujina Bandits all the way to Car. It was a big endeavor for us. Like a lot of people don't know this. Like those 215, 6, no, 216, 17, 18, Naruto and Sasuke versus Ishiki, Baryon mode, Naruto versus Ishiki, and then the Kurama send off. That was the biggest stretch of high level animators in the entire Naruto franchise working on all those episodes.
It showed. It showed.
And they're talking about the fact that like now that they've caught up with the manga, they need to look at doing more of the light novel stories. And so I think they might be doing something like that. And like there's enough content there because they've done like six light novels in Boruto now already. Like all that Academy shit's novels, but they could do something like that because like if they adapt to the garbage, they can adapt to good shit.
So
Very
yeah.
nice. Very nice.
I know I said one last
Nice,
question,
yeah, I like it.
but I had somebody who let us left a tip. Chris Bell, he left a $5 tip. I gotta ask Chris Bell's question. He asked a question. He left a tip. I gotta give
Okay,
him.
Chris.
You know what I'm saying, give him his money's
This is
worth.
the
You know what I'm saying? So
Turn up.
Okay,
Big
Chris.
so he said, just wondering from my sensei. I'm guessing that's you, Ian. Where do you want the series to go? Like, where would you like to see the series go in the future? In the anime. Like, if it can go any which way, where would you see it going? If you was a writer,
They gotta do it more. They gotta do it more character driven. I think that like you need to give the old generation the swan song because like when you get to that time skip, more than likely you're probably gonna be moving more so on board this generation. It's already kind of focused on them, but like having some of those older gen, and it defeats the purpose of tuning now, but having some of those older gen ninja on missions with some of those other new gen characters and setting the stage for them to kind of accent till you get to your final arc. And just as you saw other older people like Kakashi and them kind of have their moments and then slowly be written out of the war arc to where Kakashi had to kind of play the background for a little bit. You kind of got to do the same thing there. I think that with the old generation, there hadn't been enough closure. I think that's why you got a lot of hate for Boruto. I think that's why the writers are saying we need to look at doing the novels because people think the novels are Boruto novels. It's in the Boruto era. They're Naruto novels focusing on the Naruto characters.
right?
That's a good way to start giving that closure.
Very
I like it. I like it.
I
I
like
like
that
it.
too. Yeah, they do. They definitely have to close out some of the new generation characters. Like give them that big hurrah, kind of like how Mike Guy had his big hurrah at the end. Even though they saved him, they should give some of the new gen characters that too as well.
He should die. That was bullshit.
That's what I'm
They
saying.
need to give him a. They need to give him a cybernetic leg, bro. That's what he needs to get.
Yeah, let him go out
Something.
with a big bang. I want to see Mike Guy turn
Sitting
up
in
in the future.
retirement. Nah, hey, real shit. That's why they should did that Kakashi novel because like Guy and Kakashi Guy was like fucking throwing hands in that shit, man, fighting on one leg and shit, like a whole.
Word? Oh, I gotta see
Shit.
that because Guy is
Yeah,
They
But
should
they-
see
I
Metal
love Guy.
Lee episode.
They should adapt
They got-
that. Like,
They gotta
God,
give him a
it's down
scientific
that
leg or something, man.
Nah, my
Yo,
dude
why-
don't need
what
a
happened,
scientific
man?
leg. Why haven't they give Sasuke an arm? Come on, like
yeah,
so many
like,
questions.
But there's an answer to that. Like Sasuke has like a narrative reason why he doesn't need the arm. Like Guy doesn't for the leg.
Guy is retired. Guy said I am letting people carry
But he
me
can
on their
walk.
shoulders. Nah, Guy said I'm
Okay.
getting carried around, bro. I done did it all during my years of youth. The years of youth is over.
Big Naruto Explain coming on the podcast. Thank you so much,
thank you,
man.
man, bro. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Big thanks, bro. We never had this many people in the live. Like we hit 112, I think. I want to say that's a record for the
Nice.
live right now. We hit
Very
nice.
112
Crazy.
viewers, bro. So really, thank you.
Yeah.
I know you got Rona, so it's even a big thank you, a bigger thank you. Cause
Wow,
you
yeah,
that's
didn't have
crazy,
to, bro.
yeah.
So yeah, we really appreciate you hopping on with us today.
1,000%. Yo, anytime you want to hop back on, yeah,
Oh, he already know. He
it's your
already know.
platform. Yeah,
That's without saying.
Yeah, he got the
That's without
master key,
saying.
100%. No,
Exactly.
my first time meeting Naruto. I'm gonna
Naruto.
say Naruto explained. Oh shit! Hold up. I'm in the Matrix. Fuck it. Never mind.
no, we hear you. We hear you. Oh, no, now we don't. What?
You
Yeah.
guys
Well,
doing the thing, man. Like you guys got the Spotify and shit.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that's
yeah,
another thing
yeah.
I wanted to tell you too. You're the most watched episode on our Spotify too, and that was episode 1. All of because I can see the views and stuff. You're the most watched person
Jesus.
on our Spotify, and then it's NC Hammer 23, and it's the rest of them. But yeah, thank you,
Nice,
my
You
dog.
guys,
You know.
you guys thinking ahead, man. Like that's shit. That's smart. That's smart. You guys working together and you putting shit on different platforms and shit. That's smart.
Thank
Yeah,
you, man.
That's smart.
100%. The free game be grounded.
Yeah.
He be grounded.
Yeah, he do. He
Yeah, I
putting the
can't.
work.
I gotta give the respects to Ninja Gambuto though. Everybody subscribe to his channel too. If you have a Ninja Gambuto, he makes some dope content. He the one who gave me the idea. He was like, "Y'all should throw it on Spotify so I can listen to it like when I'm driving or while I'm at work." I'm like, "Yo, that's a good ass idea. Let me do that."
Very nice. Very
That's
nice.
cool. Well, thanks
Do
for everybody, pulling up to the podcast. Thanks for the chat and everything like that. Again, as Free Game said, our most viewed podcast. I'm pretty sure Mello also had some decent numbers as well. I'm
Oh,
super happy we made this happen. It's a long time coming. Of course, what is it? Naruto Explained might be the first reoccurring guest, I think,
Yep.
other than Mello.
And
Yeah, so
Yeah,
big thanks to him as well.
you guys
and
stick
Meek, it's
together,
Meek
man.
too.
All the time.
Oh yeah,
oh
it's
yeah,
me
yeah,
too.
I don't want the beef. I just want the lettuce. That's how we got.
yeah.
Same,
Fuck all
likewise. I
this.
like that. I like that.
But yeah, this was my first time meeting my boy here. Fucking brilliant mind. I love listening to you. Love having a conversation with you. My boy, he loves Kakashi too. Who figured? Go figure, right? Of course, he agreed with me. I'm so sorry, Bar. I am so sorry. I really
Oh
do feel
my
for you.
goodness.
But listen, fellas, listen. It was a pleasure. I'm gonna sign off now. I would love to do this again. You guys already know. Thank you.
Yeah, 100%. We
Later,
do
man.
every single Tuesday. All right, y'all.
All right,
All right, later, guys.
That was a W stream, if I do say so myself. I want to thank everybody for joining the live today. This was epic. Got Big Naruto explained back into the chat. Thank you, Chris Bell, for the donation. Let me give a shout out to all my donators real quick before I end this live. We got Liv Johnson with the $30 donation. Thank you for that, bro. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate the donation. Or is that a female? I'm not sure. If I said bro and you're a female, I'm so sorry. I can see like your little thumbnail on Cash App. Really appreciate the donation though. Danny as well. Danny has a page. His page is called 2 Real Anime. If y'all on here, please check him out. It's 2 Real Anime. Thank you for the $5 donation. Really appreciate it. We also got Kiddo Maki with the $2 donation. Really appreciate that, Kiddo Maki. Everybody subscribe to Kiddo Maki's channel as well. I'll leave both of their channels in the description, by the way. Leave Kiddo Maki's and my dude 2 Real Anime. But yeah, everybody, thank you for joining the live. Had an amazing time. We're going to have to do this again sometimes to get some more content creators on. Shout out to Big Naruto Explain for joining the podcast. If you haven't watch Naruto Explains content, I look at our analytics, and you guys, most of our people watch Naruto Explain, so most of y'all probably watch Naruto Explain. But yeah, if y'all haven't subscribed to his channel, amazing content, subscribe to Naruto Explains channel, subscribe to Big Bar B, subscribe to Mello's second channel, Mello XO. But yeah, everybody, this has been Free Game. Like Chris Bell said,